No, that's so I can sync both
the camera.
Oh, okay.
with the audio.
All right.
Welcome, everyone. Special edition of Two Seas in a Pond. By special edition, it's just episode 49. We just happen to be in a different location. We are in a library, if you didn't notice. We're just sitting in a corner.
New studio for this episode.
New studio as well.
New studio.
We're up in
we're
Quebec.
testing the waters.
Yeah.
Denholm, Quebec.
Denholm, Quebec. Well, yeah, it's very nice. We'd like to be outside, but windy and there's children next door.
You can't tell, but there's a lake out there.
Yeah.
Just take our word for it.
We're staring at a fucking brick wall.
Yeah, this is just a blue screen.
Yeah.
We're still in my bedroom.
We just upped the production value and hired a visual effects artist, and
Yeah.
he just put this in for us. It's really nice.
He was a really big fan of Danielle Steele. And Chris then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm stepping on your.
Anyway,
cable.
Eric's back again. We're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, tried to.
Not
That didn't
easy.
work.
We changed the name to Two C's plus E for this fucking show.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm on
Yeah.
enough. I've been a co-host.
Been a co-host.
The unofficial
and-
third member of the podcast.
And you're the only reoccurring guest.
The only
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's.
And this is the
We've
third time?
never doubled up.
Yeah. COVID's also made it
hard.
challenging.
Yeah,
hard to double up and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And
But for as far as I've lived,
Well-
I'm amazed that I'm the one that's the only one that's been on it.
yeah, for people that don't know, Eric's consistently lived minimum 5 hours away from us at all times, and he's been on the podcast 3 times.
And now you
Yeah,
guys
it's
drove
crazy.
5 hours to see me. So that's nice.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm glad you had us.
And you know what? After this is done, I think we should just get out of
Fucking
here.
peace out. Yeah. Yeah.
Just came for the podcast, and that's it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have more than one drink tonight, so you're driving then. I guess we're
No,
staying.
we're staying.
We're staying. We're drinking Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. We have reviewed Jack Daniel's on the podcast before.
And I believe with the new system.
No,
Really?
no, it was
It
under
was
the old
before.
system. So we could go crazy and do a double review.
Nah,
Ooh,
because
a
when you
regular
have
Daniel?
one, I feel like when you have one, your
taints
taste,
the others.
Yeah, your taste is off for the next one.
Fair enough. So,
We can make it like a 3-hour podcast and then do tastings every hour.
fuck. I'm not scared.
Yikes.
I'm not scared of
I'm
the
not
dark.
scared either.
Not scared of the dark, yeah.
Not scared either.
We'll see how it goes, actually.
Do you guys want me to open this, or do you guys want to keep rolling on?
No,
or-
let's
No,
let's
let's
get let's
crack
do the
into it?
yeah let's
All
do the
right,
fucking
let's get
whiskey
right into
review.
it.
Yeah, let's do it. Get it out of the way. Plus, I want to drink some whiskey.
That honey is like, it's super golden, compared to the normal.
It's very very light.
You get that other one just to have a comparison of the honey
Yeah, here I'll grab it.
on the table.
So,
Yeah.
like
Look
it.
at that.
It's not that much lighter. I thought it was.
It's like pretty.
It's noticeable,
Mm,
but it's
It's a full shade lighter.
yeah, but it. Looking at the honey, I thought that one was darker. Yeah, thanks. I could have done that. Yeah.
Hi.
really doing a product placement, right? Get that.
Yeah, always.
in
Yeah.
there.
Always.
Thanks again to Jack Daniels for sponsoring this podcast. If you guys go to jackdaniels.com, you will get 48% off your next purchase.
With two Cs.
With just use the promo code 2Cs plus E to
TWO
get 48% off your next purchase at jackdaniels.com.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay, so do you know
The rating system. No.
Do
you listen much, or?
I've listened a couple times, but I don't think with the new.
you don't have your notepad, do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, do you have your phone? Or you're gonna write it
It's
down?
all ready to go.
Okay, cool. No, I just because I left my phone over there. Actually, speaking
I
of phones,
might need a stand though. No, I'll make it do. I make it do.
Grab that little
I'm good.
great thing. Okay. So how does the rating system?
Okay, so this is how the rating system shakes out for Eric and for those listening at home. So there's 5 categories.
Mhm.
You give a score between 0 and 10.
only
You can
one
do-
decimal point
You can do decimal points. You don't have to,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
we generally do decimal points.
because we're experts.
Okay. Makes sense. I can be
Skews.
an expert.
You're an expert.
You're an expert.
So the 5 categories are the virgin, which is just the first sip, which is a lot of these are open to your own interpretation.
Yeah.
I generally do it like my first impression of the thing, and then so like whether I thought the first sip was rough or whatever, or whether I thought it was good, and then so that's
Okay.
sort of like your very first impression of it, and then smell, flavor, smoothness, are pretty self-explanatory, and finish is like how you find it goes down. Does it add flavor? Does it burn? Is it However-
I also put in if I put a piece of ice in it or water, what it tastes like after
After.
adding that as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, so that's
That would
usually
be
the last
the
one.
Finish?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it kind of factors in both of them, whatever. So,
Yeah.
and then I tally it up with my Acubus and give ourselves a total score.
All
out of
Alright.
yeah,
The
out of
average
10.
score out of
The average
everything.
score out of each
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So I guess there's nothing left to do but to
Fucking
drink
dive
whiskey.
in.
Taste it.
Cheers.
Wow, that smells so sweet.
It is gonna be sweet. Wow.
Oh my god.
It tastes like a banana jack.
I
It,
feel like I'm drinking honey.
yeah,
little bit
like
less thick,
that
but it's
is
like
that honey is strong.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never had
Jack
honey.
Daniels is sweet. I was telling Chris this
Yes,
before
you
because
did.
we were drinking it last night. That the first glass I had, and we were just sitting there watching. I think it was Nobody when the first movie we had on, and every sip I took, it's like, did I put something in this? Because it was
Some bitter,
it was
some
like
nice.
that sweet. Like I couldn't get over the fact that it was that sweet.
But this is
And this
another
is
level.
yeah.
This
And I was
is,
telling Chris, I'm like, if regular Jack Daniels is that sweet, this is gonna be.
Yeah, this is something. My first impression is like
I
it
wonder how
tastes
much
like banana
sugar
jack.
is in this.
I don't.
Normally,
it's not gonna
I
tell
can't
us.
imagine there's a lot of sugar in it.
You don't think? Eh?
what would
No.
make it so sweet?
I think it's a lot of
Literally
flavoring.
the shit ton of honey they put in it.
But
Well,
that's
the-
sugar.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So
There's
would be
lots of sugar in
Yeah.
there.
but You guys win again.
I wonder what the actual like difference in calorie is between a normal Jack Daniels bottle and then the
That-
honey version, because like
Who you count calories?
You're counting
You're
calories when you
hungover.
drink alcohol?
huh. Well, I mean, if someone's concerned about beer
Well-
versus liquor, but like
It
might not
wouldn't
be the
matter.
best option.
This is- this
Well,
is
here's my
amazing.
question with sweetness, because there's a lot of I did a few fun fact research before this, so I looked up Jack Daniels. It's technically considered a straight bourbon. They're like, we're not straight bourbon, we're Tennessee whiskey, but by the definition of the shit that they make, it's straight bourbon.
Okay.
Jack Daniels. It's sweet. We've had other bourbons that are sweet.
Yeah.
They're sweet to taste, but I don't necessarily know that there's sugars in them, because if you look at the ingredients,
No,
I think it's the barrels that they age it in, or whatever it is,
Sure.
or the water that can
Coated in honey.
add a sweetness to it. This, I might be more inclined to say, I think
They
they dumped
add
some sugar in this,
yeah, I was gonna say there,
but
well,
it's
no,
also
it would-
35%.
I don't think they dumped sugar
Is that
in it.
less
It's
than
You know what
just
I mean?
Jack Daniels?
there's honey in it, and then therefore
That adds the sweetness.
Yeah, it's increasing how sweet. it
Because
is.
like there's sweet Irish whiskeys, there's sweet scotches,
Yeah.
there's sweet these, but I don't think that there's actual sugar in them.
no.
You know what I mean?
Maybe like a small amount.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure we'll
This
get to
is
the bottom
fucking-
of it, but
this
if you
is
go to
fucking-
jackdaniels.com, you can enter that promo code and you can find out how much sugar they add into their.
And then you can comment on this video on YouTube and let us know, because we're not going to look it up.
Thank you.
Thanks, but
I have to
yo,
say it's pretty good, though,
my
even
this is really good.
for not having ice, which normally I drink whiskey with.
It's too sweet, eh?
Yeah.
It's, you know,
It is. I could do a couple glasses and then.
We'll switch to the old stuff.
I wonder if adding ice is gonna
I think ice-
it'll water it down.
I think
so it
ice
might be
will
less
help
sweet.
make it more
yeah,
refreshing, because right now it's
100%.
like.
So this
I
for
feel like I had it coming on already.
Yeah.
if I was gonna buy this bottle again, I'd be making cocktails with it.
Yes,
That's a
what
good
would you
call.
make with a honey?
So I would make this lemonade that Kelsey's makes.
Okay.
And it's like a peach lemonade. It's a peach lemonade and something else. It had like 2 lemonade and something else in it, and then
They make it with
2
honey?
ounces, and I'm pretty sure it was a Jack Daniel's honey.
Oh, okay.
And it's the most refreshing drink I've had in a couple of
Mm.
years, like at a restaurant. Nice
I'm not a big
patio.
cocktail guy at a restaurant. So either a
Oof.
beer or I'll have just
That's-
Jameson on ice.
that's
and
what I
pretty
do.
much what I
Yeah.
do. But
I find
Love me a good cocktail.
I'm not cheap. I just
Cock,
hate
don't you?
paying the money for a cocktail. It feels like a
feels-
ripoff at a restaurant, because
Yeah.
you're getting the
Yeah.
like, if you even get an ounce, I think you're doing well. And then they're like, that'll be $16, please.
Yeah.
unless you're going to a
It
specific,
just bugs me. I'd rather just get, like you said, like
Straight liquor.
straight liquor on ice, and
Or
then at least
beer.
I'm paying X amount more for more shots, but at least it's
Yeah.
you have a
fucking
different
straight
experience
whiskey.
when you go to like an actual cocktail bar, and then they're like mixing it in front of you, and it's like a show
Sure,
type
yeah.
thing where like you're paying for like the experience as well. But like if you're just going to the bar and having food and a glass, an aperitif after dinner or something, just digestive, sorry, and then so
Eric's French, by the way.
Yeah.
We are in
I
Quebec.
live in Quebec, so you got.
All right. Let's do this review. What's your virgin like there?
I didn't like it.
You do?
I
You
didn't.
didn't like.
You didn't like
No,
it.
my first sip
Too
was
sweet?
like far too sweet for me.
So is it rating out of 10?
Yeah,
Okay.
out of
Yeah,
10.
yeah. Each rating.
My virgin's gonna be low. I'm pretty sure that once I dump some ice in it and have another glass,
Might
I'm
be
gonna like it
better.
a lot more.
Yeah, but the Virgin.
The virgin's low for me. It's the lowest one, I think, 5.9.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's really low.
it is low, and I just do want to
Sorry,
caveat that by saying like it tastes good. Like,
what do you
it's-
call the
but to me, it tasted like a banana jack, and I don't like those. Like
Yeah.
that's the only like it's just
Banana Jack.
banana jack
Banana
is like a
liqueur and
shot you
Jack
would get,
Daniels.
and it's banana liqueur and Jack Daniels,
Oh.
and that tastes almost
It's
identical
like
to
a
me.
banana cough syrup that always used to
Yeah,
make me
exactly.
gag as a kid.
Yeah,
I fucking
exactly.
hate that.
what
This is
what's it
kinda
called
what this
when
reminds
they
me of.
like make the whiskey or vodka or whatever with something? there a name?
Infused.
I guess that's not really infused. Never mind.
Infused with honey.
I don't know. If you're buying it though, you're yeah.
The rest of my rating will be high. It's just
yeah.
that first like
It threw you off.
yeah, it really
it
took me
was
for a
very,
ride.
very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Mine's not going to be as low as yours. I'm going. I'm going to go 6.8, and it's a little lower than what I would like to give it, but it is pretty deadly sweet.
And don't let us throw your ratings
No,
up.
No,
This
no,
is
of
your
course
thing.
not. Of course
Yeah.
not. It's I was actually going to go higher because
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's nice.
even though it is nice because I might not necessarily drink sweet liquor too often, but like as far as like knowing that it was going to be sweet and infused with honey, like knowing what to expect somewhat, it is good for what it's supposed to be, so I would give it like a 7.6.
Okay.
Not necessarily I don't like drinking sweet liquor all the time, but like for what it is, it's like right around where I expected, right? So
Yeah.
I kinda,
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm
What's
very
and the
after that?
smell
excited
is
for
good
somebody
too,
said.
right?
The smell is
Smell,
amazing.
flavor, smoothness, finish.
Smells really high because you don't smell like any alcohol. It smells sweet.
Something about this
You
is putting me
smell
off.
like
I don't
it
know
just
what.
smells like honey.
Yeah, because you don't get
I do
like,
get
you smell
like-
most liquors.
Now that Chris has said like it kind of tastes like a banana jack, I don't taste the banana, but when you smell it,
It smells like a banana jack. I'm
a
sorry.
little bit, and I don't think there's any banana in this.
Mm-mm.
I like it though.
I do. I have to say, I like it.
I like it. My
Right.
smell's high because like I don't find anything wrong with it. I like the smell of honey.
But
And
I know
shit.
if you have 3 or 4 of those, you're gonna have like a headache immediately. before
Yeah.
you even-
I don't know. We're gonna
Skip
find
the
out though.
hangover. or
yeah, we're gonna have to
Skip the
hydrate
drug and
after
just
for
go
a
to
little
hangover.
We'll
bit.
find out.
Uh,
I've added ice now.
my
For the record.
smell is gonna be 8.9.
Mine will be at 8.2.
I like the smell of it.
7.1 for me.
You're just keeping it low, eh?
It's honestly, man, my reviews are generally quite high.
Yeah,
There's just something about this.
that's not.
It's just I don't know
It's not
what
for
it
you.
is.
It's not for
Yeah,
you.
I don't know what it is. It's just
Jack already
Maybe
texted
it's-
me and they said they're revoking the promo code because of your low ratings. So
well,
sorry, everybody, you're not going to get that promo.
also
code
they're
if you
going to
try.
get really high ratings on the next 3 categories. So that
Oh, well.
my rating will come in like
I'll
probably
text them back.
I'm going to say right now, yeah, just shoot them a quick email.
Yeah, tell them to hold off for a second.
I think my rating's going to come in at like a 7.9. I think it will, like after it all balances out, which is like pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. that's-
I'm just saying, like this is not going to be like a fucking 6 rating. But also I'm skewed too because I was drinking Jack last night.
you prefer the regular.
Fuck, it was good. I hadn't had it in so long.
We said that when we first drank it though, like our first time reviewing
Yeah.
actual Jack, and it's like I don't ever remember Jack
Drinking Jack, yeah.
tasting this good. I always thought
No.
it was
Because we always
shit.
had Jack and Coke in high school and shit.
Well,
like
that's
that.
the thing.
Well,
We never drank
Yeah.
straight liquor.
It's super. I find underrated. It's the fucking most popular whiskey in the United States. But
yeah.
as far as like if you're going to grab a bottle, it's never on my list of things I'm going to grab off the shelf. But it's as good as anything you could grab
Yeah.
off the shelf.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Mhm.
I don't know about you guys, but
I'd say my go-to is Jameson, but I mean,
Yeah,
I never really actively tried Jack Daniels.
my like 3 go-tos are Jameson, Gibson, and Wild Turkey.
turkey. That
Those are my
Writer's
three.
Tears
And
bottle,
if
I
it's a
really like,
Gibson,
but
I'm
I
going-
gotta- It's too expensive for like if you just it's not too expensive.
it's not
what,
like to have
$50
around
for
just
the
to
bottle?
sip on.
Yeah.
It'd be good to like review and stuff, but
would be.
it was very good. Eric and I had a bottle of Writer's Tears and then cracked into a bottle of Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
We drank like a bottle and a half
Good
of
bit.
whiskey a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
He brought this nice bottle.
Tony was going ham on it too. Right? Fuck.
Yeah, we shouldn't have shared with her. That's knew we were fucked.
Yeah, because then you don't
'Cause
get
then
enough
it's
for
gone.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
what is it?
next?
I am curious. Like, what's the smell for you guys? Like, it's just it smells nice, smells
Smells
sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I want us to
I don't
expand
hate
like
it.
on our thoughts.
Yeah,
a
I
little
don't
bit.
hate it. There's not a whole lot of like alcohol.
Zero alcohol
in the-
smell.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it literally just smells like honey with a
Okay.
hint of Jack Daniels. So
Right.
ain't nothing
Yeah,
wrong
So
with
it's
that.
just like
That
just
is
an
just-
unoffensive.
yeah.
Non-offensive is a great term for
Yeah.
it because it's like, when you smell some liquors, you like, especially like vodka for me, that you smell it. And
You
You
know what
wanna
you know
kinda-
what's up.
yeah. Whereas this is like, you don't even know that you're about to drink alcohol.
Even
It's
when
more-
you're drinking it, it's like, oh fuck, like,
Yeah.
It's this stuff.
and it's
For, like,
goddamn smooth.
For a regular person who doesn't like whiskey, there's your stuff.
There's your
Do
bottle.
you feel like drinking 35% straight liquor on ice?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna try with ice because I feel like it's gonna.
Actually, yeah, I put ice in mine too.
But it's almost like, when you're drinking if you have just like a liqueur, where
actually
it's like
nicer with ice.
15% or something like that, it's almost to that level, but you're getting a little bit more alcohol.
You're
in there,
totally
so
right.
Yeah.
You're kind of right. It's
Yeah,
the-
I think you're right. Yeah, it's like if you were to drink Bailey's, you're gonna get the same taste of alcohol, the same flavor of whatever it is.
Bailey's debatably has like a more strong alcohol.
I think you're
I
right.
hate Bailey's. After having Wayne Gretzky's Irish liqueur
Really?
or Irish cream, whatever it's called,
Bailey's
I will
is out the
never.
window?
Go
Yeah,
back to
I will
Bailey's.
never buy another bottle of Bailey's.
The one that is better than Bailey's, I haven't had the Wayne Gretzky's Irish cream.
Yeah, you definitely have. We had it like 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah, but I don't remember having it.
Well, you did fall down a set of stairs that day.
There you go. Well, thanks for fucking bringing that up.
You got PTSD
We won't
about it.
elaborate on that too much.
Um,
It was a good night though.
It was.
was that night?
It was a good day.
It was your birthday night, wasn't it?
No,
Oh no, that was a different fault time.
No,
following
it
those
was
steps?
when we were doing wine tours. Him and Rob. were-
Oh, okay.
horsing
Hang
around.
on a second. All right. I
That's like
want to
the time I
defend
remember
myself right now
all
because I would not call that falling downstairs. It was a step off of a
Oh,
deck.
okay. I thought it was a.
Did you fall on the ground?
I fell to my knees, but I was also carrying my friend on our back.
I thought you were on his back.
No, he was on my back.
Oh.
And then I went to take the step off the deck, and all the weight went down, and I kind of buckled to my
Buckled,
knees.
yeah.
But yeah,
Mm.
it wasn't.
I
I
thought
was
it was.
slandered on my own show again, and this will not stand. Although it was at the end of a wine tasting tour, I will
Yeah.
give him that. But Caroline's or Carolans or whatever, it's an
Okay.
Irish cream as well.
Yeah.
Really good. Almost like a caramel taste to it. It's quite something spicy. Give us your flavor, Eric. Where are you thinking? Also, you can go off the board. You can go smoothness or finish if there's something that's popping out at you more.
I'll go flavor. Flavor. I mean, I'll give it a 7.6, and I'm only dropping it lower because I'm not a big sweet guy. So very sweet, which is not bad, but it's
You know
just
what?
not my thing.
You know what this reminds me of?
Hmm.
Ice wine.
Hmm.
Like out of like for the whiskeys. You know, like it's
This
like
is a
it's-
whiskey
It's like
ice wine.
yeah, it's like a dessert. It's like a dessert whiskey.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
know,
I guess
like,
it could be.
Finish
Yeah.
off a meal. You maybe don't want dessert.
yeah. Just have a nice glass of this.
Some
and it's,
sweet.
like,
Yeah,
I lied about my overall score.
yeah. I know you did.
It's gonna be down.
Yeah.
It's good.
You
Sorry,
really
Jack.
don't like it.
No.
And sorry, folks.
My flavor is
promo.
going to be right around Eric's. I'm going 7.5, and I just think it's a little too much honey.
Mm.
Like the flavor, it's just a little too much.
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna-
overpowers the actual whiskey.
I'm gonna go 7.1 again.
Okay.
And I pretty much
You should try it with ice.
cement
I
your
will try. I'm gonna finish the one.
your guys'
without-
statements. It's overpowering
Yeah.
and it takes away from what it is. I don't know why I was expecting any differently.
Now they claim it has balanced flavor, but I would.
There's not
suggest that
balance.
it's too
It's not yeah
Not balanced
they-
at all.
Again, I think
It is finally.
I'm going to
crafted
call it
like
a
that.
dessert whiskey.
Okay.
I think it's a fair way of putting it for just like quick
Oh,
way to sum it up.
Dessert
one
/
glass.
cocktail whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
'Cause
nice
if-
tall fancy
Yeah.
shot glass.
Always make it a double.
sip on it.
They do say exceptionally smooth, and I will agree with that.
Yeah.
No
100%.
question.
Yeah.
It is
no
Smooth,
question.
smoothness. We haven't done that one yet, right?
No.
No.
Yeah. That,
You
that
guys
one's going to be
crack
high
into
for
it.
me.
I just wanted to wrap up the flavor, but it's
Do your flavor.
yeah, it's just it's overpowering.
Yeah.
It doesn't
yeah.
it doesn't
The
take
sweetness is
doesn't
overpowering?
it doesn't add, and
Now,
it
on
but
the other
and in
side, they
fact it
say
takes
mellow.
away.
mellow flavor. I'm not sure I would agree with that.
I think they're lying right to our faces
Oh,
on
yeah,
this one.
'cause
I
it's-
do like the bottle though,
But they
I
do
like
say to
their
enjoy
I like their
chill.
design.
They do say to enjoy chilled, so maybe
Oh, it makes sense.
having it on ice will.
Yeah.
How do you feel that has that affected?
It
It's-
didn't
flavor at all?
help. melt.
It just cut out more of the alcohol, and it's now just like sweet.
Yeah, it actually made it worse for me.
Yeah, you don't like it, eh?
Yeah.
I like it because now it's like slightly chilled and
Yeah, they say okay. So liquor with subtle notes of honey for a
No.
smooth, rewarding taste. It's
It
definitely
is-
not subtle.
it
It's
is
it's
a lot.
that's blatant false advertising because
Yeah.
it is very honey.
But again, check out jackdaniels.com. Promo code 2Cs plus E.
Now, to be fair, I think when we do have a glass of regular Jack, we're gonna notice that regular Jack is very sweet
Already,
to begin with. It's just now this has that honey taste, and it is more sweet.
I actually think it's going to be the opposite. I think we're going to realize how not sweet that is.
I,
Because this is through the roof.
drinking
we can
this.
do a comparison for that.
Drinking this is bringing me back to last night, sitting in the chair, fucking just
Guzzling.
like gulp after gulp. Like it wasn't even sips.
Mine didn't last.
because like
Like I poured like healthy glasses and I was
Yeah.
like,
yeah, it was gone.
Yeah.
because it's sweet.
it's too good.
It's good. Okay, what do you got for smoothness?
It's as smooth as anything.
Yeah.
It's really high. 9.4. Like
yeah,
it's it's
It's
as
fucking
smooth. Like
smooth.
it's,
I'll
It is.
Yeah,
it
it
is
is.
100% smooth.
God damn smooth.
there's
There's no.
I don't
burn.
even get a hint of alcohol really throughout the whole time. There's no burn
Even
like
when
you
not
say.
drinking it with ice, I'm still enjoying. This is probably the only liquor I've ever been able to drink like warm like that, and not like
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
think
get. Yeah,
I think you'd be surprised though, because you, like us, you started to drink hard liquor like more often,
yeah,
and
You also
kinda-
started earlier than us.
yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
so
you work
you-
on your palate a little bit.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
you
and
you
kinda
actually
get used to
you
it.
actually like the taste of
alcohol,
whiskey
yeah.
and
Yeah,
alcohol
I
in
don't know
general.
if you've been following the last few reviews we've done, but we've kind of like gone through few different things. And I would say about 6 weeks ago,
Yep.
we cracked into like the first scotches. And I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
You hate scotch.
Yeah.
So did
CJ
I.
said the exact same thing, and I was saying to him, like, as like people that drink whiskey on a regular basis, and I'm saying this to you, is I don't think you hate scotch. I think you hate scotch.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I thought I did too, but then like as we were doing more of these reviews and like you have I didn't think I liked rye. Have rye. Oh no, it's fucking good.
Yeah.
Bourbon, whiskey.
rye, I know I like bourbon.
we had some
I have
really
had.
good rye.
But
Scotch is the only thing that I haven't been able to break the barrier of.
I think you would.
So
I really do.
So our first Scotch was a Glenlivet 12-year.
A pretty good bottle to start with.
It was.
Yeah, but it's not overly expensive.
No, what
It-
is
That's
but
something
it's a-
that you could just keep in the
50?
cabinet
Yeah.
$50?
and like sip on.
It was hard for us to kind of determine the price. I think I've eventually found I can't
It was
remember.
I thought it was around
I'd have
like
to-
$65 for a 2.6.
Yeah, the only problem that we
So
had
it's on the
was
higher end.
it was
but,
a
it's
40.
Scotch.
It was a 40, and my dad had brought it back from Germany, so the labeling and everything was in.
Different, yeah.
Yeah.
It was from Europe, and it was just like a little tough to find like okay, what's the exact match type thing.
Mhm.
But I ended up finding out what the actual price was. Go look at my Instagram or our Facebook page to actually see the
What was it?
the
You
price.
don't remember?
I
what
don't
the-
remember off the top
It was
of my head.
It was a
It
really
wa-
high
it was-
Was it
review.
euros that you saw, or was it? here?
No, it was
This
there
was
was
so
there
long
was
ago.
there was euro markings on the bottle.
Yeah, that's how we knew.
But I just googled a 12-year, the closest I could find at the
Yeah.
LCBO, and it was like $65.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Now
okay.
that said, if I know we have some viewers in the States, I don't know who you are. Thank you for listening.
That's
Yeah.
Canadian dollars, so it'd be a
That's
little bit
Canadian
cheaper
dollars,
in
so it's going to
America.
be like probably $30 a bottle. in the
Yeah,
States,
yeah,
like
honestly.
tops. Like,
Yeah. But that was a really good bottle. The rye that took me by surprise is I bought it on like just before New Year's, and I had it with Audrey, and she didn't have any. But it was the High River Canadian whiskey.
Okay.
Very, very good
Mhm.
bottle of rye.
And that was the first rye we ever
Yeah.
reviewed on the show.
and that was really good.
Number of episodes, a long time ago.
And then obviously the next one is Dalwhinnie, but Dalwhinnie 15-year, but that's like $100
And that's a
bottle.
rye.
No,
It's a Scotch.
that's
Oh,
a
it's a Scotch.
Scotch.
And I think that's still the highest reviewed of.
That's the highest, like,
I think that
price.
that review was like both of our scores were in the 9s.
Really?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
Really? Okay.
as close to like with. I think the only reason we didn't go 10 on it is because you're gonna find something in some category
in-
that could be better.
Yeah,
but it
in
was
2 years there could be another bottle that
pretty
comes out
fucking
that
close
could
One
be
of the
better.
main reasons I really don't like Scotch is because of the the flavor from most scotches that I've tried, and I don't know if some are different, but they have that like burnt wood type of
Oh,
smoky
sure.
flavor.
So you're
And
like-
I
The peat.
really detest that flavor.
So
Like,
that
I just
the
don't like that.
the Glenlivet and the Dalwhinnie have very
Zero of it?
almost zero.
Okay.
I can't remember. Those are Highland Scotches, I believe. Can't remember if Glenlivet is a Highland Scotch, but the Dalwhinnie is a Highland Scotch, so it's more like floral and sweet.
Right.
And then you have like your I think it's like Isla's or something like that, and those are more smoky and like kind of bold and harsh.
They're made with
Yeah.
more
Smoke-
peat.
yeah.
Those are the rough ones for me because it's just a flavor I can't get past.
And
It's
my
not something I
wife,
enjoy.
want to the opposite of you,
Where she
loves
loves that?
Scotch. She want the smokier the better. If
Really?
Yeah, and
you,
I think
you could cook, you could do a bonfire and give her the coals, she'd drink it. Like she loves
She loves that?
loves the smoke.
I want to
Interesting.
try
Yeah.
an Isla because
Some
I
people
think
just
I'd
have
be
different palates though. And
For
they
sure.
really like
Yeah.
certain flavors.
But she likes Johnny Walker Black Label, which is like a good
I've had
Scotch to
that
have
too.
off
Yeah.
because it's fairly smoky. That one, though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've had that
Um,
one, and I'll drink it, especially with ice, and it waters it down
fine.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not like my
Yeah.
go-to. Like
It's
I
not-
would prefer a glass of Jameson, which is like on the
Absolutely.
cheaper end, but it's like I would still prefer
Yeah.
that, right?
And again,
Ain't nothing wrong with
we
that.
we had this discussion as we were trying to come up with a new system, and I was pushing hard for price to like sort of be
In-
labeled in it. And CJ was right in the sense that the price will skew the results because you can get good bottle. Like I use wine for an example. You can get a great bottle of $8 wine
Mm.
and a shitty bottle of $50 wine.
And you can like the $8 better.
And
Also,
but-
it could be
but
better
now that
reviewed. It could win
$50
more points.
That $50 is going to be skewed because
It'll
of,
skew
Knowing that
because
it's
even-
$50, it'll
it's
be like
50
okay,
Yeah.
bucks, and it's like, does it taste like $50?
So, like,
maybe.
yeah,
I think I don't know how you had it going where like price was either like a high number or a low number. I don't know which way it was going to go, but either way, you get a $8 bottle of wine. That's amazing. And let's say that gives it a low number. Now that just brought down your rating to like 6s or 5s
Mhm.
Mhm.
just because of price. Like
yeah.
I did
Oh, it's
agree.
cheap, and then,
Like if you
It
look
would
at
have skewed it quite,
Yeah.
or it's cheap and it tastes fucking great.
yeah,
9,
Then you-
yeah,
yeah,
then you're
exactly,
jacked,
then
and
you-
it would have skewed it too much. CJ was right.
what's okay? Let's try to wrap up this whiskey review because we've just gone off.
No,
Like,
that's
No,
fine.
that's
Fuck
fine,
it. It's
fine.
a special episode. If
Sure.
it's long, it's long.
I'm not saying like stop the conversation. I'm just
yeah.
maybe let's try to wrap up.
Okay,
Jack
at least wrap
Daniel's.
up this
So what did
category.
you do?
Yeah.
What did you put
We're
in
on
your
smoothness.
smoothness?
I've entered for
Smoothness, I'll put 9.6. Like it's
It's
incredibly smooth.
Yeah,
As far
it's
as
smooth.
I think it might be the smoothest liquor I've ever drank.
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
going
honest.
9.5 on smoothness, and I'm gonna I'll wrap up mine with going to the finish. I'm gonna put 8.2. I do like it better.
Yeah, elaborate
with-
heavily on that.
I like it better with ice. I found without ice, it was I'd get a little like burning on the tongue from the alcohol, but other than that, it was like there was nothing wrong with it. It's going down, no aftertaste. You taste the honey a little bit, but with the ice, it's like honey, smooth as smooth gets, no aftertaste.
Even
it's-
even without the ice, like I just finished the glass without the ice, and it was there's
Yeah,
no
it's
aftertaste.
Yeah,
It's-
it's fine.
the only thing I'm getting is like
Like on your tongue.
not even a burn, but it's more of like sugar. You know, it's more
Okay.
like coating my tongue
Yeah.
or my mouth with like
It's coating my
Sugars.
mustache.
yeah, that too. Yeah, I almost feel sticky, right? Like it's that's how sweet it is because it almost feels like you're drinking like candy at some point.
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
or like a
it's like amaretto.
yeah, sure.
That's what it's like.
Yeah,
I forgot
it's
about
very
that
thick.
stuff.
It's thick. It's like it feels somehow thicker than like normal, and it's not really because the consistency seems the same. But
Yeah.
like once it sits there and like the alcohol goes away, but then you're left with the sweetness on your lips and, and in my mouth, it's like it's leaving that sugary taste in there. So that's like,
Mhm.
and it's a nice finish, but at the same time, like it's just overpoweringly sweet.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I just ate a bunch of candies.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's-
No,
you know
I-
how that
I-
feeling is in your mouth.
So what
Yeah.
are you giving it?
For finish, like it's I'll give it an 7.9. 7.9. Because again, I'm not a big sweet guy, so it's
What
just, it's leaving that in my mouth. Like almost my tongue is going numb from like
too much sweetness.
too much sweetness. Yeah.
What are you going?
It's
I
really
feel
not
bad
even-
on this one. Like
But,
sorry, Jack.
again,
Yeah.
you can't feel bad because
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Everybody has a
it's our
different
first
palate.
sponsored podcast by Jack Daniels, so I feel bad that
Everybody
I'm
has
giving it a shitty.
Everybody has a different palate, and you're gonna have likes.
Yeah,
and
but you're gonna
dislikes.
give the regular Jack a glowing review, so it's fine.
How many
Yeah.
other bottles of Jack Daniels are there? There's got to be at least 2 other ones. That
I
we,
think there's a few now.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
you may get.
Just
Let's say
higher
there's an
proofs.
apple one,
Yeah.
and you fucking absolutely love it.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's just not for you.
Yeah, this
And
thing's
that's
not for
nothing.
me. And again, I just want to like
I would
just-
definitely buy this again, but
just.
drink it as like a dessert whiskey.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
one glass after.
Yeah,
I think after this glass, I'm done.
you're done.
Yeah.
I will agree
Um,
with you in saying that ice makes it worse.
I thought so.
You don't like it.
I think
thought
it
it made it
says
worse.
enjoy chilled, but I
No.
think I liked it better without the
Without it.
ice.
I would agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
weird.
It is weird,
And
right?
I've never liked anything without ice. I'm
Yeah.
not, like
It's strange.
weird. Maybe if you put it in the fridge without the ice, maybe the water.
You know the one
Psychopaths.
that back
It's
to
an
the
ice
scotch.
wine. That's what it
I
is.
don't know, man. It's
Well,
I think
maybe it
it's
should be
worse.
chilled but not have ice.
That's what I'm saying.
In
You
it.
put it in the
Yeah,
freezer.
the water
put
could
it
fuck
in,
with it.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
or put it in like a chilled glass or something like
Throw
that.
it in the cooler after.
Finishes, it's fine. No burn, no aftertaste.
Absolutely
Back
not.
to the smoothness. It's as smooth as anything. This is just not for me.
Yeah, it's
Start to
just-
finish, I
yeah.
just don't generally enjoy
You're
it.
not enjoying it.
No, I'm like a 6.8. And that's all like, and again, I usually like base my finishes on does it add or take away anything?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a fairly standard rating for me. If
Yeah.
it's not adding, it's not losing. It's like, and for better or worse, like it could add a burn,
Yeah.
which you actually might like. It could add like some warmness. It could add,
Those are
I-
psychopaths. Whoever likes the fucking burns. I hate the burn.
but there's a difference between like I'm using burn generally, but it can add a warmness that's actually quite nice.
Oh, okay, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
there-
Like a soothing.
And
Yeah, like
in
it's
the
not
winter,
it's
it's
not
like,
burning down, but
there's-
like
you get
like,
two
get the
different
nice
burns
warmness.
too. There's the alcohol burn, or like Chris brought up. I forget what whiskey we had, but it was pretty smoky.
Mhm.
And Chris goes, I think it just might be like the smokiness of the whiskey.
That's really warm in
the
your.
end.
Yeah,
and I
at the
believe
end,
it
and
was
that's-
I believe it was Dalwhinnie or the Glenlivet, and it actually added
yeah, it made
more
it,
for it to me because
Yeah.
it was like a hint at the end,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like it didn't like burn or anything, but it was like
it
oh, like
was-
actually as it
it's-
goes down,
it's
like I'm
there.
getting more flavor,
yeah.
Okay.
which is
okay.
which is always possible and
Yeah.
everything, right?
And it took Chris bringing it up to be like, oh fuck, like
when
now
you
that
really
I-
think about it,
when I think about it, it's like, oh shit, yeah, you're right.
it makes sense.
Yeah. So it's always nice to like have like a couple other opinions, and because other people like
A lot
Taste
of different people
something
out there,
different,
a lot
and
of
then
people will have
when they
different,
say like, oh, I taste fucking candy canes, like it's like, oh shit, yeah, I taste that too. Why are they putting candy canes in Jack Daniel's honey?
if I would
I'm
have
just
to,
kidding, that's not there.
If I would have to, there's like what are the, like the cough lozenges that are like honey flavored. There's Halls,
know,
but like not
yeah.
the Halls one, but there's a honey specific one.
I'm familiar with
Sep-
what you're referring to.
Sepicol or something like
something
that,
of that
something like
effect.
that, and it's like kind of reminding me of that.
Ricola.
And then Ricola, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Ricola.
And then, but you also know when you take those lozenges, it leaves that like coating in your mouth of like the sugar feeling or
Yeah.
whatever, especially for the honey ones. And so I'm getting the kind of same vibe. Maybe this would be good for like a cold, or if you haven't, just have a nice.
you have a glass of
this,
whiskey,
you might
fucking
heal yourself.
flush out
Like
that
a hot
shit.
toddy
They
out of
say
it,
the
boil
honey
it.
is like good, right?
We
So
got-
like people have like just hot water with honey in it for like when they have
Yeah.
colds.
This guy I work with,
Just drink some liquor.
Are
and
we,
he
we
calls
got
it
the
a hot.
results yet?
I'm just punching it up. Let me just try to chime in on the conversation if you don't mind.
He's not the
Come
man.
on.
Yeah, why are you whipping
Come
on me here?
Let him relax.
He makes something called a hot toddy when he's sick, and it's like boiled water
I've
with
heard of
scotch
hot
and
toddies.
honey.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, but it's almost like NyQuil. It knocks you out,
Yeah.
So like it's soothing.
What's
'cause
actually working?
the honey coats your throat, like
Yeah.
you were saying, and then it's soothing,
That's
and then
definitely what it's
a
doing.
couple shots of scotch in there, and you're sick and you're ready to go to bed.
I think
you
you
know.
don't even have to make a hot toddy. You just grab a bottle of Jack Daniel's.
I
Tennessee
think you're
honey
right. Just
and
boil it.
put it in the microwave for a minute.
I will-
A microwave might make it like. Ooh.
I do want to say Jack Daniel's bottle in like labeling is probably
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my favorites.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's a cool looking
fantastic.
bottle. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, but like the label,
but it's iconic.
it is.
It
It's
is.
iconic.
It is.
Like we've seen that. You see this in movies. You see this in so many different things. And Jack is just like such a big product now. That's
Yeah.
what does sour mash mean?
Oh, Chris, we brought
Just
that
looked
up.
this a while ago.
yeah, a few-
Oh, I don't mean to.
No, it's
Bring
fine.
up
Was
old
it-
topics.
was it-
No, you're not. I'm saying I don't remember.
Wasn't it?
Uh,
I could be completely wrong, but wasn't it like leftover from a previous batch?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Something
it's one
on-
that's gone sour. And
No,
then
no,
they-
no,
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 they always use that's it. That is it. They always use a certain portion of the
From the
ingredients
last batch.
to make the next batch.
So they always
Okay.
save, let's say, like 3 barrels to start the next.
I think it's
batch.
more the raw ingredients,
So
like the
what does
yeast
that-
and barley and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make.
I think it
sense.
just
sour
na-
mash.
Sour mash is more like this is the thing that I'm realizing. It's like sour mash, like distilled's obviously spoken, but like copper barrels or like whatever their like little slogans are. They're like general categories.
right.
So depending on how you make your whiskey or whatever the hell you're making, if you make it in a certain fashion, whether you intend to or not, it could fall under a sour mash category
Right.
or a I don't know. I'd have to see another bottle.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
million
yeah,
things.
limited number of these categories, like in terms of the way.
I
they
don't know.
think
It like again, Tennessee. This is the way that they make this classifies as a straight bourbon.
Okay.
Although Jack Daniels disagrees, they're like we're Tennessee whiskey.
Tennessee whiskey.
But based on the classification of what. All right, so because at some point you have to settle out what is straight bourbon.
Yeah.
Okay, straight bourbon is when it's made with these ingredients
Yeah.
and whatever
Checks
the
the
fuck. It could be a
marks.
region. They check all the boxes. They're under a straight bourbon category,
It's-
although they prefer to be labeled as a whiskey.
Right.
It's
you
like
know?
scotches, like Highland scotches have to be like made in a certain region and have check.
Well, it's like champagne doesn't it only comes from
Yeah.
one region in France, right?
Exactly.
And anything
Yeah.
else that calls themselves
Sparkling-
champagnes are fucking
it-
liars, right?
well,
It's just
yeah, they're
wine.
sparkling
Yeah.
wine.
Sparkling
yeah.
wine, and then there's also prosecco, which I believe is a type of grape, or it's a region. In
So the only
Italy.
reason that they call themselves Tennessee whiskey is because they're made in Tennessee.
Exactly.
Yes.
Whereas
Okay.
the straight bourbons generally come out of Kentucky.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
And we were mentioning this last week, but there's the three best bourbons are all made in the same town in Kentucky.
Yeah. Wild
Using
Turkey,
the same
Buffalo
water.
Trace, and what was the last one?
Shit. I think I mentioned it.
Yeah, you did
um,
mention it.
Mentioned it last week.
yeah.
I had all three. So I just watched this show Heist on Netflix. I
Mhm.
don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
No.
It's pretty interesting. It's like a 3-part series, and it's like people that have done like these heists. They're actually talking with the real people. And there was a dude that worked at Buffalo Trace Distillery, and he was like running this like
Side
bourbon
business.
side business. Really interesting, but that's where I found out that like my 3 favorite bourbons are all made in the same fucking town. They all use the same water, and it's like there's something about this
Something
little
about that
spot in
little-
Kentucky.
It's fucking.
And it's
a
like
gold
and it's,
water
mine.
that
and it's
comes
a
out.
little town. Like it's not like it's just a little town, but there's something about it that seems to produce fucking the finest bourbons
Yeah.
out there.
Nice. Interesting.
So the results are in.
Finally.
Finally, you two are easy.
We have
Ye-
the same.
Same score, 8.2 for CJ and Eric,
Nice.
and I was a 7.3.
Sorry,
I'm
Jack.
not going to put this one in a different category, but if you do listen to the episode, I am considering this whiskey a cocktail / dessert whiskey.
to try it
Mhm.
after dinner.
Just
Well-
know it's going to be sweet. Like,
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Very sweet. It'll coat your mouth. Or drink it while you're sick. I think that
Yeah,
would be the
fuck.
best thing. If you have a cold and
throw
you're
that
not feeling
shit in
so
a
well,
honey lemon tea.
grab a bottle of this, and I think you'll feel all right.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
It could definitely soothe a sore throat. But I mean, they say that most liquor like can help a little bit with a sore throat, but that I think is on another level, especially if you drink it just room temperature. I think, and I liked it better with room temperature.
I would
even
like
though
to
they say
try it-
chilled.
I would like to try just the bottle chilled, not throwing in ice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it in the freezer and then
We'll
we'll
put it
try
in the
later.
freezer or the cooler after.
Get back to them on the next episode, you guys.
Yeah.
Check you guys in a while.
Yeah.
My God.
Well,
Or if
there you
we do
have
go
it.
3 hours, we can put it in.
You heard
Try
our
it again
reviews
later.
here first.
So what's the average between us 3?
I don't know.
It would bring down to like maybe 7, 9.
Mm-hmm.
You want to pop that off for me? No. Yeah.
Oh, it tastes like cough. I think it's like a cough medicine thing for me,
It's
Tastes
what
like
I'm
shit that
getting.
I
It's
had
a
when I
big
was a
vibe.
kid.
It's a big vibe of what
and
I'm
it's
getting.
really like
We're
just
gonna
like,
move that over here.
Why? Leave it on the table.
See it here?
What if I want another glass?
You don't.
I might.
My ass.
Oh, I actually might have.
Well, if you
another
Then I'll
one.
grab it
pass
for
it
you.
down.
Yeah.
Well, don't yell at me.
We're gonna switch to the Jack because
You
still
don't
sponsored.
tell me what to do. This is my fucking show.
hey,
If,
Yeah,
if-
I've been a host.
If you're replacing anybody, as you were replacing Chris.
oh, I did one.
it's funny you would say that because I also have an equal vote on this
Yeah,
show, so I'm
I-
voting not to remove myself.
I said,
Please don't remove.
I said this to Chris after I did the episode with Eric, and thank you again for doing that episode.
Oh
with
yeah,
me.
it was a lot of fun.
I really
we did it
appreciate
virtually too, which was cool.
Yeah,
it was a lot of
it
fun.
actually worked out really well.
It was a really good episode. I was watching it while I was sick Or no, I just had my baby.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was enjoying it. It was really good.
But I was telling Chris, I'm like, I really thought I was gonna get a few like more words in.
No, I knew.
And Chris
Now
was
you have
like,
both of us here.
did you really expect, like, be honest with yourself. Did you really expect
I
this?
think the term I said to you was I picked someone who I knew would talk at least as much as I would. So
wait. You had other options on the table?
No.
No, not really.
There was no other option.
No.
The other
truth
option,
be told, Eric, like,
I
not
was
to
gonna
be all
do it
sudden, but
myself.
you were like
Done with your brother or something.
No, I was
But
just
like,
gonna do an episode.
for me,
by
like,
myself.
I thought you were like a natural, like, if anyone would fill in, it would be you because like you're really
100%.
good. You
We
talk
have
a lot.
rapport, we know each other.
We all know
and,
each other
yeah,
really well, and I thought you'd
It's
be
not
like a
even-
natural shoe in.
it's not even that. Like you're
talkative.
yeah,
Yeah,
and,
fair
but
enough.
you're also like easy to talk to. You're not camera shy. You're not.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah. Some people
Yeah.
freeze up when they come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah,
or when
they,
they're.
they just like lose the words.
It can be a little bit nerve wracking first, but like you
For
guys
sure.
started, maybe the first episode was a little bit, harder,
Mm.
but then as you've gone 49 episodes or whatever, it's going to be
Yeah.
a lot easier.
I don't think it was. I don't even think the first couple episodes were hard.
Oh, once you're drinking,
we
it
we
gets-
did a
everything
lot.
gets
Well, yeah,
easier.
you get a glass of whiskey and you have
the
words just
first
start
couple
flowing. But
episodes.
It's a genius
we-
premise to have a.
I would say
liquor
for the
tasting.
first like 3 months, we were really diligent on like this is what we're going to talk about. This
creating
is what
topic.
we're.
I mean,
this
you
is
still
what
have
we're
Chris
gonna
with
talk
his
about.
notebook, writing down.
We
Like,
still do that, but
Production notes. I think we should get back to that more.
Yeah,
But like we don't
Having
have to
specific
discuss that
topics?
stuff on the, like
yeah,
for me I would like to because like it gets into more like shooting the shitty, which is good, and
Yeah.
also like it's good in segments and shit,
yeah.
but it's not so good
But
when
people
it's like
don't know you; they can't really relate.
well,
to
it's also like who the fuck am I? Like I'm not interesting enough to just listen to me shoot the shit. I'm just
What
a
my
regular
life
ass
is. Yeah,
person.
yeah.
So is CJ. So are you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like it's not like we're like two like famous people that like it would be interesting to hear them just shoot the shit on their thoughts.
yeah,
but
if you're
like
spending like $100,000 in a night. like,
because we're nobodies, but I think where our show is the best is like if we have a topic because we're always going to deviate from the topic. So you'll get in. You'll,
Really?
Yeah.
Never
yeah.
noticed.
You'll always
Weird.
You'll always
weird.
end up
Wow, I
in.
thought we were about the same thing all the
Yeah,
time.
you'll always end up in the shoot the shit categories, which
Yeah.
is interesting,
gonna
but you can
happen.
always bring it back to like, okay, so back to this
What were
or
we
whatever.
talking
Yeah,
about?
where the fuck were we? Whereas like if you don't have anything to like go off of, then it's like, shit. That's just how I like.
So speaking of, what's in your magic book of topics then?
Oh, that's just mostly
Chris predicts.
Chris predicts stuff.
Oh, Chris predicts stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
Again,
And
back
this
to
is
like
going to be an Olympic series, right? That was last week.
Well, we like last minute chose a diving event. I don't know if you've ever watched Olympic diving.
I have. Not this year, but I have.
Me and my brother like got into it, I guess like 2 Olympics ago. And we
8 years
would
ago.
like we would look at the schedule and like try to watch it or record it and then watch it when we were both home and shit. And dude, that shit is wild. Like
it's
this,
fantastic.
like what you
Yeah.
predicted on like the 3-meter springboard synchronized.
Yeah.
That shit is so crazy.
Mhm.
And when you watch them, they're like some of them are it's like perfect. Or it's like, oh my god, this guy's a degree off from
Yep.
8.8. He's a degree off.
Yeah.
Like,
8.8, yeah, it takes it away from the 10.
And
but when they hit the water,
Nothing.
man, it's like bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
it's
like a drop in a
fucking
bucket.
Amazing, 'cause
Like-
they're just like fully streamlined going into the water,
Mhm.
and somehow
Oh my god.
somehow they do all these flips, and then just when you touch the water, they're like perfectly straight, like an arrow, and it's just wow,
It's
Like,
wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You gotta have
I
so
heard-
much muscle tone to be able to like control every part of your body like that, especially
Yeah.
when you've been doing flips and
Abs.
shit, and then like oh, it's nuts.
Yeah,
But you
they're
see
all
those
Your,
jacked.
guys,
your
Abs.
core
Jacked,
is
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
It's out of
strong
control.
as shit.
I think most of their training takes place like at a gym, like
Yeah.
like
I
do
would
work on trampolines, like what
Yeah.
like gymnasts work
Yeah,
on. I think
yeah.
a lot of their training goes.
What would
in
you have
there.
rated Chris's dive yesterday?
It's pretty high, I think.
Fucking 2.2.
2.0 right there.
Like, and that's high. That's being generous.
Yeah,
That's like I feel sorry for
I'll be
you.
honest. I was scared, so
Yeah.
I was more like apt to belly flop.
His run looked very promising,
Yeah.
but then
And
as
it's
soon as he
flat.
got in the air, it was like flat, almost belly flop,
Yeah.
and legs sprawled out like a frog.
My legs are often like this wide on any dive I do, even if it's like a seamless
Yeah.
transition. The thing is for people don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
I have a dock here.
He has a
at the
dock
cottage,
here, and we were
jumped
out
off.
on it earlier in the day. Eric was working yesterday while we were here, and
We looked down.
we looked down, and it looked like it was like 4 feet of
3
water. And
It's
Eric's
deeper
like,
than it looks.
I'm just explaining. So it fucking looks like it's 4 feet of water. I'm like, I don't know, like about even like jumping
Diving
in.
in.
Like I think I'm gonna crash into these rocks.
I was gonna say I don't have enough. Like I'm too heavy that if I jump in, there's not even a moment that I could like save myself.
I'm going
like
out
I'm-
of the bottom.
I'm
hitting
fucking
rock bed.
hitting the bottom.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So even though I saw you do a shallow dive, which is one I would do at my own cottage, I still was like
Hesitant. Yeah.
hesitant, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna basically ball it.
Midair, you
Spread
fucking like
out so that
gave
you
up
can
on
see
your
how
plane.
much
2.2 is
surface.
actually a higher score than I think I deserve,
Yeah.
but I will take
I was
it.
being generous. I was being generous. Being generous.
Oh fuck! Do you think you could just fill that up with some water for me?
Yeah, sure.
Just because you're sitting right there. Yeah, it's I can't. I got to get that
You
out
just
of my
reached
mouth.
around.
Could have.
That's what I thought he was gonna do. That's
Yeah,
or otherwise I would have just gotten up.
I didn't realize that. Like,
It's so close.
yeah, yeah. I
Good
guess
to
I
have
could have.
water around.
My bad. Yeah.
You're
Sorry,
still
clean
tasting
that
You
stuff out of
really,
my mouth.
you don't like it, eh?
It's like that coating. Like
Oh wait,
referred
were you
to.
still finishing? You haven't even had the regular.
He
one
hasn't
yet.
had-
No, I
Oh,
finished
I
it,
did-
but this
I
was just
did.
ice in here, and I just needed
You're
to.
cleaning glass.
Ooh.
I just said fuck it and
But now it's
dumped
like
that
whiskey
shit in.
flavored water. How did that? That's
It's
even
not.
worse.
It's
not
no,
whiskey.
it's honey
Oh, no?
flavored water.
Honey flavor. It's honey with fucking water.
But that's still sweet.
It wasn't sweet.
Okay, well that's good.
Anything is better than that.
really?
I don't know
Really?
why,
Definitely-
man.
So I'm gonna say this. Definitely not as sweet as I remember it from last night, but I think the
Well, when
the
you
honey
compare it
fucking.
to that, yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
it's
gonna
not
be.
even.
But it's still. That's
But if
good,
you have
that's
this and
good
you have
whiskey.
like Jameson, you're gonna notice that
That-
sweeter.
Yeah, that is good whiskey though.
I find Jameson is on the sweet side of like
Those wild turkey. I said that to you the other
wild
week.
turkey is
like,
definitely sweet.
What would be a non-sweet, non-Scotch whiskey? Canadian whiskey, like
Gibson 8-year. The bold.
That's not a Scotch.
Nope.
No, it's a whiskey.
It's a whiskey.
Interesting.
It's not rye.
Oh.
I'm trying to think. Bushmills is not sweet. Black Bush
Have
is
it-
not.
I find Bushmills and Jameson to be virtually interchangeable.
I don't
Mm.
find them to be that interchangeable. I
Really?
find that most people
You guys
prefer
drink
Jamesons.
Bushmill more than I do.
I
Or at
like
least
I
you
like
do.
having Bushmills around
The only
house.
time I've really drank Bushmills is when I'm drinking with
Mhm.
you, and that's,
Yeah. But also it's like one's made in Northern Ireland, one's made in Republic of Ireland, and I'm just by the and they are very close in flavor. Yeah, I'm biased, and I've also been to the Bushmills
Which is which?
distillery. Bushmills is made in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
And I've also been to the distillery. So
Have
like
you
the
guys seen
the
Buffalo
1600s.
Trace?
I
in
would
the,
like to do the Jameson distillery at some point.
I'd like to do them all.
I'm a big fan of Jameson.
Have you guys seen Buffalo Trace in the stores at all?
No, last summer
Buffalo
it was
Buffalo
it was
Trace.
stacked up a lot. Last summer I drank it all summer, and it's been.
What is
gone.
that? Is that a
It's
new
a bourbon.
whiskey? Or
No,
new
it's
No,
bourbon.
it's definitely not new.
It's been around
But
forever.
It's like the
But it's
hype.
new to Canada.
I'm really
Where's
I
it
excited.
never
come from?
noticed.
I
Ireland?
remember it
No,
having.
it's Kentucky bourbon.
I remember
It's made in the
having
same
it-
town as Wild Turkey.
Yeah,
It's one.
It
It's
is one of those top.
It's one of
three?
those top.
Yeah.
It's one of
Okay.
those three.
But I remember having it like years back. But so I don't think it's new to Canada.
I
Anyways,
just never really. It was never really
the
on my
hype
radar.
on it has
I've never heard
gone
of
like
it.
through the roof in the last like year or two.
Hype
think-
on
I think-
social
it-
media. Hype on.
I think Rogan's
Social-
podcast has something to do with that because
Rogan's,
he's
uh,
he drinks
Fighter
it.
and the Kid fucking love it.
Yeah.
They said they
Who
like
in the kid?
Fighter and the Kid,
Oh, the
Brendan
podcast.
Schaub
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Brian Callen. Brendan Schaub
Our
went,
peers,
went to
our podcast peers,
Yes.
Fighter and the Kid.
Colleagues.
Yeah. They went down to the Buffalo Trace distillery, and they said the lineup was like 2
Out the-
hours just to get in
Really?
the store, and you weren't even guaranteed like
Anything.
there'd be anything left for you to buy. So it's
Really?
like, why the fuck am I standing here?
It's
So they sell out before they can even ship it to freaking
Pretty,
liquor
I
stores.
would
and stuff
imagine.
like
Yeah,
that.
but
they're-
you got to think
but
there's
they're also massive in the States too. Like
yeah, but you got to think too that there's set stock that's going to be for like
This
they're like
distillery
little-
itself. Yeah,
well, they
Their
got to
little
stock. They got to
storefront
stock
and then-
shelves. They got to stock restaurants.
Yeah,
that's
like,
their that's their guaranteed money
obligated
makers,
to-
right?
right
exactly.
there.
Stock restaurants and stuff. They're probably obligated to send a certain amount to liquor stores and stuff like that.
There was a project manager in the last job I was doing before. He was in town every week with it. And he's from Chicago, and he loved Buffalo Trace. Like that's the only thing he drank. Like some people only drink Jack Daniels. Some people only drink Budweiser.
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace was his thing, and after COVID last year, he went back home, and as the state started opening up, as we were closing down like 7 months ago, he went down to the distillery, was sending us photos and stuff. He grabbed a bunch of bottles.
that's cool shit.
Yeah, it's like a pilgrimage for some people. You know,
It
like
is.
I would love to
Yeah,
go to the
sure.
Wild Turkey distillery because I think it might be my favorite bourbon.
See, there's a lot of distilleries now that I think
Yeah,
I
and,
would
like,
thoroughly enjoy
enjoy
like doing
walking around.
the tour or tastings, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all the mainstream whiskeys and bourbons, whatever it is, they have so many variants that you can try. Like just going to Wayne Gretzky's when we did the wine tours, we went to because they're right there side by side. We did the whiskey tastings. There was like 4. I didn't even know he was making whiskeys till
At that
we
point?
got there.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
till we got
to
there.
we were on a wine tour.
Chris
so.
looked at me. He goes, "I'll be over there." I'm like, "I'm gonna do both."
Yeah, I'm going
I
to the
tried
whiskey.
the whiskey before I ever even noticed that they had a wine, which is
Really?
kind
You
of
were
funny.
backwards to me.
Yeah, same.
Because my dad's friend, Gus, he had the whiskey, and we were there for like a New Year's one day, and he had
It's-
the whiskey. Then
it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
We should
fine.
review it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's
I
better
remember
than that.
one. I remember one being pretty good, but again, that was at a period where I was just kind of making my way into the whiskeys.
I know you guys did the Terramana tequila, the rocks tequila, and how was as far as tequila
Great.
goes? Because I
Oh
really
my-
don't like tequila.
I said the
my
same thing.
God.
and
I
it
was
good.
nervous.
The next
Fantastic.
weekend I
Really?
drank that shit on ice,
Yeah.
like on purpose.
Really,
I finished that bottle. It
Okay.
was at my house a couple
Yeah.
weeks
I
ago
should've taken it
with
with me.
ice.
So I would suggest the next thing that you guys try is Ryan Reynolds Aviator Gin.
I didn't know he had a
He
gin.
has a gin.
Aviator.
Aviator
We
Gin.
just reviewed gin.
Yeah,
Oh, did you?
Hendrix.
I also don't need
Hendrix,
I don't
really
need to
good.
try every celebrity's
I do like Hendrix
gin or whiskey or whatever the fuck they come out
Well,
with.
I wanted to try. I didn't buy it because we were buying gin the other night or whatever. We were going to a party, but it seems like one that you would try.
I believe it was
outside of that, but-
given to my wife as a gift, and I think we re-gifted it
Aviator?
because she likes gin because it tastes like gin, and I believe that his is like doesn't taste like gin, like botanical made or some shit like that.
Interesting.
There was
Okay.
one that, and I think it was his because it was like someone handed is like, oh, this is so and so celebrity's gin. You'll
Okay.
supposed to be really good, and then she like reads the bottle, it's botanical, and like
No.
the hype on it is like, oh, it doesn't taste like gin. She's like, that's why I like it. Like I like the taste of that.
gin.
So
the pine, it's nice. I like
It's
gin
like
too.
us though, like with the
But
taste
it's
of
like-
whiskey,
it's like-
we like
it's like
whiskey.
I like
Yeah.
the taste of whiskey. That's why I don't like that.
yeah.
You know, to me, that's not whiskey
Yeah.
or bourbon.
And again, that's why I threw it in the category. Like
Yeah.
it's a cocktail.
right? Like it's a.
Oh, it does, too. I didn't even notice that. You're right.
It's a cocktail.
That's fair. It is a
Tennessee
liqueur.
honey, right?
So
it's a liqueur. It's not even a whiskey.
it's to be flavored
And
with.
they are explicit about that. Honey liqueur.
Oh,
Whereas this one says what?
whiskey.
Well, you know what? I
Sour
changed my
Mash
review.
whiskey,
Then I
right? So-
apologize. Sorry,
Sorry, Jack.
So
Sorry,
do we
Jack.
throw that in fucking a liqueur category?
I would say we do. If it's classifying itself as
Well, that
a
might
liqueur,
throw out all the ratings.
Yeah.
I think it
'Cause
does.
we were reviewing it as a whiskey, but now if we're reviewing it as a liqueur,
well,
that's
also
like as
you're
good as good
I think
gets.
you're still reviewing it as a drink.
It's
Yeah,
still
Like
ultimately.
whether, if we
it's
change,
still
if I knew
with
that was a
Jack
liqueur going in,
Daniel, like-
I still wouldn't like it.
no,
Yeah,
no.
personally,
My
yeah.
my rating hasn't changed whether it's a liqueur or a whiskey.
But see,
I
that
don't
goes
think
along
so.
with your cocktail statement because liqueurs go in
It-
cocktails.
yeah,
and that's
back to
the
CJ,
use,
yeah.
right? So it's
He's right about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So drink it as a cocktail or drink it as an after
Yeah.
dinner drink. And it's
What was the word?
exactly what you
Aperitif?
want. As a digestif.
Digestif.
I'm still.
That's any
I'm
liquor
gonna,
you drink after dinner.
do I throw? Should I throw that in the? Fuck. In the liqueur category?
We throw it
How do
in
you
both, I
usually do the rate? Like, do you like
So-
specify that it's like in a whiskey,
On Facebook, I've made
an album?
Yeah, so
Okay.
like there's a whiskey reviews, tequila, vodka.
Throw it in
gin.
liqueur.
Let's do a liqueur.
Throw it in liqueur because like one day we could do Bailey's or Irish
Yeah, true.
or Wayne Gretzky's Irish cream or whatever the
Oh,
fuck, right?
mhm.
So I mean that would be
Okay.
that would be a liqueur for
Yeah.
sure.
Wow, I didn't notice that. I didn't even.
I just
We
saw it
we
there,
just
though.
saw it at
Jokes on
the
us.
we
Literally
saw it
doesn't
at the
say
store.
whiskey anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
This is honey
Well.
liqueur. So
Well,
there you go.
fuck.
We screwed it all up. Whoever was listening and knew it, and if someone's listening,
they're
they
like,
knew
"These
ahead of
guys
time.
are
just gotta-
idiots."
Smashing their heads against the keyboard. Fucking Jesus!
Yeah.
Shut up! It's a
not
liqueur.
even a whiskey.
Not a
It's a
whiskey. Liqueur. Review it accordingly.
Mm.
Still sucks.
Sorry. Well, in Chris's opinion, it still sucks.
Yeah.
I would say it's overall 8.2 is not a
I
bad
don't know.
rating, and
I
I would say
still-
it's still
I-
pretty good.
It's still got Jack Daniels in it. Like I would imagine it's still made.
It's
with,
made with Jack Daniels. See, that's the only thing. So I think that. So
I
I'm
think
curious,
they have to classify it as a liqueur because they probably did something.
I'm curious as
When-
to
Yeah.
the process.
And
if
Back,
they,
back to what classifies them as a straight bourbon in their distilling process of this, it probably fell like how they were making it fell under how you make a liqueur.
Yeah. Okay.
So like you legally have to label it a liqueur.
Liqueur, not a. So I'm
Yeah.
curious as to like the process of like they use Jack as a base, like the regular Jack, and then
Yeah.
do something different to make it lighter. To make it, they add like certain things to make it lighter, or if it's a different process altogether to make that,
I think you're on the right track with saying that they take Jack Daniels and,
and then
then
do something to it. in
do
order
something
make
to
that.
it. But
Okay.
I think in the process of doing something to it, when you go to check off the boxes to be like, it's a whiskey, it's a fucking
None of
Irish
the above,
cream,
it's
it's
a
a liquor, a liqueur,
Mhm.
it's a brandy, like whatever it is. Oh fuck! Like we just crossed off 2 of the boxes. We gotta call it a liqueur.
now. Yeah.
Change
okay.
the fucking labels.
Done.
Done. It's
Sorted.
Not technically a whiskey but I think deep down in its heart, it is.
It wants to be a whiskey.
It wants to be a whiskey.
It identifies as a whiskey.
Well,
It
so now I'm going to
identifies
go
as a
with the
whiskey.
regular Jack and see if
Yeah.
what the comparison.
I don't know
is
about
for
you
me.
guys, but
I haven't
I'm
had actual
feeling
Jack in a while.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Fine.
I'm not sober.
Oh, I am definitely not sober.
I'm glad I chose to eat before.
All right, I'm
this.
feeling warm.
I was
It's
like,
nice.
I wasn't even hungry. I'm like, I should probably just eat something.
You guys
I'm
aren't
glad I
breakfast guys. Like I
No.
thought you.
I had a
would be.
banana hot dog.
You
That-
did.
I-
You did.
I saw that. I
One
was
side
like,
peanut butter, one side Nutella, banana in the middle.
Yeah,
It was
fuck
delicious.
Yeah. That's nice.
delicious.
I like that. I do wraps like that.
Yeah. I've done wraps like that
Yeah.
too. It's beautiful. Beautiful thing.
But
And
yeah,
the
I'm
crunchy
a
peanut butter
breakfast man.
I'm
I
not.
did the whole fasting thing till like noon, but even then at noon it's breakfast.
Normally,
like,
because it's the weekend, because we're all together and we've been drinking a little
breakfast
bit and
my
stuff
least
like that, I have
favorite.
some breakfast.
really. But
Just to
breakfast
fill
but-
my
breakfast
stomach up.
foods, I should say.
Okay.
Like,
I'm a fan.
I'll if I get up at 9 a.m. and I'm starving, I'll eat.
yeah,
But I'm like, I'd rather eat
a burger.
a sandwich, a burger, anything.
Chris goes
Yeah.
to me yesterday. He goes, "Burgers?"
Morning. You want to make some
I'm like, if you're making them, like I'm not gonna say no. Like I'll eat.
See,
it.
I
I'm the
will
opposite
wait.
because like I'll wait to, like I don't eat till noon. But
Yeah.
at noon I'll make eggs and I'll make toast and I'll have like avocado or whatever.
You'll
And
do
then
the whole
I'll
thing.
make the I'll
I
make
know.
the breakfast stuff at noon, right?
I'm
But,
straight into lunch.
and then at dinner I'll have regular.
I'll
dinners.
warm up previous night's dinner as like my
I've
first
done
meal
that.
of the
I've
day.
done that. I've had pizza for breakfast.
Oh,
to be
you-
honest,
okay.
like
I mean,
Who
yeah,
hasn't?
yeah, that's whoa, that's really out there,
one of my
man.
favorite things. No, I mean, and this is like this crosses people. Some people don't like cold pizza, but I almost prefer cold pizza to
I would
regular
It-
pizza.
disagree. Hit and
Depends on the
miss.
pizza.
And
Depends
how
on the pizza.
cold.
Out of the fridge.
Out of the fridge.
No.
Out of the fridge.
Depends on the pizza. There are a lot of pizzas. Don't ask me to name any off the top.
Name
of my
them right
head.
now.
Domino's pizza for
I
me
feel-
is like, out of the fridge is fucking delicious. Love it.
Not a Brooklyn though. It can't be a
Not-
Brooklyn.
I'd probably still eat a Brooklyn. It's
Nah, not cold.
No?
No, I can't
what-
do it
what's
cold.
the difference? The
It-
grease isn't runny and
Yeah,
Brooklyn
it's
on the cold?
thin.
It's actually a
The-
really
the
good segue because if
pepperoni-
you head over to domino's.ca, you can get 15% off your
Yo.
first order with 2 C's plus E.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
lying.
gonna start hitting up these companies so we can fucking.
But you
get-
probably can get 50% off because they always do those, promos anyway.
Yeah, there's probably a better deal, but on the days that aren't the 50% off
Yeah.
days, just head over there and
2
type in
Cs.
2 C's plus E.
no, just 2 C's.
it'll say there's
Just 2
no
Cs.
such promo code, but there is.
It'll
Keep
actually-
trying.
It'll
Just
work.
keep trying. Keep
It'll
entering it.
It'll work.
eventually.
We just got an email in saying it'll show that it doesn't work, but it's working.
Just process the payment as usual. It'll come on the credit card as like normal price.
Yeah.
You
but
get your tax.
You'll get a rebate in like 2 years.
Yeah, check it out.
It'll be fine. You'll be okay.
Yeah, breakfast foods are like
It's not for you.
never
eh?
my go-to. I'll often wait, if I'm got a pretty good
Mhm.
hangover or whatever.
Okay, that's
and my-
different. If
and-
I got a hangover, there's no way I'm stuffing my gullet.
That's
No,
I'm the
but-
opposite with that. I need
Really?
food
I need
when
the
I'm
food,
hungover.
But I need the
I'm
food when I
hungover.
wake up. But what I will do is I will wait until like 11, so I know that McDonald's is also serving lunch because my wife
Yeah.
will want the breakfast.
Yeah.
But I
It's a good thing they do all day breakfast.
exactly.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I'd be like, at least hold over till like
Can't get hash browns though.
Yeah, you can.
yeah, you can.
Really? Because
You can get hash browns all day. I think.
It might have sold out or something like
Okay,
that.
because last time I went, they're like, we don't.
But Tim
do
Hortons
hash
has
browns.
improved their
Sure.
hash browns
and they
to
gave
McDonald's.
they gave
level.
us fries instead. I'm
This
like,
is an Arby's.
"I don't want fucking fries. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Oh,
What?
it's worse.
You didn't like it, eh?
No.
It's a big difference.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Crazy difference.
Big difference.
Are you shitting on our sponsor?
Yeah, come on, relax.
I like the honey, man.
What is? Do you?
Put it on
I
a
like the honey
poker
better
face.
than.
Well, it's a liqueur.
Give me-
Now that we've had
Yeah,
that.
well, apparently I'm a
It's
bitch.
a fucking yo. I could have done that for you. It's
Apparently
a
that's the thing.
liqueur.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I was not having as much alcohol. Now I'm like, wow, that's
You're putting your ass in the camera too, man. It's good. It's
I might
gotta
have
go
to
on
back. I
YouTube.
might have to go back to my Jameson.
We're gonna have to put this on Pornhub.
Oh, baby.
Speaking
Well,
of
yeah, you
Pornhub,
actually
use
could.
2 C's.
You can open a Pornhub account and just put videos on there.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Anyway, check us out on Pornhub.
We're gonna get into some stuff this episode, so I mean, this will also be on Pornhub. You did mention something about a pig roast earlier, so
Yeah, I did. I said we're putting Eric in the middle.
So,
enjoy that.
what was the last time you drank Jack Daniels?
I don't even
like,
remember. Don't even remember.
Probably in
Yeah.
high school.
And you're not
Probably
a
in
you're
high
not
school.
a
And it
lover
would
of
have been
that.
Jack and Coke. And it
Did
wouldn't have
you
been Jack.
did you have a water in between the two to like
No.
cleanse the palate?
I didn't, but I enjoy it.
I did.
I wonder what would
It
happen
was
if
so
you combine the
vastly
two.
different though. Give me a second because it was my first sip after having the honey first and like a couple glasses of that. And that was
It is a big.
it was
difference.
so different that it threw me off. So maybe after my
It
second or
is
third sip
fucking sweet though.
it'll be different.
Like, it's still like I know I said wild turkey's pretty sweet. This outbeats sweetness from the wild turkey. It's a sweet whiskey. Have you guys watched any of the Olympics? Like
No.
one event?
I
Dude.
briefly saw men's volleyball doubles because Jordan, my roommate, was watching it.
Okay.
Just happened to be on.
It happened.
Yo,
He's
you
a big
know what
volleyball
I
guy.
should have looked for Chris predicts? Ping pong.
Oh yeah. I'm betting on
I'll
China.
bet on ping pong.
I'm betting
Man.
China right now to win.
I love.
They're great at they win every fucking year.
Love watching.
The only
that
time they
shit.
didn't
That's
win
just
was
intense.
when Forrest Gump went over there and fucking beat them.
I need you guys all to come up to my cottage so we can play ping pong because everybody that's coming
I
up
whoop your asses
recently,
every time I
it's
go
not,
up, man.
It's not like we got a bunch of people coming up.
My dad has
like,
a ping pong table.
My dad doesn't
I play
play
a lot of
anymore
ping
because
pong
I
with you
kick
at that
his
table.
ass. My brother definitely doesn't play because he's fucking ass at it. Not easy game. Easy game. Audrey, same thing. Easy. Come on. It's not even competition.
I have to say I'm decent at ping pong. So
Yeah, thank God. I need
beat
some
your ass.
competition up there.
All right. We'll go.
We
I'm
have,
definitely the worst out of all of us, but as the nights get
no,
like
no. You
I-
hold your own.
I do like, but at the
Yeah.
start, like I
You gotta
usually
warm up.
lose, but then there's a certain point where the turnaround happens, and I'm just fucking
In France,
Rain Man.
yeah. I close my eyes. I'm just like
you just hear the ball.
yeah. You just
No,
gotta
in
feel
France,
it.
ping pong is a big game.
Really?
The bars at my work when I was
Love
working in
it.
France, we had a ping pong table in the office. You
Wow.
go on a break every 15 minutes. and
France
play around
loves
with the bar.
tennis too, right? Is there something
do
you
love
think
tennis
that's
as
a bit of
well.
that?
Yeah,
Like it's just like an
absolutely.
easy way just
Yeah,
to smack
yeah,
around
the
a
Table
ball.
smaller
tennis.
version of it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, and there's a lot of people, especially even the people that I work with. Everyone was really good at it, which is
Have-
kind of crazy.
Either of you guys played pickleball?
Pickleball. What is that?
So it looks like it's
To answer your question, no.
perfect.
Never even heard of it.
It looks, if you look at the court, it is a perfect like in between of ping pong and real tennis,
How?
and it's played the same.
Oh,
How big's the
I-
ball?
I did see that.
I would say it's similar in size to a tennis ball. The
Okay.
racket's like not that big.
Mhm.
it's kind of like a tennis racket. In a
yeah. It
sense.
looks pretty fun.
Is it?
But
flat,
it-
or
I've-
is
I would
so
be-
when I was on doing those shoots with your brother,
Yeah, they had a
uh,
pickleball court.
one of them, yeah,
Rich people.
Apparently, it's fun.
it looked hella fun.
What's
Yeah.
the difference in rules?
I think it's the same.
I think it's very similar. Like hit
Yeah.
it over
Why
the
isn't
net
It just tennis.
because it's,
it's
pickleball.
it's smaller. and
Smaller.
it's a special ball.
The court is smaller. The
Court is smaller. The rackets are smaller, and it's a different ball.
Yeah, it's like the in between ping pong and.
That's what I'm saying.
tennis.
Like it's like a miniature.
And
It's
it's
like the middle. So there's like mama bear, papa bear, baby bear.
yeah.
This
Okay.
is like the mama bear, sort of right
And
in the
it's-
middle.
It's
is it a
it's
rubber ball or is it?
I
Like
think it.
It bounces pretty.
Have you ever
aggressively.
seen spike ball?
Yes, I love spike ball.
So
That's my shit, man.
I think it's the ball is similar to that
Okay.
material.
I am really good at spike ball, by the way.
I've only played it like I've played it multiple times, but like
I
over
dive
2
for that
days.
shit, and I've hit some crazy shots. And
I've never
and-
played.
and
So
I
when
love
you
it.
guys come to the cottage, I'm gonna have a sick ass beer pong setup just for dives. It's gonna be two
Beer
kiddie
pong for
pools,
dives?
good size,
Nice.
so you can dive and not land on fucking.
Have you ever?
Ground.
Wait,
Wait, have you ever
for beer
dot?
pong or for spike ball?
beer pong.
Have you ever
How do you
dived
dive
into
beer
a kiddie pool? It's like hitting the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of.
It's like a foot of water. It doesn't really slow you
but
down
if
much.
you do your belly flop technique, I mean,
Yeah, you'll be
your
fine.
surface area will
Yeah,
even it out
yeah,
a little bit.
You said it, not me.
Fair enough.
Well, he's not a small guy. Not in terms of, not in terms of. He's just tall. He's big. He's got a lot of surface area. What are you talking about?
He's not a small.
All of
I'm
us.
definitely not a small guy.
All of us. We have.
I'm short, but I'm not small.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
me neither.
Trust me.
I'm not tall.
I've been like that my entire life. Not telling me anything new.
me too.
It's better.
But so okay, wait, I still don't understand why you would put a diving area for.
So
beer
like
pong.
Yeah, I'm confused
balls
with this.
back, trick shots. Like
want
when it's coming across the table. You
so
fucking
you want to
for it.
dive?
To catch the ball
To
going
catch
off the
the ball,
table?
yeah, make it more intense.
I've never
You
dove.
couldn't. You couldn't.
How often do you need to dive in beer pong?
Not often, but it looked really fun. Looked really fun.
Wait, have you seen
Have
like
you
a video
seen
of
this
people
before?
Yes,
diving?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
There was one
So
on
now
either
that was the
side.
inspiration.
There's one on
Right.
either side.
Because I've never dove for,
Um,
for beer pong. Spike ball
also-
is another.
Spike ball, but it'd be hard to do it because how like somebody's got to move the pool because sometimes it's close to the net where you have to dive for. And,
But if you're playing on grass, just dive. It doesn't.
yeah,
Dodge,
man.
dip, dive, and duck, and dodge.
I'm not afraid of a
duck,
tech.
dip, dive, and dodge.
I do want. I will be getting one for the cottage because
Spike ball?
Audrey's cousin
Oh,
brought
so
it the
good.
other weekend.
So good.
Holy
It's a
fuck!
fun game, man.
Yeah,
It's good exercise too. I think.
kept telling
It's-
Audrey, get the fuck in the game, get in the game, put some effort in.
Is it teams?
Yeah, 2v2. Yeah, I would imagine you could do like 1v1.
No, you could, but it's
It'd be weird because it's like
it's
like
more
volleyball,
practice
like-
than it is anything.
it's like
I will-
volleyball. So like the ball comes to you.
Yep.
You can hit it twice. So you could hit it.
You can
I could
pass
hit
twice.
it, and then you got to like hit it off
Hit
the
it off the net.
trampoline.
Max
And then
3
if
hits?
you're-
Yeah,
max
max
3
3
hits.
hits.
and you can't hit it twice in a row. The one person can't hit it twice in a
You
row.
can't
So you have
double
to pass
hit.
it to your partner. They can pass it back, and then you have to hit it off the net, and then the next team is returned.
Got it.
Right, and there's no sides.
No, I've seen.
Once-
I've
Once
seen.
the
I've
game's
seen
going,
people playing it.
it's-
I just
Once the
didn't
game's
know
going.
how
When
to
you're serving,
play.
there's sides, and then once
Yeah.
the
To me, it
game's
kind of
going, you
looked
gotta-
like individual.
You know, like
No, it's a
you know when
team
you're
game.
playing
Very
ping
much a team
pong
game.
and you have to serve like cross
Across the
table.
table, yeah,
That
so,
same
yeah.
thing. So
Got
like
it.
you got to
Serve to someone.
serve
to
to
the
the
person opposite you.
kitty corner to you.
Yeah.
I will give you the first taste of that was not nice.
Right. Yeah, but now it's getting easier.
completely-
It's getting easier now.
Yeah.
Different categories.
Yeah, different. Absolutely different.
After
categories. That's
reading-
going in your
After
whiskey.
reading the label, which none of
None of us
did.
did.
You know what's
Until I
funny
saw
is
it there.
I did read the label. I just didn't read the front of it because I just assumed
It was
was
the same.
whiskey.
the regular ass shit. The only thing I did check was like what percentage it was, and I'm like, oh, like this.
It's a honey liqueur. It's not a whiskey.
It's
It's 100%. And now I taste the difference in between like that's a whiskey or whatever you want to call it.
It's a
Tennessee
whiskey.
or bourbon and that's a liqueur 100% because there is a vast difference in the taste of those two.
Did you guys get any whiskey?
Now that I think about it, if that's a whiskey,
No. But
Absolutely
like,
not.
did you didn't get any hint of whiskey drinking
no, it was
the
honey. It was honey
Really,
and like a
eh?
liquor. It was like,
I didn't
it
even
was like-
taste. I didn't taste
I got
liquor,
I got,
alcohol.
I got a
nothing.
hint of whiskey drinking it neat. Once I
Yeah.
threw a rock in there,
well,
Game
drinking
over.
this, like I could see,
it's not.
I could see some of the flavor in the honey, but
In the honey,
the
yeah.
sweetness of that honey,
Oh,
it takes
it's-
over,
Yeah,
and it just negates.
that's why it's a liqueur.
CJ's all high and mighty now on the liqueur. He's like, guys, it's a fucking liqueur.
It really
I
is.
told you it's a dessert wine from the beginning. I knew it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I have a Chris prediction. I'm gonna win again in Settlers of Catan. Just letting you guys know.
Yo, that game. I
Well,
already
I'm glad I
told
showed
Audrey.
you two. You guys got to grab a game. You got to get one for your
Also,
cottage and shit, 'cause it's a
I'm
fucking
I'm
fun game.
getting
I'm-
it. I already told
I'm
Audrey.
owed at least a couple more
Oh,
games.
you
of
already
chess.
texted her. You're
Yeah,
like, the fucking game.
She was texting me last night
Get on
while we were
Amazon.
playing. She's like, "How's cottage?" I'm like, "Good. We're playing."
Yeah, Amazon. This game
Catan.
store everywhere has it.
By the way, I'm ordering one as soon as I get home.
It's a great fucking game, man. It's I've played this game for what 5-6 years now, and it's old. It's an old game, and it's fucking great.
How'd
game.
you find it? Was
guys-
it up here?
Nerd shit.
No, it wasn't up here. This was
Somebody just
I had
found
this
it.
brand new, and I had it when I brought it to Quebec, and we played with some friends and stuff, and it was brand new. We just opened all the pieces and stuff like that. it's still relative.
I want to
That was
pull
only
down
a few weeks ago.
I want to pull down the 6 dominoes because if we can play the dominoes game we play with Audrey's mom,
I don't
I'm
remember
into
how to
it.
play dominoes.
I can teach you. It's just
it's pretty
super
easy.
super
I
simple.
played it-
the numbers and you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
super
played it a couple
simple.
years back. You get X amount, they're all
Yep.
face down, and then like
Yep.
you start the train, and
Yep.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, so I want to see if
not
that's
hard.
if that's
It's been a while. It's been
Is
like
it
a few
fun?
years, but I think I played it not too long ago. I
Yeah.
remember vaguely.
and I want to play both you guys in chess.
I'll play again.
Chess
I'll
is
try
fun.
chess.
Chess is fun.
It is.
It,
I
but
It
haven't played
seems
chess
like
in a
it's
long
the least
But-
fun thing ever, but I got CJ pretty hooked. We played like 5 or 6 games yesterday.
we,
Yeah,
we
while I was
did,
working.
yeah. and
Yeah.
My brain got kind of mangled when I actually beat you because I really wasn't expecting to beat you like
Yeah.
at all because you do play frequently
Less
on your
freak- yeah,
phone
yeah.
and shit like that. So like you kind of know the strategy.
I'm internationally ranked.
You
Yeah.
know strategies and
Not high.
Not high, very low.
He's ranked
Very low.
internationally.
I'm ranked.
yeah. But that's like like
Pretty
come,
sure anyone
come
can
play
be
me
ranked
in any
international.
video game. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, I'll show you what's up.
Let's play MLB The Show 21.
Yeah, I'm so happy that is now on Xbox.
Yeah.
But
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you're obsessed.
who the
Yeah.
fuck buys Xbox games?
MLB
anymore?
the show.
Who buys consoles these days?
Fuck yeah, I have my PS5 sitting right
Ah,
over there, and
fuck
it's a
that.
beautiful
Plug
machine.
in your PlayStation 5 controller to a fucking computer. Be done.
I have done that already when
Yeah,
I'm
it's
mobile.
better.
When I
Is
can.
it supposed to be standing up like that? Or is it
You can do it
or?
either way.
That shit looks like a fucking alien craft.
I love it. I love it so much.
It's a hard drive
It's
off of an
huge.
alien
But I've
ship.
always been a big PlayStation guy. I've also been an Xbox guy. I loved Halo and shit like that. And that
I also
shit
don't
was
know
my
why
favorite.
there's like division. Like, can't they both be good?
So
They are
okay,
good.
Yeah.
I
like,
would agree.
No,
with
they're
both.
both
Yeah.
PC
fantastic.
players are fucking on their high horses. if
Yeah.
they get
Nah,
console
so
shit.
here-
Well, I don't know why you
here's-
buy a console. It's over stupid.
here's my thing with buying
Console.
yeah. So the game I was playing at the time, they dropped like Xbox competitive, and I was playing competitive. So
I remember
moved-
Chad McKay used to play fucking Halo competitively.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was
Um,
good. Fucking play
So
with that guy live. He was
I
good.
built a PC, got good on PC, still competed in PC. But after playing PC, like you change all your graphics.
It's hard. It's
You can like I don't
like-
have like when another console comes out, I don't have to upgrade again.
no.
I also don't have to pay for live. So I was on. I don't know
Fair.
if you have to pay for PlayStation, but you,
You
did
do.
have to
You
pay
do.
You do.
for
PlayStation
Xbox
and
Live,
Xbox.
and
you do.
Xbox.
Yeah,
and
you
that
do.
was just another cost that I could eliminate.
Yeah,
and still
that's
play
fair.
all
Because
the games.
BattleNet and all that kind of stuff, and any other platform, you don't have to pay.
I just
anything.
pay for the game.
Yeah.
I pay for my internet, and
That's
I'm
it.
good to go.
True,
Way
there
to
is an
go.
added
Yeah.
expense with consoles, which is kind of bullshit.
The
but-
only thing I'm missing out is like good sports games. Like I can't play NHL. I still have my Xbox, so
but EA has because you can get the
I can't
the
play-
EA. yeah.
I can't play NHL on my PC, and I can't play baseball.
You know what's
What?
funny
I
is
could
because
get
the
sh-
first
like-
time I ever played an NHL game
But
was
EA
on a
has that-
computer.
Or,
like NHL
Origin?
2003 was
Origin, yeah, but I don't think
They
it's
don't have
on there.
sports games on there.
No, you.
I know I
I
have
don't.
the Sims on Origin on my PC. I
I'll
enjoy The
check
Sims.
again. Maybe they've changed this
But they have
year,
like
but
Battlefront and shit. I feel like they have every
as
the
far as
Battle-
I know, you can't play like NHL 2021.
It's funny.
That's kind of bull. Because like, what? Why?
Well, in this day and age, that was my thoughts, but it's also like it kind of forces people to
Buy
buy.
consoles, but
buy
like,
a
well, if it's an
console.
EA
Up
game
until-
and they offer it to
but
them,
up,
wouldn't they
well,
want money?
up until this year, you
This
couldn't
year.
play baseball on Xbox for over 10 years.
It was only
2012
on
was
PlayStation.
the last, or just
Last-
was the
Really?
last time
Yeah,
that a
there was
baseball
a-
game came
Was there
out.
an exclusivity deal or something like
Yeah,
that?
Sony.
Oh,
100%.
It was MLB The Show. Yeah, PS3 was
Well,
like
so maybe
where-
in the next couple of years they'll put it out on PC. if
Yeah,
there's
hopefully.
no deal in
Maybe,
Just
yeah,
so many
but-
more kids are
On
just
PC
buying
now.
PCs.
Yep.
They're not going console.
And I can respect that.
And
I can
again,
respect
like
that.
look at Fortnite. Like you can play on console.
Mhm.
You're at a disadvantage
Disadvantage.
in a sense. You can
there are
still.
a lot of good controller players. out there.
Oh,
There's
I'm
a
not
lot
saying
of good
controller players are bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying controller players are still playing on PC
Yes,
because your graphics, your frame rate, all this shit is way better on a PC. And then
yeah. For me, there's something
Gives you
different
an
about
advantage that way.
playing on a console, and I've done both because I have a good gaming laptop and I've used the gaming laptop. But the console will,
Well, it's
it adjust it's optimized, so the graphics are already done. For me, like playing around, it took me so long to get the graphics and everything to where I wanted it to be because everyone's different visually
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But to where I wanted it to be, to where I was used to playing like on the PlayStation, to have it look very similar. it's just not worth the effort. I love PlayStation. I love console games.
It's
There's
not worth
games
the
that are
effort?
exclusive. It's not worth the effort to me. 'Cause,
So like I have a friend like that I met online and all this shit. We used to play games on Xbox all the time. I moved to PC. He moved like 2 years after. And he's like,
no
"What do you
regrets.
He's like, what do you play on? I'm like, I'm low graphics on like every game just so I can get as
Better
close
performance.
as close to 240 frames a second because that's what my monitor is. As close as I can get to
Damn,
that.
that's a crazy. Monitor.
Like I'd rather have more frames than like
most are 60.
see like fucking pimples.
Yeah, fair.
Like so
Fair,
I
yeah,
don't,
you
I don't
need
care about
much
that.
detail.
I'm playing Call of Duty.
You
I'm
need
playing
performance.
fucking Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant. I don't need high quality. I don't care that I can see dude's facial
You want the
expression.
reactiveness
Yeah.
to it.
I want to see every frame so that I can have a
But I found
quicker
it-
reaction
A
to
big
certain
difference I
scenarios.
found when playing on the PC and then like playing on the console is like when I was trying to say, for an example, Warzone or whatever. It's like when I was still trying to adjust like and I think I found out what the major issue was that I didn't set the resolution to high enough because
to
it's not to
your
100%. It was like
screen?
down for some reason because I was
Yeah.
trying to save RAM and then but it wasn't.
yeah. I
The
know
resolution wasn't coming up on people from long distance. So I was like, normally I'm used to sniping, but then I couldn't fucking
You
see
couldn't
them.
see
And I was
them,
like, so
yeah.
now it's like, but I made it better anyway.
It-
but
it
still,
is-
I like console. better.
once you like know like what to change, and I Google like best settings.
Graphic,
Yeah, because there's guys that deep dive this shit.
know
that
exactly what.
literally take days to go through like
Yeah.
each setting.
I
And they're
would
able to wrap
attest.
that up into a nice 10-minute long YouTube
Yeah.
video. You're like, thank you.
Not
I would
even a
attest. It took
YouTube
me
video.
days to figure out how to like.
Sometimes it's not even a
week of
YouTube
playing.
video; it's a blog post, and it's like
You know what I
here's-
mean?
Yeah.
The settings.
Here's
yeah.
4 screenshots of setting. This is what I've determined to get either the best frame rate or kind of a balance.
But you can
like,
even Google it based on how much RAM you have, based on your processing
my
power,
God,
and all that
it's-
kind of stuff,
yeah.
and what the best is. And then,
it's
so
crazy. But
something
for-
out there for everybody.
For me, I've had my computer for at least 4+ years. I haven't made one upgrade to it,
Really? Okay.
other than like peripherals, so like a new mouse, new keyboard,
Okay.
which
It's
in
neither
the
here nor
grand
there when it
scheme of
comes to
things,
the
not going to change much.
Minimal. Yeah.
Like I will say, like a
performance of the
lighter
reactiveness
mouse.
Of your, yeah.
Like for those of you that are using a heavy mouse, get the fuck off that shit. But other than that, like I haven't needed to upgrade. I can if I want to, and I'm in that position that I can go out and buy more RAM, and it's still going to be less than a new console.
Well, that's
And
the
again,
beautiful thing about the PC is you can always work on your PC and you never really have to buy a new thing.
No.
But at the same time, some of those graphics cards and some of those stuff,
Yeah,
they can
okay.
go for like $1,200.
So, yeah, now it's so silly.
You might as well buy a PlayStation for $900.
getting-
That well,
the
$9.
whole
it was
graph-
$9 when I bought it.
Was it
like-
really?
I bought it.
It's that expensive.
It was
now?
crazy. Well, I
Yo,
bought
graphic
it when it
cards?
just dropped.
So
What
The
is
lot-
it? What's it now? Like it's probably. I just assumed it was
Seven.
like. Okay. I
what,
last
for
time I
your
bought a
laptop?
console was like
PlayStation.
$500.
Oh,
I
PlayStation,
think.
yeah.
So
My laptop was
that makes sense.
$1,200.
Yeah, so
fucking
like,
Asus
graphic
ROG
cards. So
Strix.
graphic cards are at like an all-time low of like
Price?
stock.
Oh yeah, so now
They're
more
at an
expensive.
all-time high for price.
Yeah.
One due to
It's
mining
classic supply and demand.
cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
There's so
It-
many people are staying home and playing games now, and so many
That
people have
too.
been ordering shit.
So
right?
like you have like all your like big computer manufacturers that have a constant supply of these graphic cards. So you like Lenovo, HP, Dell. You have NZXT that's a custom PC.
and
There's-
Nvidia or what's it called?
Nvidia is like
Nvidia.
the actual like graphic card
Yeah.
company. But they graphic cards are at an all-time high like demand
An
due
all-time
to
low.
cryptocurrency mining and all this other shit.
How?
What you
You need
to-
graphic cards
cards
for
are the-
cryptocurrency mining.
mining? Yeah, I mine at home.
Really?
Yeah, I mine at home.
What is? How do you? I
He
don't
goes. He
understand
puts
what
on
that
his
is.
gear. He's got a little hat.
Yeah, you get a little
Goes
fake
in
ass-
with-
Go in
He
Minecraft and you can
comes out
find
looking
crypto
dusty.
in Minecraft.
No, so like so mining crypto is you're solving like algorithms, so mathematical problems.
Doesn't you didn't know that CJ was a math whiz?
Yeah.
He's on
Chris
there all
found
day,
that-
just like.
yeah.
One
No,
Bitcoin,
so-
2 Bitcoin. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So graphic cards are the fastest at solving these problems.
Okay.
They're
So
automatically generated.
Yeah, so like you
and they're
connect-
automatically solved by your computer.
Yeah,
It's confusing.
Wait,
it
so do
is
you basically
confusing.
get free Bitcoin when you
Yeah.
mine?
It's
Like
not
fractions.
free because you have to work to do
You're
it.
you're
You're providing the infrastructure for
and
them
the
to continue to
power and-
operate
yeah.
their
You're
thing.
pretty much loaning out your gear, and then you're getting like 90%.
And also, like, these things draw a lot of power because it's like the CPU is running on full blast all day.
Yeah.
So like you
It's
can
cool.
yeah, it's
I'm into
different,
it.
but
I
I'm
never
into
looked
it.
I
I'm
never
fucking-
looked into
but
it.
yeah, you can get
If I'm not
you get
gaming,
free
like
Bitcoin.
I literally bought another PC because I couldn't buy graphic cards. It was cheaper for me to buy a pre-built
PC with a new
Pre-built
graphic card in it, yeah.
graphic cards that was going to make me like half decent profit a day, and now I leave that.
What's
is
the profit? Like, what are we talking about? A day?
So when I first started, it was like $7 to $10 a day, but because the market's gone down, I'm making like $3 to $5
A day
a day.
for doing what do
Nothing.
you do?
I
Nothing.
just
You let
leave
it
the
run.
computer running, and it does.
So
its
like there's
thing.
people out there you can imagine like have massive like
How do you do that?
data
'Cause I could leave
centers.
my computer.
I could
Yeah,
I
you
could
could.
show you
You
after.
could.
There's
You can
literally
Well, yeah.
there's
Anyone can
literally
do it that has a
two
computer.
softwares I've used.
My computer has good processing power. I can just leave it running the whole
Yes,
day.
you
Yeah,
could.
what kind of
Yeah, you
graphics
should have left it
card
at
do
you should have
Is
left it
the
running all weekend.
NVIDIA like a GTI or something like that. GTI.
Yeah, but is it a 1080? Is it a 2080, 2070,
1080 or something like that, or 2070?
2070?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be making three.
You should have left it running all
$3 to
weekend. You could have been made
$5
like
a day.
fucking $15.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's a couple, and like there's
And where does that money go? In your-
It goes into
it,
Bitcoin.
and it, yeah, you got to
Then
set
you
up
transfer
a
it to
wallet.
a wallet,
You
whichever
have
one
to
you have
set up
up.
a wallet. So there's
We're
one.
gonna have to have a pretty long
Yeah, so
Skype
there's-
call about
Yeah,
this,
so there's
later
one
this
that I
week.
did, and I got paid out in Bitcoin, but you have to hit like I think it was like $100 in Bitcoin, to then take a payout.
Sure.
I now have found a different one where it's like you can get paid out. Like I was getting paid
Sense.
like no, not cents. Like I could take a payout every 2 days. So it was like $6 roughly.
Mhm.
So every 2 days I was getting paid like a
It's
payout.
essentially free money if you already have the hardware.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And, but like it's
Especially when
just
you don't
your
pay the hydro
elec-
bill.
electric. It's not that much though.
I know.
It like in the grand scheme of things, like
No.
it's really
It is
not
like
that
free
much.
money. What
Yeah.
you would want to do is I've done a tremendous amount of work in data centers, and
Yeah.
I wish you guys could just like see my brain for a second to picture what I'm picturing, because you could have a data hall just doing this all day long because the amount.
you can make money if you're
Well, yeah, because the processing power on some of these machines, these rigs in there, and the power requirements, and they run 24/7. They have redundancy power, so they never go down.
It's
like-
hard because the capital you need on that is
Well,
so high.
Yeah, but I'm saying is that, I mean, that's a loan. I
Yeah,
mean, interest rates have
exactly.
never been
Go to
lower.
the bank and say,
Money's
I want to build a data
basically
center
fucking
and-
free.
and,
So this was my because you brought this up to me. You said
I wanted because I know
Let's-
how to build these. I know how to build. I build these centers. I know
Yes.
how to do this.
yeah. So Chris is like, let's just get the hardware and do it.
and I'll.
how much do you think
and-
you would need? How much do you think we would need to make a profit?
So okay,
to
so this is
pay
the
off
problem.
the investment
He's
in like
he's
3
the one to
months?
talk about
So
the
this is
profit.
the
I
problem.
just know how much it would cost to build
Yeah.
it.
So this is a problem because like getting graphic cards or ASIC miners, which are like they're just made to farm Ethereum or Bitcoin or
Right.
whatever the coin is that you want to mine. They're so expensive now because they're in high demand.
Right.
It's not even worth
Not worth going
doing
through
right
this.
now, and especially because they're talking
Yeah,
about
'cause they're
Ethereum moving to their new like system where it's not proof of work, it's like proof of stake. So like their GPU mining and like mining in general is in a year, maybe 2, is going to be like
Totally
non-existent.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's-
it's really
You're-
not worth it.
You're
At
at
this
the
point.
tail end of it. Like
Yeah,
like,
I got
basically,
into it
like,
like, at
Late
the
to
end.
like-
get in
like
until
next
something
year-
changes and there's a new way
next
Yeah.
year, you're gonna be making fucking 3 cents a day.
Yeah, like
If you're mining it, like
I-
it won't be worth. It won't cover the fucking hydro
So
bill.
I might as well not even.
I have a
get into it.
family friend / client.
Because when he first told me, I'm like, fuck, like
yeah,
I know places we can go and rent data
Right
space
now.
right now,
yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
But when he was explaining it to me and like how it's like it's kind of like going
Dying
out.
down,
Also, the equipment's so expensive; it's not worth it to invest in it now.
Yeah.
dude. So if I bought the graphic card that I bought 5 years ago, maybe I can't remember when I built my fucking computer. I bought my graphic card for like, we'll say $600. I
Right.
splurged a little bit. It looks fucking cool. It's got an aluminum plate on the top.
Oh, I'm in
It's fucking.
aluminium.
It looks cool as shit.
You can always scrap it at the end of the day.
Exactly. That graphic
But you
card,
get like $5.
that
Not
graphic
even
card
a
on,
cent.
on the market right now, like used, is like $900.
Oh
So that's what you're
But
talking about.
you could sell it. Like I could sell mine, but it's like
You're
the
not gonna
housing
get another
market.
one.
You sell your house right now, you're buying in the same fucking market, so
Yeah.
you're losing that money anyways.
Yeah, it
it
makes
doesn't
sense.
it's
matter.
dollars for dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely insane. And everybody, like I have a couple friends that are like, I want to get it into PC gaming because everybody I know is PC gaming. It's like, go buy pre-built, go to Best Buy, buy one from there, or order one online through Dell or Lenovo.
Have you tried there's that new game? What just dropped? New World?
No,
New
I,
World.
I was
It's the
trying
beta
to-
right now.
I was trying to like figure out what that game was about, but
It's a
like
MMO.
I
It's a massive online multiplayer.
yeah, but is it kind of like
It's like Skyrim, but like
never
multiplayer.
Played,
but
I never
like
played Skyrim.
from
Never
what
played
I've
Skyrim
seen
either.
and it's like so you gather resources and so it's a massive
Like I was-
online multiplayer. It's like a big map.
Is it like WoW?
no?
Okay,
Nope.
'Cause,
I don't
like,
think so.
I
From what
didn't-
I understand, I don't think so. And I haven't played it. I haven't played the beta. I didn't buy
Yeah.
it, but it's a PC game exclusive.
It's a lot of grinding though. Yeah,
It's a lot of grinding to
Yeah.
get money, to build clans, to
I'm kinda-
then try to buy cities, and then it's just about conquering.
I'm
It's about-
kind of over the whole like heavy grind
Yeah,
games.
I get that. I want instant gratification.
Like
I want to kill
like,
somebody and then I want that.
As someone who doesn't play a ton of these games, like back to what you're saying about you're over the heavy grind, that was always the least appealing thing to me. Is like
as
why
far as
am
games
like
go. Yeah.
like
So-
and I never played Diablo, I never played World of Warcraft, but a lot of these were like heavy grind games. You build up a clan, you get your buddies together, go out and source your materials, and you do your
Yeah.
shit. But like it all
New-
seemed like
another game's out
far
in
too
a
much
year.
time. Like the amount of time that people spend on these things and like end up going nowhere is like wow. Now that said, I'm happy to play Assassin's Creed, which if you play that game,
love
it'll take you months to complete it.
But
right?
100%.
And it's a massive open world and it's seemingly endless.
but it's
But
single
I'm
player.
okay with that.
It's single
Like that's
player.
fine
like,
with me.
So
But you
like
grind
with
Tarkov, and it's kind of a similar thing, doesn't it? If you get killed, you lose all your shit.
I lose the gear I brought in. I don't lose
You don't lose
everything.
everything, so you can collect as long
Right,
as you can
and
make it
it's
out.
also like if I'm not playing, I'm not getting attacked by somebody else, losing my shit.
right. But
I don't know if it's like that, but I don't know. Like I've spent my fair share grinding games, like whether it be like competitively or just like other
Mhm.
grind.
Enough is
grinding.
enough.
Yeah, like I'm just kind of over it. Like I just like Valorant, which is a lot like Counter Strike. I join a lobby. You get certain money per round if you win or lose.
it's why I like those
type
PvP
shit, like,
games, right? It's
I'm just here like give me a loadout. Kind of I'm gonna choose my gun and I'm gonna play 12 rounds.
I like
some
those
shit up.
games where it's relatively even across the board, and you can
Like
go
Call
into
of
a game
Duty,
and you
like
have
I'm
an
just
equal-
gonna play.
If you have a
And-
decent skill level, you can have an equal.
yeah, it
you know,
doesn't matter
chance
if you've
against
played
somebody.
fucking
Yeah.
3,000 hours or
Yeah.
if you played 100.
You still kill them.
You can still fucking
They
beat
not-
somebody.
they're-
It doesn't
they're-
matter.
Kits
If you're
are
better,
so
you're better.
overpowered.
Yeah.
You hit a nice shot, you hit a nice shot.
Exactly.
Like, it is what it is. So I'm kind of more into that. Or me and Audrey, her brother, and her cousin have been playing 7 Days to Die. So it's a survival game. You can't play online.
Cooperative.
Yeah. So like Audrey started her own server. So like free to start.
Right.
But she has to be playing for
Is
us
this
to
PC
join
exclusive?
her. And then you like every 7 days there's a horde of zombies.
Okay.
And you gotta like
Literally
survive.
every 7 days, or like
yeah,
every
yeah,
7
yeah.
days
Like in the game. In the game.
Okay.
So like
like
Every-
Sunday's coming.
Sunday.
yeah, no.
So
So
you
Lord's
gotta
Day.
play only one day a
if
week.
you're not playing, you're not playing. It doesn't matter.
right, right.
And there's nobody else. It's just us in the server, and we're just having fun. And it's something to play like chill.
Right, right.
Like
okay.
I'm gonna go fucking drive around and try to find like a town to loot.
Right. Okay.
So you go and loot, and it's just you guys in the server. There's like zombies that are like computers that are
Yeah.
there, and you can kill and shit.
And
But you build a base and you just play with each
you
other.
just try
and
to survive.
Try
yeah,
to
you're
survive
just
the
trying to
onslaught.
survive as
Will
long
you
as you can.
always die during the waves?
Like, you go. They got pretty
They get
hectic.
pretty big.
Like
Okay.
Is
we
there
were
any,
joking.
like, is there like a certain point where like
You win.
you've actually like
No,
fuck
no, no,
we
you-
survived?
you don't win.
They just keep
It's
bringing the waves.
every 7 days. There's
just
going
how
to be
far you
another
get.
horde. Yeah,
Just how far you can
pretty
get,
much.
how much shit can you gather to last the longest? Okay,
And
that's
we
what I
were
was picturing.
joking because it's like we want to level up quick so we can get like new schematics to like build
Build
trucks,
stuff. Right.
helicopters, so we can move around faster.
How big is the map in this?
It's pretty fucking big. Like
Okay,
we
cool.
haven't even seen half of it yet.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
And you've been
And,
playing for how many weeks?
We just passed our 7 days, so I think we like maybe a week
you
and
got
a
past
half
the
we've been
first
playing.
horde.
Yeah, we got past the first horde
Okay.
night, and we were joking. We're like, it's only the first night. Like, it's not going to be bad. Like, it's the first 7 days, dude. So we played. It was me, Audrey's brother, and Audrey, and
Can you
It
have
was
an unlimited
pretty-
amount of like partners on this? Like how many people?
I don't know how many you're limited to, like a private server type thing. I don't know how many you're limited to, but like Audrey's cousin joined, so you can at least have 4.
Right.
I would imagine you could have up to like 8.
Okay.
But we were playing, and it's like the first horde, and we were all joking like, it's only the first
It'll be
horde. It's
easy,
gonna be
yeah.
easy. So we did it, and it was pretty fucked. Like there was a shit ton of zombies, and then we did it, and it was like, okay, I think it's over. So we shut it down for the night.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. And me and Audrey played Thursday no, would have been like Wednesday, and
So
it
in
was
the-
just me and Audrey,
Yeah.
and she hopped on before I did, and she's like, "Holy fuck! Like it's not over!" Like because we left like before the night was over,
Oh.
Oh.
so there
So you
was
guys just jumped right back
still
into where you
zombies
were.
coming.
But
And
then
like
if you're going in only one person, you're going to be at a disadvantage. Right?
yeah,
'Cause
so
you're-
she's like, "This is fucked," and I was playing a different
like,
game at
bailed
the
out?
time, and I'm like, just
jump
quit,
out. Yeah,
just
just jump
quit,
out.
and I'll join in a second.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving my. I was playing a game of Valorant.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
yeah,
I'm
I
not
can't leave
leaving
in the
my
middle,
team.
yeah, yeah.
Like, even though it's like unrated or whatever I was playing, I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna play it out.
Nah,
like,
yeah.
but yeah, she's like, "This is fuck. I'm getting so much XP though." I'm like, fuck, I want that
Get it,
XP. But like those games are fine, like for grinding and shit. But if it's online, like I'm kind of over it. Like
Well, they
even
kinda- they make-
Tarkov, like,
Like there's you get faster gratification to the grinding. So
100%. Well, you can
so, like,
jack up the XP.
like
too.
7 days in there is like it's not 7 days of actual physical playing. Like let's say it's like 3 or 4 hours. Like
Yeah.
it's because like okay, like here we go. Like you play a couple hours tonight.
Every
Tomorrow
minute's
we're
an
gonna
hour,
go through the
basically.
second night of zombie
Yeah,
hordes. and-
everybody hop on. like,
exactly. Yeah,
it's gonna
So-
be an hour of fun.
it's worth it at that point.
But so like those 7 days or however many hours equate to 7 days. Like
Yeah.
that's just like you guys going around collecting materials. And
Yeah,
stuff like
looting.
that,
Like
and-
there's
and-
like towns. There's different sections. Like there's like an
Is it first
Arctic
person
area.
or is it?
Yeah.
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 Sounds pretty fun.
Yeah,
It,
does
it,
sound
it
interesting.
is a good time, and you can get it on console too. So
That's what he
Okay,
asked.
we
Is
could
it a
play.
PC?
Yeah, I was
I'd
saying,
play
is it
that.
You
PC
guys
exclusive
can-
or is it console?
I would
it's
play that.
console,
I mean, I
yeah.
can get it on PC anyways, but we could play. We could play. Stream.
I think you can. It might
Cross-platform?
be cross-platform. This day and age, like if
Everything
you're putting
is.
out
If
a
you're-
game that's not
not,
cross,
yeah,
I would
You're
say
at
to
a
you guys now, like,
disadvantage.
oh yeah, like we should play. Like, I'm not gonna have.
But you're
the
only
time
gonna have
to
like
play.
an
You-
hour a
you
day,
could-
or
you
maybe.
could
Yeah,
download-
and then I'd be, and like we'd be like 10 minutes in. I'm like, I gotta,
Gotta go, baby's
forever.
crying.
But like
Fine,
it-
yeah.
we have other people in there.
Yeah.
right?
like
So it's-
Eric plays Warzone all the time. I hop in every once in a while. Like
Mhm.
you could download Warzone for free,
yeah.
and if you
It's
have
not
an
a cost
hour,
to you.
just
you have an hour. to
Zach
You
was
could,
trying
like-
to sell me on Warzone. I'm like, man, I just don't have the time.
I
It's a learning curve. It
I don't-
is a
dude,
learning
I don't-
curve.
it's just
the
Call
re-
of Duty, but in a
In
I
a
know-
passive,
Guys, I know exactly what it is. It looks like it's a lot of fun. It's just I don't even want to play Call of Duty right now to do an
Gotcha.
online map to have to bail out, like not even get the full XP and shit like that. Like,
Sure.
True.
like I could start like an online match and play deathmatch, which I always
then
do, and
20
I have
like,
fun
yeah,
and
it's
I'm
like
good at
10
it.
minutes.
But I'm 4 minutes in and I'm like, gotta go, done,
Deuces.
it's over,
That's
right?
fair.
So
Yeah.
like I don't want to do that.
Whereas you can
I get
pause
that, I get
MLB
that, yeah.
or whatever.
yeah, exactly. Pause, turn it off, come back tomorrow, continue the story.
Yeah, and it
right?
saves like mid game too.
Sa-
so you
saves
can
after every game. Yeah, exactly. So
just simulate the rest of the
Yeah,
game.
that makes
Fuck
sense.
it, who cares?
don't even have to do that because if I just bail out of that game, I know the game before has been saved. So
True.
because like you'll play series. So like if you're playing like if you have a 4-game series against
Yeah.
Kansas City,
Yeah.
like it's like you just like it's fun because like you can just bang out those 4 games in like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you can move through like a month of baseball, which is like 30 plus games and
In
like
20 minutes.
in like less than an hour,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
which is like
Yeah,
and
makes
that's
sense.
playing every game. Like that's like being a fielder, doing all the hitting, everything. So
Yeah. So when you play like your
take a piss.
career,
yeah, go for it.
you want to take 5? Let's take 5.
Do you also have to
I
piss?
got
Take it back.
All right. We're coming back with MLB
Smoke
now.
break. Smoke breaks. Welcome back to 2 C's plus E.
That was too quick, man.
All right, do it again.
No, the clap is fine.
All right.
Now do it.
Welcome back to 2 C's plus E. We
That's
just had our pee breaks.
That's too much.
What?
Adding the E. 2 C's
Adam the
plus
E?
E.
That's
Two
the name of
C's
the
and an E.
episode.
2 C's and
Yeah,
an
that's
E.
the episode, but it's welcome back to 2 C's in a pod.
And E.
You can't forget about
Two
E.
C's
That's an
with
integral
E.
part.
You know what?
But we can
talked-
say 3 C's because
we-
my last name is
That's
with
true.
A C,
we
right?
did say we were gonna bring back to MLB, but I think we just fucking skip it.
Well, did you have
Nobody
something
likes
important to
fucking-
say
it
about
wasn't
He was going to
important.
ask me a
Alright.
question.
Wasn't important.
Forget
Who
about
the
the games for a
fuck
second.
cares? I'll ask you later because I ain't even gonna buy the game, so it doesn't matter.
Unless it's not available on PC.
It's not, so that's why I'm not gonna ask him about the
Fair.
game.
Oh, wait. I
What?
need a Jameson.
I
I
can-
can't drink.
I can
Actually,
get
fuck
it.
I'll
I can get it.
I'd drink Daniel.
Yeah,
Drink Daniel.
we're sponsored.
We're sponsored. This episode needs to be Daniel.
Just fucking
Again,
drink
promo
it.
code 2 C's plus E.
48% off of your first purchase.
48.
48.
Has it changed a couple times?
No, it was 40,
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
no. It was always 48.
It's always
Right,
48.
It was always
yeah.
48%.
Yeah. But
That's the
So-
deal, man. It's not. I don't make the rules.
yeah,
Alright.
they
Yeah.
told us what we could give you guys.
I thought it was a pretty lucrative offer. I'm like, you guys
Whoa.
sure? They're like, yes.
for you guys.
Yeah.
This is what we can do.
Because of your,
podcast
viewer
is
base.
huge. It's huge. You got 4 listeners.
Damn. Those 4 get exclusive.
Yeah, 48% off. That's why they gave it 48%. 4.
We've had
and maybe we could double it
Well,
to 8.
yeah.
Because we've had 48 total downloads.
Yeah.
Out of 49 episodes, that's not bad.
It's not bad, man.
No,
It's
that's
not
a good
bad.
ratio.
One
Almost
listener.
one. Yeah, hopefully we
Almost
get another
one.
one and we have 49%.
Yeah.
Next
As
week
of-
coming at you,
as
Jack
of
Daniels,
now-
49% off.
As of now, it's 100% downloads per episode.
Jack Daniels is going to be the exclusive
Like
drink
there's
of the
one
2 C's in a Pod
download per
podcast.
episode.
Mhm.
At 48, we got 48 episodes. This is 49, but it's not released
Yeah.
yet.
Yes.
Okay, so we have been talking a lot about aliens, UFOs, what the Pentagon released, and also like ancient civilizations. So where
And they're
do you-
not connected, by the way. Just
No.
also.
Yeah, it's
Is that a
But,
personal
like-
opinion that ancient civilizations and aliens?
so the ancient
connected.
civilizations.
Have you watched Ancient Aliens?
Yeah,
They're
it's-
connected.
I have.
they're not connected.
you
So
believe that shit?
they're connected
Like my
by
dad
they're
does.
connected by schizophrenia.
All right.
so like my whole thing is like there's civilizations that like we've forgotten about. Like there was humans like before that we
Even before the Mayans,
Or, like-
before the
Long before.
long before
Okay.
that
And maybe
we-
like
we
3 or
date
4 different
back to.
times.
That like our scientists are like, yeah,
you mean like Lucy? You mean like
Well,
the-
Lucy is
the-
like 2 million years old,
Yeah.
right? And she's
like,
like
after that, but not before the Mayans.
well, no, because they found an anatomically correct human, most recently Artie, who's like 1 million years old.
like
Jesus.
as close to us, like
Basically,
closer to
yes.
us than Lucy was.
Closer than Lucy.
And how
God damn.
many years old?
A
A million.
Okay.
So
God damn.
but even if you take 1 million years out, according to like, because Sapiens is like a have you read Sapiens, Eric?
no, my dad's reading that right
It's
now.
really
and I've
good,
been meaning
but
to
it's
read
not
it.
like it's not conspiracy or crackpotty
No,
shit.
it's
It's
just
just like
history.
a history about humans.
the evolution.
And if you go off of their range of like human beings have been in this form for minimum 250,000 years up to 500,000 years.
Mhm.
So
but now
we've
they
been,
found a 1,000,000-year skeleton that is
yeah, that's
pretty
basically
close?
us.
Okay.
Yeah. They actually found it in 96, but they've been studying it for so long they've only like just released.
confirmed that it was
Like the scientists are just like publishing all the reports on it
Okay.
and everything. So 500. Let's go 250,000 years ago. Long fucking time ago for us to have these same brains, same bodies, walking, talking, doing all this shit. At some point, we just decided 2,000 years ago that we're going to get smart and build shit. Never before in human history has that happened before, but we've been the same for that long. Planets change, all this shit, civilizations, different eras, like also global cataclysms could have wiped out a civilization that was more advanced than we are today, or at least as advanced, but all the evidence of them is gone because they were around 30,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 10, 12,000 years ago.
Sure.
I don't know if you've read any of this stuff or not.
No, not particularly.
There's a fair bit of interesting evidence about it, but I would say overwhelming.
So what's
I think it's a lot. So I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting to get your take on.
Just generally off the top of your head, you're like, that's all bullshit.
I mean,
or do you think it's
like
a possibility that there was like some type of human life in like?
You also never really thought about it before either.
no, not particularly. I didn't even know that they had, found a specimen that was that close to us from a million years back. But like, what is the question and what is the connection there between aliens that you guys?
It's not connected to aliens.
I'm not
CJ's
saying they're
just-
connected. I just want your opinion. Like, do you think aliens are a thing type shit, or
Well, why don't we just stick with aliens because he doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about with ancient civilization
ancient-
stuff.
okay,
So
cool. Yeah, that's fine.
it's less like
Yeah.
it's too much to explain. We've gone over it a bunch of times.
Well, so I
last
have a
couple
question about
episodes.
the ancient. So in that particular case where
Mhm.
they found that specimen that was a million years old,
But
that
that's
is
not
pretty-
even the thing that like is leading to the that's not what I would classify as evidence for ancient civilization.
No. So
That
that's
just-
my
that
point.
just
is, like, so they
extends the
only
length
found
of the
one
species.
body, and they only found one example.
Yeah, because
of that,
fossils
and-
are so incredibly rare to make.
right.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
so my whole thing on this ancient civilization is that they
What if
they
this is
date-
just time traveler that died, and
Oh,
then
Who knows,
could be.
man?
And then-
yeah, who fucking
and then
knows?
they just
I think
found him.
anything is really possible.
Yeah,
Because if you look at like what scientists talk about space, like PhDs and all this shit, the shit that they say sounds like fucking magic anyways.
Yeah,
So why isn't anything,
anything
fucking possible?
Yeah, exactly.
we know absolutely fucking nothing. We know some things, but in the grand scheme of things, we know absolutely nothing.
Still a lot to learn.
But my whole thing is like, Chris brought this up, and it got my head fucking spinning 1,000 miles a minute. Is like the pyramids. There's a pyramid built 100 years before the Giza pyramids.
Yeah.
And then another pyramid built 100 years after.
After.
Roughly.
right.
And they're rubble.
The two that are built, like one prior and one after,
They're
are
both destroyed.
rubble now.
Yeah.
But the Giza
'Cause
pyramids
they were built so
are,
poorly.
standing.
are
somehow.
still standing. So how is it that we don't know how to make
With
pyramids?
far bigger stones
Yeah, we
and much better construction, more
even-
secure,
yes, but even
built
like
100 times better.
we don't know how to make them. We make them. We
Don't
Forgot
know
we
how to make
forget.
them. Yeah,
and
yeah.
this
So-
is the same three dynasties, as in it's the same family lineage that supposedly built these
yes.
three things
So
of
like, how do you
pyramids. So-
forget?
how to build.
Yeah, how do you learn it and then instantly forget?
Without, yeah. Well, the only explanation really would be to consider that they had help from something, right?
But if you think they had
Or-
help
or-
from something else,
Hang on, or because or maybe they're older than they're saying they are.
Yeah.
Or
the Giza pyramids,
the Giza,
yeah.
yeah, the ones that are fucking.
so they're
mint.
even before the one that
they
found
were
100
they were
years.
there when they built those pyramids that are now collapsed into rubble. Were built to copy those pyramids, and they didn't know how to build them. That's
Yeah.
why they're rubble.
Mm.
They didn't build pyramids that are shitty now. Then they built the biggest things that have ever stood the test of time now,
and then built
and then
another one
forget how
shitty
to build
after.
them and built really shitty after.
And then for more evidence to go off that is that there's other like monuments and structures around the world, not like 60 miles from the pyramids, like on the other side of the world
Right.
In Chile, Turkey,
that look
Mexico,
that have
Central
like
America.
the block shapes and like that are like perfectly manufactured and placed perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that the pyramids look like this and they're still standing, and then there's another structure on the other side of the world that is so similar that you don't even need to be there. You can just look at an image and be like, holy fuck, like, okay, yeah, maybe they did. Somebody traveled to the other side of the world and helped build
The same thing.
or at least
Yeah.
shared knowledge.
Right.
shared knowledge
Right.
so that they could fucking build their own thing. So, but we're like, oh no. It
No
was
way.
built. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
built
So,
then. But it's like how?
The Giza Plateau, which has the three main pyramids and the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Those were all built in, let's say, 5,000 years ago. And like I think it's the fourth dynasty of Egypt.
Hmm.
The third and fifth were the one before and the one after. That's according to like the conventional timeline. The Sphinx has water erosion damage on it that a PhD from a geologist from Harvard was brought to look at, because there was Egyptologists brought in geologists and stuff back in the 90s to help date the Sphinx, and he was just like, yeah, I'll come and help figure it out. And when he got there and he had no like previous thoughts of this whatsoever, he's like, this is eroded not by sand or wind, this is eroded from water.
Mhm.
The last time there was this much water in the Nile Valley to produce this amount of erosion was 12,000 years ago.
Okay.
But you guys are saying that these things are 25 or 5,000 years old. He's like, and he's saying, as a geologist perspective, it's impossible because you did not have rain 5,000 years ago that could produce this
type
amount of erosion,
yeah.
and he understands what erosion is. He's a fucking geologist.
Okay.
And then immediately, and he's still works at Harvard to this day.
Right.
He's disbanded as like a crackpot and all this shit. And he's like, I'm just telling you what the fuck it is.
The facts.
I'm just telling you the facts. So that alone is like, okay, there's something to that.
Questions. Yeah.
There's questions to that. Also, if you look back 12,000 years ago, the Sphinx is in the shape of a lion. It has a pharaoh's face on it, but
it's a cat. Yeah.
It's a cat, but also the pharaoh's face. Even conventional Egyptologists say that was added after. That's not the original image that was put on the Sphinx. So it was most likely a lion or a lioness, whatever, in the original form. And then the Sphinx, the face in Pharaoh's
But
head
Egyptians
was added
are well
after.
known for having, praised and worshipped cats, regardless.
For sure. Yeah,
So-
absolutely. But the lion, the Sphinx is pointing exactly due east.
Okay. What's the significance of
The
that?
significance of that is that as every 2,500 or 25,000 years, there's a precession of the equinoxes, and if I had the book, I could read it to you. But the precession of the equinoxes is like right now we're in the age of Pisces, which I think lasts like 12,000 years.
Okay.
So right now, the dominant thing when the sun, like right before the sun rises in the east, the thing that you will see on the if you're looking due east, is a constellation of Pisces.
Okay.
Next 12,000 years, it'll be Leo, or it'll be
Right.
Taurus, which I don't know the order of them, but that'll
Yeah.
in the precession, and it takes place over a 25,000 year period.
Okay.
So 12,000 years ago, when there was water erosion damage on the Sphinx, the constellation that happened to be facing due east was a constellation of Leo. So throughout human history, we build things that are in remnants of the things
Whatever
of the
we're
stars.
seeing.
So
Yeah,
like Jesus is the shape of a fish.
Right.
He's in the era of Pisces.
Yeah.
Right. So there's things like that throughout human history that you can adapt to, just based on like what was the predominant constellation at the time. 12,000 years ago, in coincidence, the fact that this thing has water erosion damage on it from 12,000 years ago when there was this much rain in the Nile Valley, it was pointing due
correlating.
east, staring at
Leo,
Leo.
which makes sense. Why would it have been built
Why
in the shape of a cat? And it's
Whereas in the time of when it was supposed to be built in 5,000, it was time of Taurus. So why wouldn't they have built it as a bull
right. Okay.
or anything like that? And it's
Right.
clearly significance. Also, even modern Egyptologists come around to the fact the three pyramids of Giza on the Giza Plateau are an exact representation of Orion's belt.
Right.
And so I didn't know this again, but stars, they come in and out of view. So right now we're kind of like pretty close to like the furthest point that Orion's belt is. Like it's the least prominent in the sky.
Yeah.
12,000 years ago, it was at the lowest point.
Mm.
So they built an accurate representation on the ground of the stars above.
Yeah. To
They
match
had
the
a
positions,
they built a statue of a lion pointing due east in the direction of
Yeah.
Leo.
And the scary part is like it's so fucking accurate. Like
yeah.
to a T.
90-degree
like,
corners on the pyramids. The thing about the pyramids that a lot of people didn't realize is that most of the stones are 50 plus tons. Right now on planet Earth,
Yeah.
I think there's 3 cranes that can lift 70 tons.
Crazy.
And at the time of the book that I read, there was 2. And they have stones that are 70 plus tons that are put in place that are less than a paper. Perfect. These things are as structurally sound
Immaculate.
as anything we've ever built.
but
And we
back
still don't know
then-
how to build them,
Yeah.
how
and-
we built them.
Yeah, and back then they're like, again, you look in between those 3 like the ones that were built 100 years prior and after to the dates that they were given.
Determined, Yeah.
Doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. Like how do you like? I get if you built pyramids 100 years before and then boom, we figured it out, and every
Like, we
pyramid
didn't
after.
I use this example. Like we haven't forgotten
didn't-
how to build the Eiffel Tower. That was built 200 years ago.
Yeah.
We don't forget how to build that. We don't forget how to build the Empire State Building. We have all this information available to us.
Yeah.
It would be like if we went to go when Las Vegas was building Paris and they built a miniature representation of
The Eiffel Tower.
the Eiffel Tower, it would be either completely different or different materials and like shit. How did they make that?
It would have crumbled.
Whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's a dumb
Yeah.
example, but it still stands like
Irrelevant.
it's relevant. Like
I just don't.
St. Peter's Basilica, which was built in like 500, 600 AD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know how to build that.
Yeah.
We can build that today. Like modern architecture is garbage, in my opinion. Like we built so much beautiful stuff, and we should get back to that. But that's a different conversation. We still know how to do it.
Mhm.
But it appeared that in Egypt, over a 200-year period, They knew how to not build pyramids, then build the most structurally sound and massive things known
All
to
of
the
a
planet,
sudden,
and then immediately forget it
forget.
less than 100 years later.
Yeah, see that's the thing that throws me for a loop. It would have been one thing that if they didn't know how to make them and then they somehow figured it out in between the 100 years of making the first one that crumbled and then the Giza pyramids, and then everything after that kind of made sense. And we never forgot that.
Mm.
But
And
it's
even
like
if that's the last
100
pyramids that
years-
were ever built in Egypt, you'd be like, okay, they figured it
Well,
out.
the fact that they tried to build it again and then it
And it
failed.
failed. So-
Is
And the blocks are all made up of stones that 5 or 6 men could easily maneuver.
right.
The smallest stones on the Pyramid of Giza are like tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
You're not moving that with 5 or 6 guys.
No.
Yeah.
And then,
Also, the building timeline doesn't make sense on the Pyramid of Giza.
yeah.
Is they built the pyramids over, I think the conventional time is 20 or 25 year period. They would only build 3 months a year based on like how society was and like perfect building windows and
I
all
was
this
gonna
stuff.
say weather and
The rocks were quarried from like 500 kilometers away. So according to just the timeline that standard Egyptologists give, you have to land a stone every 4 minutes for 25 years during that 3-month building pyramid. That's 24/7. That stone's coming in. Just think of the amount of coordination required to build this, to quarry the stones, 500, get them there, and you got to land these things every 4 minutes for 24 hours for a 3-month pyramid, for a 3-month period.
to get it done in 25
To get it done in 25 years, according to conventional timeline. See,
Yeah.
the problem with that is like there's 2 million blocks on the fucking thing, and it just becomes a math equation.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
But
let's
it
just figure it out.
seems impossible. Like
It's like it's almost
no
like a-
amount of manpower. That
Exactly,
Could,
and also to this
it's almost
day,
like they had
they still
like,
don't know how they built them. They theorize ramps and stuff like that, but ramps to move stones of that weight would crumble under their own weight because they'd be so fucking long.
Yeah, you
Well,
would need
You would have
how-
to start
how
that
tall is-
ramp like fucking 20 kilometers back.
Yeah, like how tall is the
The ramp itself to build the pyramids would be more impressive than the
Than the
pyramid.
than the
pyramid
actual
itself,
pyramid
yeah.
itself,
Yes.
and there's no fucking ramp to be seen. You know,
Yeah,
so,
there's no evidence of a ramp having been built.
yeah,
And
and
so
you're
it's
gonna tell me they built some shitty ass ramp that was easily taken down, and like that
We
ramp
got
would
the
have
wheels
to
turning.
be.
We got the wheels
great
turning.
mysteries
Yeah,
of our time.
Wait, when you were explaining that, I looked over at Eric, and you could just see the
Oh,
fucking.
Jesus. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty. It's
He wants
crazy.
to say I'm crazy.
I don't even know. I mean, I get that, and it's all like, historical fact in terms of like we still have no way to even fathom how it's possible, because obviously even the modern technology that we have still couldn't do it
Yeah.
if we wanted to redo it. So it really begs the question of like how.
See, to me, it's just typical human arrogance. We're like, we need to know all the answers. Here's the answer. Put a fucking bow on it. We're done.
Yeah.
As more evidence
Instead
comes
of
to light
looking
every
back
single
at it,
year,
yeah.
they don't go back to revise it because people have built careers off of this. There's people that have tenure. There's PhDs. There's a whole industry built on knowing the right answer now.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I
And never
totally,
deviating
I totally
from it.
understand that. Imagine being a scientist of some sort, and you spent your life.
yeah,
being
then
like,
just have someone new
this is-
come and tell you
This
you're wrong.
is the answer, and
yeah.
then new evidence
Your whole
gets
career is
brought
shattered.
up, and it's like everything I wrote, everything I presented
It's
to
irrelevant
whoever
now.
Yeah.
And
is dog shit.
And
Like,
it would
doesn't
take
make
a
sense.
it would take a really it would take a person with huge character and true
Humility.
morals to be able to
Yeah.
be like,
I was wrong.
I think
you
you're
know
right.
what, I was wrong. And
Yeah.
I know that I probably would not take it fucking
No,
well.
I'd-
I'm
I'd-
sure I would dig my fucking, but you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
human
Yeah.
nature to be like, who the fuck's
But-
this guy to come along? This guy's not even a fucking archaeologist.
I
I'm
would-
an archaeologist. I was trained.
I know these things.
How can this guy come along and say that this is not accurate?
Yeah.
We always lean back to like this arrogant, like
Yeah.
the higher educated know the fucking best and
Yeah.
all this shit. Like they absolutely know a ton of stuff and they're right about most of this shit.
Yeah.
And
Think about
I
it,
don't want
there's
like
a- there's a
that to get lost.
fraction-
Like they're also right about a lot of it. Like they know a shitload about the
I think
pyramids
that
of
goes for
Saqqara, which are
anything,
built
though.
after the pyramids. They know a fuckload of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of documentation.
Yeah.
They're accurate to that timeline. The problem is that the pyramids don't fit to the timeline, so they made them fit into the timeline
Yeah, they're trying to,
to
make sense
shit
of
easy.
it.
To
They're
make
trying
sense of it because again, we just want to be like, this is the answer.
I think as humans, we don't like the unknown.
We hate it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and
Yeah.
that's the scariest part.
Yeah, but
Is
people
when
also
you don't know.
People also don't think about like we know absolutely nothing about our own oceans. Never mind outer space and
I've always
land
been
in
fascinated
general,
with the
like,
oceans in general.
there's hundreds of
Yeah.
species that are found each year. Maybe not
Unfortunately,
hundreds,
when I
but
was
there's a
young,
lot.
I had my eardrum burst, and since then, I have not been able to withstand pressure underwater. Like I can't go more than like 10 feet down without feeling like immense pressure in my ear, and I can't
Wow.
equalize the
Yeah.
pressure. Unfortunately,
God damn.
if not for that, I think
Is that why
I would have been.
deaf?
Yeah, is that why you're deaf and
It's
sit
part
10
of the
feet
reason.
from the
Yeah,
TV
it's part of the
on
reason
80?
why I can't. Yeah, why I don't hear well, but it has I think career wise, or at least ambition and like passion wise, I would have went in a different direction because I love the ocean, I love the sea, and I love that exploration factor of it.
Mm.
But I literally cannot handle pressure because I've swam in Greece and I've swam in the oceans. I've done some diving and stuff like that, but I've never been able to go down deep enough to like really explore
Explore.
and enjoy that. All I'm doing is like snorkeling from the surface, right? So it's
Yeah, like you couldn't even
I-
go into a sub because you still have to
you
equalize
still
your
have to
ears.
equalize
So
the
do you
pressure,
struggle
right?
on planes?
I have some pain,
Yeah.
but chewing gum, and it's kind of alleviates that. The pressure of
can't
the
do that
underwater is a bit
underwater.
of a different pressure, right? Yeah,
and it is different. Yeah,
I love the ocean, but at the same time, I'm absolutely terrified.
I always would have
Terrified.
I still, fantasize about having been able to be like
A diver.
a
of some
diver
sort.
or like a marine
I'm
biologist
interested
or
by
something
that.
like that.
Yeah, I
whereas
didn't even
it's-
realize because you are one of these guys. Like one thing I will always say about like you've always been a worker. You've
Mm.
always done things that you want to do. Like you never been like it seems a bit risky. Maybe I should go for it. I admire that about you.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to say that like I didn't realize I never knew that. I've known you
something
since
that
we were in
blocks
grade
me from
5.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know that that was like something you're like more interested in.
it was always
Do you
something.
do you think it's because you couldn't do it, so it became more of like a fascination, or was like even before you fucked up your ear?
I don't remember much because it was a very young age that happened. But
Okay.
I always remember, like, I love like documentaries on nature and stuff like that, and Blue Planet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have always been my favorite, like underwater and all these different like species and stuff like that. So like, the want has always been there from a young age. But
Yeah.
like, this is even after I had my eardrum burst, and I've always like fantasized about being able to go dive. But every time I've actually been in the ocean and like tried to dive, if I go down a certain depth, it's almost like an instant headache because I can't equalize the ears, and it causes just so much pressure.
And then there's also,
That's
I guess, a
crazy.
certain amount of danger associated with that. Like if you can't balance out your ears, like
And
can
if
you
I
get
keep
like
going down and try to push through the pain,
You
which
could-
is already
Pain
almost
alone,
unbearable in
but-
something
general,
bad could happen?
something
Also,
bad's gonna
your
happen.
vertigo could go off. You don't know if you're going up or down. Like
Yeah.
I could go deaf.
It's
yeah,
it's tough as it is when you get down to a certain depth, like because everything's dark as fuck.
Yeah.
It's hard
Well,
enough
even-
to determine
even, I
what's
mean,
up,
most,
what's
like,
down.
like reef diving is like 30 to 60 feet.
Mhm.
That's still a lot. Like even if I've done it in the ocean where like I've tried to go down to like shallow reefs, like 15, 20 feet, it's hard
It's still pressure.
on
It's
it.
still-
Yeah,
To-
the
to
pressure is
re-
hard.
There's pools.
That's just, like,
when I
free
was
diving,
when
right?
I was younger, there was pools where it's like you get down to the bottom, it's like holy fuck, like
Yeah.
I've swam in
Pop my
Olympic pools
ears.
and I've tried to go to the bottom and I still can't even touch the bottom.
What
of,
are they
like,
like
Olympic.
20 something feet?
Yeah,
Probably
something like that. That's
something like that.
and
Who was our how deep was Bryce's pool growing? I think it was 10
No,
feet.
it was something like
Because I remember
It
like
wasn't
he had
crazy deep,
snorkel
but-
tanks, but like
Yeah.
even just sitting down there on the
Mhm.
bottom, breathing the tanks, like
You
you would
still
feel
feel
the
pressure.
pressure, and that's
Yeah.
10 feet in a
Yeah.
pool in Aurora.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like
So imagine that with already having, and then so
Yeah,
on
then
top
that's
of that,
unbearable,
I
I
was
bet.
prone because of the situation. I was also prone to a lot of ear infections. So like staying underwater for too long
fuck that up.
will cause me to almost guarantee me to have an ear infection. And growing up, I would have ear infections all the time, like jumping in lakes and all that kind of stuff. So
fuck.
that even makes it worse because like you spend 1 hour or 2 hours diving and stuff like that, and then you come out and you're spending a week with an ear infection,
not
massive
even
pain, you
worth
can't
it.
even sleep. It's the worst thing in the world. So
How
it's
did you
just-
rupture your eardrum?
It was on a plane when I was young. It
So it just happened, like,
I
you just
think I
couldn't
had an ear
balance?
infection at the time,
So it didn't help.
and then it just caused
Getting
it
on a
to
plane
burst,
and shit. Yeah. That sucks.
So it was
All right, so change of pace here. What are your thoughts on aliens and UFOs and
Hang on, I am curious, like
okay.
the shit that we just said to you, does it sound insane? Or is it just like you haven't really thought much about it?
I haven't thought much about it, but thinking on it now, it's just like, yeah, I mean, I get
There's a lot of
that
questions, at
it's-
least.
It's something that we haven't yet been. I'm optimistic that maybe sometime in the future we will be able to explain it, and whether it is through some kind of intervention from another species or race of something, aliens or whatever, or
So would you lean more
maybe there's
towards
just some lost knowledge that we went missing centuries ago that there's some explanation as to how we were able to build them, because I believe that those structures aren't going to go up without
Okay, now
human beings having noticed.
let me
first of all.
throw this at
Human beings
at you.
Unless they're a lot
evolved.
older than we think.
So I
they
have two
Well,
alternatives,
and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have two alternatives to this. Either so we might never have put those up.
Yeah.
All
Or
the
we put them up
monuments.
in conjunction with.
No.
All right.
Come on.
Got it. Go on.
Too logical. Either aliens put them here,
Okay.
and we're an alien. Like I've brought this up a couple of times.
We are aliens.
We are certainly aliens. To
Yeah.
Someone.
That we are a science experiment that has gone slightly right, but also very wrong in other circumstances.
Depending on how you want the experiment to go, it could have gone perfectly.
Exactly.
Let's see if we
True.
can build the most fucked up species ever.
Yeah. Maybe they'll
Job
blow
well
each
done.
other up.
Well done, gentlemen.
You guys
Maybe
nailed
they'll
it.
blow each other up at some point.
I'm pretty sure they will. I bet.
They have several different times
I
throughout
bet-
history already.
I bet they'll discover flight on a beach in North Carolina in 1912,
So
and then 2 years later, be bombing the shit out of each other in France.
this is how I see it. If it wasn't us, but I'm also I'm more of a believer that after like watching a lot of Graham Hancock videos and lectures and shit like this, that we are a species with amnesia and we just don't remember.
Okay.
But at the same time, like
Which is more like a lost knowledge thing.
yeah. But at the same time, it's like maybe aliens did come here and they placed these fucking monuments.
That's what ancient aliens would like you to believe.
Built these monuments, and they're like, we're just gonna leave them here, nothing, and we're not gonna explain anything, and people are gonna be like,
Wow.
we have no idea how they got here.
They're just here. This
Yeah.
is part of our
Or we're in a fucking simulation and someone built this prior
We're really
to
going
us,
off the rails.
prior to putting us in.
The simulation. Everything was
Yeah.
here beforehand.
Yeah, like they pre-built the environment like a video game.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they're like,
then you
"Okay,
place
now
the
we can add
characters
our
inside."
characters to the game."
Is that if when you think of like the simulation, is that what you think it is? I'm
Like
just
someone
curious.
built the planet.
You think it's like pre-built and then they just like drop this in like Sims?
Yeah.
That's not what I picture it at all.
What would you
Really?
picture?
What did? Yeah.
No,
like,
like,
this
'cause-
planet is here in a sense, and we're just
Yeah, I
putting
think this
in it
whole
to play
universe
out.
is here as a simulation. I don't think we're that special to be like I don't think we're the reason that the simulation exists. I think we're a byproduct of it if it were to exist. Like I'm not totally sold. We're just talking this
Yeah,
crazy shit.
yeah.
But like if they wanted to create like let's say an ancient species somewhere else in the universe was like how like let's start running some numbers about the origin of the universe
running
and
scenarios.
see how much life and all this stuff. So they program the scenario and just let it go for the Big Bang onwards.
It's almost like a randomization.
It's a
And this is what
randomization, and
happens.
and they might not even notice that we're in the simulation or they're advising us, but we're just because life is so common in the universe, but
They
it's
just
so
look at us
vast
as
and
just another
massive.
species
We're
that
just another. We're no more relevant than the fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we're able to
Oh,
put like
I agree with that.
the fact that we're able to put a satellite up is like impressive, but barely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not.
If
In
they've
the
had
grand
hundreds
scheme
of
of
thousands
things-
of simulations, there's probably hundreds of thousands of other species that have been able to manage to put something up in space.
Yeah, and that's it.
Right.
That's as far as they ever go.
Well,
and like
we-
maybe they were trying to find out how relevant they were. What I was saying last night when we were on the dock is like I think that like if simulation theory is true, right? Everything out there that we see, feel, touch is fucking accurate. I don't think it was put on I don't think we're in it to like because we're that fucking special. I think that's just a typical human trait to think we're that fucking special. I think this is just like let's just run some shit. But we could fly off to Mars. Then it's as tangible as anything as the stars that we see out there, right? I think it's all part of it. Like I don't think we're the center of the simulation because that's like saying like the sun revolves around us,
I'm
you
not
know, which
saying
used
we're
to be the
the-
predominant theory until like 1500.
I'm not saying we're the
Right.
center of the simulation. I just think that, like, obviously everything that's here is based off of shit that's happening wherever our simulation is taking place,
Or
on.
never did.
or never
Yeah.
did. It could just be a math equation that got put
Super
into
complex simulation to like punch in
then
all the
got-
certain variables and just let it run
got
for
generated.
15 billion years.
And look at that. There's humans on there.
yeah,
And-
they managed to
and-
write books
and
and stuff.
they get civilians to work like what would be a 9 to 5 job that is,
Inputting
running
disasters
us.
or inputting
or just
yeah,
running
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Like you're gonna play out fucking Timothy Jones over here, and
Yeah.
that's your job for the day. You're
Enjoy
just-
his life.
Yeah, you're just gonna play his life, and what may be literally a 9 to 5 job for them is a
Most
lifetime,
exhilarating thing.
or it ends up being a lifetime, like brings in Inception, where it's like it's a lifetime for.
You ever see that? So
While
that's
you're
funny.
in
so
it.
you make me think of you know you guys watch Rick and Morty,
Yes.
right? So you ever see that
No.
episode where they
seen it?
played?
I've seen
really
episodes, but
good.
I don't.
There's
watch
an
it.
episode where Rick takes Morty to a arcade,
Yes.
international arcade,
Yes.
and then he puts Rick or
I think
Morty.
I think I brought this up
on a previous
where he
podcast?
goes in and lives an entire life in
Lives
like
an
10
entire life
seconds, and he's
as-
like,
yeah,
Deborah,
yeah,
like because his wife died in it. He's
He
old
died of-
man.
He
Yeah,
conquered cancer, and then he gets killed by like a carpet, and
Yeah.
then he comes out of his life, and he's like, "What the?"
where's Deborah?
Yeah, and then it
We
takes-
brought that up. Like
I
if-
brought that up
like,
before
going
on
You
there.
lived like
to, like,
20
the
years in
military
2
and shit
seconds.
like
and
that.
you're
and
like,
I
"Ooh."
think like, well, Facebook made. I meant to look into this, but Facebook. Man, we'll talk about it next week. But Facebook just brought out some fucking crazy, like AI thing. Like they're gonna they're like talk about Ready Player One. Like we're basically going
we're
there.
there.
We're there.
Really?
Yeah, and like
What?
they're doing some shit with NFTs. Like if you own NFTs, you'll be able to like view them physically in the space. They're doing some fucking creepy shit. So we're
Wow.
like, this is
I'm excited
2000.
for that, but I'm scared at the same time.
Yeah, like
it's
It's
so like
it's a
so I think that,
exhilarating
like,
time,
we'll
but
be
at
able to
same
go to the
time,
it's
scary.
arcade.
It's gonna
and we'll-
change
and,
the
like,
world.
pick a time in history. You can do the arcade. Like I often said, like World War II.
Yeah.
What would it be like to land on the beaches of Normandy? Actually, you can do that in that arcade. You jump in the simulator, and then if you survive it, and you fucking go off and marry Deborah and fucking live the rest of your life,
You're
but it's in
living.
2 seconds. But you forget it. You've lived this entire life.
Yeah, it could
Right?
be like a 5-minute game, but it seems like it was
An eternity, a whole
an
life.
An
eternity,
eternity,
yeah.
and
Whole
it's like
lifetime.
daunting and
Like,
freaky.
you
But
go
how
through the
fucked up
entire
does your
draft.
internal clock become?
I think you're. I don't think you'll ever be the same again.
No, it's you
No.
live a life
We-
with a
Because
did
whole
talk
new
about
set
Inception,
of
this.
the whole thing
experiences.
was like, is the dream your life or is reality your life?
If you're a human being, so say we've all had this, where like you live your life and you have certain regrets and you think about, oh, I could have done this differently, it would have changed my life. You could go back theoretically and make those choices in the simulator and see your life play out in a totally different way, and then come
Mhm.
back to the life that you've
So-
chosen to live. And
I see if it's
what
better
is
or
that
worse.
changing? Like, what if you preferred that virtual life, and then you come back and you're like, this
So I don't think
Fucking
it's
sucks.
gonna.
I think-
That'll be a long time coming.
back,
but I think
back to what he's saying, just like go off of that. Like
I think
I think right now, every mistake you make is like I have some shit that I would like give anything to take back. Like that's
me
wor-
too.
like it's
Me too.
horrible. Like I'd like to take that back. Like fucking arguments, whatever the fuck it was. Like I
Whatever it
got too
is.
drunk and fucking whatever
Did
the
this,
fuck,
whatever.
stupid shit.
Yeah.
Right. Like I wish I didn't have that argument. Whatever the fuck it. Like take that shit back. But if you don't take that back,
then what?
then what? Well, how much changes because that was taken back?
It could be everything.
Do I have a son now? Do I not?
everything.
Like, am I
Could be
with my
everything.
wife? Like, is it that drastic, or is it not even that? Like, I use this example.
I think it. I
each
think it
choice
depends.
is going to vary.
here's
on,
a here's
you
a
know,
really
severity.
dumb example, but I feel like it's an apt one. Is people like, as a Leaf fan, we love to talk about like all the trades throughout the years. We're like, oh, we traded away for fucking this left winger that ended up being a fourth liner, and that pick turned into be Scott Niedermayer. That's a real trade that the Leafs made,
Right.
Like they like if you
So
go
if
through
we
all the
didn't
signings,
make that trade, what would have happened?
well, to my point, like people like to play that game like, man, if only we got Scott Niedermayer. But my point is, if we didn't make that trade, we would never gotten Matthews.
Yeah.
Who I think will
Down the
eventually win
line.
a Stanley
Yeah,
Cup with
yeah.
the Toronto Maple Leafs. And would we have won a Stanley Cup ever with Scott Niedermayer? I know he's a
Maybe
4-time, 5-time Stanley Cup
'Cause
champion.
it's not just a player that's going to win you the Stanley
Exactly,
Cup.
but that's the games everybody likes to play with that situation.
Exactly,
like if this signing had worked out, if this trade had worked out,
But-
if we didn't do that, but I just always go back to, well, what about right now? Because if all that shit never happened, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
So let me throw this at you.
and I think that works for life.
It's the butterfly
I-
effect, dude. It's
Exactly.
the butterfly effect.
I
Yeah,
also
it's-
think
it's-
like look at like the game of Catan that we have played.
CJ
No, no, no,
Scott.
back to Catan.
CJ
Let's
No,
go.
no, no.
I
But
think we're gonna
transition,
play after the
segue.
podcast.
but to
right?
put it into like a quicker time frame in obviously a board game, whereas if you didn't choose that area off the start, you maybe chose like again like if fucking 4 fucking or 12 like the last game we played where 12 got rolled like
6 times,
7
Yeah.
times.
It's the lowest odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if somebody had been on 12, they would have had an abundance
bricks.
of brick
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and could have changed the game drastically.
Hindsight's 2020, though, right?
Exactly.
It's-
So
Exactly.
it's like you'll never know, but I kind of lost my thought there.
No, it's
Talking
about,
too much.
Yeah,
Too much
Yeah,
whiskey.
Yeah.
my point was, so life, if you look, when that becomes a reality, virtual, and being able to live a totally different life for over a span of however long it takes
Yeah.
in the simulation or whatever virtual reality you're playing in, if they're able to, rather than put you in a game where it's unwritten or it's written scripted, you could live your own life in a different way.
Mm.
What if the life that you lived in this game
Is
is better than how your life turned out in reality?
Yeah.
And what kind
And
of
why would you
regrets are
wanna
gonna
come
have
out?
when you come back to reality?
Yeah.
So the original point, the
Like, is it
original reason
bearable?
you went back to the game was to fix a regret that you had in your life, and then you have these.
It was even worse than what
Well,
it is now.
I think that's
Or-
like it's like the movie Total Recall. It's not. I think once you agree to like get plugged into that game, I don't think you're ever coming out of it.
Yeah.
Like even when you do snap out of it, you've been in it so deep. You're like, this isn't my
Your life
fucking
is-
life.
is
Like,
or
this
it
is
changed.
feels so
like,
deep,
and then you
like-
get diagnosed with schizophrenia and thrown into a fucking loony bin the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
it wasn't
no,
real
no,
butter.
that-
It
yeah.
wasn't real- You ever
Because
seen that Family
think
Guy
about it,
episode?
like
I believe it.
think about Inception when, like when Leonardo DiCaprio went so deep,
Mhm.
he couldn't tell if he was out of it or still in it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as you
That's
go
Just
deeper,
what's reality?
yeah, because when you go into a dream, what's 5 years is 2 minutes.
Well, the concept of reality is so widely different, not only between person to person, but between species to species on the planet that we share. You don't even need to like get into the fucking simulation theory in order for all this shit to like make less sense than ever.
Yeah.
Like there's animals out there, there's insects out there that see different lights than we see.
Yeah.
How different is their reality compared to ours?
Immensely.
Just being able to see UV light or infrared light.
Mhm.
How much does that change their reality? Like, and then we could see through that and be like, I don't even understand what I'm
What
even
is
looking
happening,
at.
yeah.
Like, am I on the same planet? Is this a different
Yeah,
world?
Totally.
And that's a species that we interact with all the time. Like, I think bees are either UV or infrared. They're able to like jump between flowers and see which other
I think
bees
it's
have landed
infrared,
on
yeah.
infrared. I think that deer, they now know can see UV light
snakes see
and
fucking
infrared as
heat.
well. Snakes have like thermal vision.
Yeah.
So just having that difference in sight, like eagles can see fucking 500 feet above a mouse, clear as day,
Clear as
exactly where
day,
it is,
running
boom,
through a field.
nail it.
But you have to imagine having that difference in sight, but still having our cognitive abilities.
Well,
Because those animals
exactly,
don't
like-
think in the way that we think of, like, oh, there's other ways to see. That's all they know, and that's
It's
all
also,
they consider.
but it's also, even though we know that there's other ways to see, it's also we still can't
we
envision
can't imagine
what it's
it.
like.
We can't imagine.
So
it.
like, although like we understand it, we still do not understand that what it would be like with that
But
reality.
if we could switch, because of the way our brains are and the things that we know, if we did switch to being able, or if even we were born seeing thermal,
Sure.
we could still comprehend the idea that there's someone else that sees a different way, and life would be different.
just
because
based
of
on our
that.
brains and stuff.
For animals, they only see one way, and they can't even imagine that someone could see a different way. So
This is
there's
just
no
life.
different life. There's no different reality. For us, it's like
Well, I guess the different reality just exists within our brains, thinking about how it's a different reality for other things.
well, we're the only species that can really consider a different reality or a different way to experience. We don't.
yeah that we're
Empathy.
aware of.
Empathy is where it comes up to. Is like empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and imagining how they feel.
I don't
right?
think
Well,
So-
I think
I don't-
whales and dolphins have bigger
Some
brains,
degree,
and they
yeah.
have they have large capacity for empathy,
Mhm.
and they also speak like languages and shit. But they don't alter their environment the same way we do. So we think that they're like, although like, oh yeah, like they're really smart, but like how smart?
But
are
I think
they?
it's on a different level where it's like they could see something being hurt and like they can understand that it's hurt.
I think
but we
as
can see
humans-
something.
I also think that you're assuming that.
I think as
if that's
humans,
the
I don't-
empathy that we're talking. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Yeah,
it,
like
but,
I like maybe their understanding of empathy is the exact same as ours. It's just it's a different species and conveyed in a fashion that we don't understand.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to equate that to all the other species. I don't think everything on this planet. I don't
Can
think it's
feel,
equal.
Has the capacity.
I don't think they have the capacity for that. But I think like the work that they've done with orcas and dolphins, based on the size of their brains and like studying their brains and studying their language,
Mm.
I think like they're pretty sure they're fucking really smart. If not as smart as us, very fucking close.
Right.
You know, like we're like like dogs are smart. They're as smart as a fucking 6-year-old or some shit. It's like, really?
But how smart is a 6-year-old? Pretty dumb.
Exactly. But like, is nowhere near as smart as a fucking grown ass human. Whereas now we're
Yeah.
like, I think we're looking at orcas and dolphins going, they might be as smart. It's just they don't interact the same way that we interact with
Right.
things.
Right.
So
I think
like their reality is complete. Like for some reason, killer whales and dolphins don't fuck with humans. We fuck with them all the time,
Mhm.
and they still don't fuck with us. It's like they know, like, oh no, they're pretty smart. Like, look at this fucking stupid ape trying to swim.
I think
You know, like
You're
we
in
are.
our domain now.
Yeah.
I think if
Let's help them out. The
Yeah.
shark's gonna eat them. Sharks are fucking stupid. We know how to deal with sharks. You bump into them a few times, they fuck off.
They're
You know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
we're the apex predator, not sharks. Fuck
Yeah,
off. We
true.
eat killer whale. We eat great whites.
I think if Facebook is close to like some type of Ready Player One, I think as a species, I don't think we're ready for that.
Oh, we are.
No, I don't think
For
so.
sure. There's
I,
a lot of
I
people
think
ready for
what
that.
I think what we'll find out and what we'll see if
There's nothing to find out.
no,
They're
but
basing it off of our current
If you look
reality.
at Ready Player One, the movie, they didn't really have a positive outlook on human existence outside of
No,
no,
the
but what I'm
simulation,
saying is if
outside
you
of
can
the
run
game.
You're right.
scenarios where like, what if I did this instead of this, or if you could go and be in World War II and play it out from start to finish, I think it's gonna change so like. I think there's a lot of people that won't be able to handle certain situations and
or
majority
transition back into reality
exactly
after that point.
and be like again bringing back in this Inception where it's like I don't know what is reality and what isn't anymore because you
also,
gotta
my
think
reality is so fucking mundane. I want to go back into the fucking.
about, or yeah, I
artificial
don't want to
reality.
be in my reality anymore. I want to be in the simulation.
But look at-
like
Isn't that-
permanently. But again, if when you're playing the game, it's only 10, 20 minutes.
But we could
maybe
be-
maybe 40 minutes at most. Like, because you got to think, it's a game. It's gonna end up being a game.
So look at this. So there's a lot of movies and there's been books and stuff like that where they predict that the apex of evolution for any species is going to be to integrate yourself into a network where you can
Yeah,
be a part
you're symbiotic
of,
with technology.
you're symbiotic with technology and everyone else that's a part of that technology. So we're on that track of becoming to the point where there's no physical bodies anymore and we're just
never
in
gonna
a
be
network
humans.
and that's all it is. You're saved to databases and stuff like that, and as long as that technology is still alive and still like working and
Then you're
functional,
alive and
then we're
functioning.
alive and we will live forever.
Look at the
because of
Matrix.
that. The Matrix.
Yeah.
And that in a lot of different shows and predictions on how evolution is going to turn out to be, that is like the apex of like where we are, because that's the
Civilization.
only way to fathomly live eternally,
which is
with
what we
or-
want.
because you
Humans
got to
love-
get rid of
Yeah.
live eternally, you got to get rid of an organic
You got to get rid of
body.
death.
You got to get rid of death, you got to live organic, because we all
Expire.
decay eventually, right? So that is the only way that we're going to actually live forever. But then also, at what point do you just become a hive mind and everyone is just one and there's no
did
individuality?
you guys ever
there's no-
watch the
it's-
100?
No.
Did you ever get far enough where they found the civilization where like the, I guess like culture or whatever tribe you could say, where they were microchipping like the elderly or like the higher, pretty much like the, yeah, I guess you could bring it down to like king, queen,
Right, right.
prince,
The-
princess. They would back up their memory in a microchip, and then they would make it a sacrifice. So
the
if
ritual,
that
so someone's
if that
younger body would
if
go,
the king died in that body,
Yeah.
they had
still live
that
on.
microchip that backed up
so the
everything,
royalty never died.
and they
He
would
jumps
just take
into
a different
a younger body.
a
yeah.
different body, and it was a sacrifice, and it was as a just like a regular civilian. That was like your dream.
It's like,
They're
I want my
taking
body to be
they're
the
taking
king's body.
my body.
Does some
but
part of
you're-
their
you
consciousness live
die.
on through- like-
Probably not.
No, you
It's done.
die. It's just your body lives on
Wow.
through somebody else.
Wow.
Well, back to what you were saying, like the apex of any civilization, like a lot of people theorize that. The reason I believe that simulation theory is probably this theory that we're in is because the leading scholar on it, some dude from a university in like Denmark or some shit.
Right.
The way that I heard him explain it was like weirdly simplistic that it made sense. And it's like, if you believe that the apex of any civilization is to eventually fully integrate with
Technology.
technology, and you believe that to be true, and you believe that you're on that progression, what's the odds that you're on the first timeline where you haven't reached it yet, or you're in the timeline where it's been reached if you believe it's going to get there, and then you're already a part of it? I think the odds are actually worse that you're in
the one that still hasn't figured it out yet.
still hasn't figured it out yet. We're just on the trajectory to it. You know what, man? We're the first origin, but I think the odds were
We
like
could be playing back the history of us
Exactly.
finding out the way to do it.
exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
So, the way he explained it, fucking fantastic, and I used to be able to articulate it much better when I remembered it. It was more fresh, but it was literally just a math equation, and it was like, okay, well, if you think that human beings are going to get to Mars eventually, then we've already gotten to Mars.
yeah,
It was
Yeah.
sort of like that,
right.
you know. So if you think we're on track for a simulation and nothing happens and we survive there and we're going there anyways, then at some point we've already reached the simulation, and we're
Yeah.
like one of millions or billions
already
or
have reached the
hundreds of
end.
thousands of simulations. What's the chances that you're still fucking trying to figure out to get to the simulation, and then boom, then everything after that? Because it's like time travel. Like there's never been a time, like once time travel is invented, there's never been a time in history where time travel didn't exist.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the simulation
Yeah.
theory. Like once the simulation is turned on, there's
Yeah.
never been a time where the simulation doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, do you believe that we're the first entity and we haven't gone there yet?
Or we're just an equation.
Someone's probably gotten there and we're just part of it. And we're
Yeah.
just ones and zeros on a computer, and whoever's reading the simulation doesn't even know that we exist.
Yeah.
These are complex
Fucking right.
ones and zeros, right? If we're
Yeah.
even able
It's
to
a lot to
have
think
this
about.
thought, it's
But
like,
but how complex are they? Is because you
s-
watch like video games are getting better and better, and they're just ones and
Holy-
the
zeros.
AI for them. Is
I was just telling we.
So why
we were playing
why
that,
do we think that we're much like so much
Different,
more
yeah.
complex? We're fucking.
Well, we were playing that Star Wars game, and I'm like, holy fuck! Like the graphics are fucking dope in this game.
yeah,
I don't
and
even know
you
when
were
that
saying
game
you
was
wanted a VR
released.
headset and a joystick to make
play
it more
that.
immersive.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That shit's
Be
wild.
dope.
Like it's crazy to think about. And yeah, who's to say that the simulation hasn't been figured out and we're just like an equation going through the whole process? Like,
Mm.
let's see what happens if we change X.
Yeah.
And now this is fucking R.
Or that
Where
or that civilization got so much information
Yeah.
that they actually understand the origins and what the universe actually is, and they just wanted to see how it naturally played out.
Yeah.
Or
So
they,
they
just
just went-
change
they
one
just went-
factor and say, "Hey, let's have fun.
Yeah,
with this and
sure.
see
the-
what happens if we
Yeah,
change
sure,
it."
it
that
never
too.
stopped.
That
It's
too.
just like
Like
let it run out.
let's add carbon into the mix where
Yeah.
there's no carbon in our in our universe.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens when you have carbon. Now you have
What
carbon-based
changes things?
life forms,
Yeah.
What
right?
changes?
So
Yeah. It's crazy. There's so
Yeah.
many variables.
and also the trippy thing is that those simulations play out like that
For them,
for them.
for
Yeah.
us, it's
For whoever's on the other side of the simulation, for us, it's eternity.
it's a lifetime.
It-
For the
yeah, for
universe, it's
lifetime.
also eternity.
Yeah.
For all those neutron stars that are out there, they're still neutron stars. They're
Well-
not fake. They're still fucking real. They're going through the motions the same way we are.
Mm.
But
and to think
it's
about
still
it,
just a fucking blink of an eye for whoever's on the other side, because the computers just fucking spit it out like that.
it's a lifetime for us, but it's also an eternity because there's like Chris has a kid now. That
That
kid-
kid's gonna grow up.
that
and
kid's
he's
gonna
have
grow up
kids
and then go
so
through
on
the
and so
whole
forth.
fucking thing. It's gonna last a lifetime for him. And then
Yeah.
when they have a kid,
But that's kind of a depressing.
it's gonna be a
thought.
lifetime for them.
So we want to get to that point where we see the simulation. But what if we're
Are
already
you-
in the simulation?
you're-
We're never gonna see
you're
it.
never gonna
You're
see
never
it.
gonna see it.
You're
You're
never
just
gonna
part
see
of
it.
it.
We're
You're
just
just
talking
part of
about it.
So that's kind of a depressing thought, because
It's
if you want to
depressing-
see the end, you're
but
never.
but
So-
also it's back to, like, I was super into atheism when I was in high school,
Mm.
right? And the way that was like, do you remember the way they would explain it? Is like, do you remember being before you were born? No.
No.
Well, that's death after you die. Like
Yeah.
it's as scary as it was before you were born, but you don't know. But the concept of death is terrifying, and I don't
because you
believe
can't
that
think
in a
about
sense.
what was happening before you're born, but you can think about what will happen.
After you die.
you die.
You know that all this will cease to exist, and how scary is that? But maybe it's not that scary because the lights just go out and you don't even know that you died.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe it's something different. I don't subscribe to a lot of that shit because I realize that atheism turned itself is a religion of some sort.
100%.
It's a bit of a cult way of
It
thinking.
was, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like a really like you
That's
think
why
you're
I chose
edgy as like a
agnosticism.
exactly. I'm
Yeah.
more with you. Like, and after like
It's just
agnostic,
where you
just
don't
don't know.
care.
You don't know and
Okay.
you
You
don't
don't
care.
know and you don't care.
And
I
you're also
think- I
open
think
to all
there's-
possibilities. Like I've done some fucking crazy shit where like I thought the fucking time stopped. Like Maybe it did or maybe it didn't. You know, but
Yeah,
like
who knows?
that's like psychedelic mushrooms and stuff.
you broke the simulation
Briefly on mushrooms.
Yeah, But you know what I mean? Like
You were
Yeah.
a glitch in the system, and then they fixed it real quick.
yeah.
yeah, I'm certainly not. a
Literally,
glitch.
you fucking hacked the system.
I think we're all fucking like we're just ants. Like if you looked at us, if you were to like come to this planet, we don't look any different than fucking ants. I think about this all the time. Like when you do the morning commute in and you see all the cars driving in,
That's just ants on their way to
we're
the
fucking
grab
ants.
the
we dig
money.
into the earth to pull out resources.
Yep.
We fucking take shit off the earth, put it in the earth, put it in our body. We're fucking
It's
ants.
just a giant game of Catan.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play.
Here's a
again.
Here's a trippy thought. Every time you base that settlement, that's their fucking world.
I don't think I could play the game anymore.
Good thing we didn't have this conversation last night before we fucking did some of that.
True. Whoa. I think I might have cried more, to be honest.
I don't know. It's hard to fathom.
I'm certain we're not going to get to the bottom of it.
yeah, but it brings back this.
Sad, 'cause
This
I would
is what
like
I
to
wanted
see
to
in
say.
my lifetime some shit that changes.
This
my
is what I
life.
wanted to say. It's hard to fathom if we are in a simulation or whatever it is. But
What if it doesn't end?
deep down, do you actually want to know the truth?
No. You don't.
Deep down, because
You think you do.
if you know the truth, a lot of other people know the truth. And is that going to be good for that person or society? Like, or is it going to cause such an uproar or
See, this is
Like-
a question I've asked myself a lot, actually, and to me, I've determined that whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I want something in my life to be so significant, something to happen in my life to be so significant that it alters
reality?
my reality as I know it. Because I think that would be, as far as human existence goes, I think that would be like one of the most spiritual and, just state of mind altering experiences in the world. Whether it's like, seeing a UFO come and then like realizing that yes, they do exist and all that kind of stuff, or finding out that everything was a lie or something like that. Whether it's gonna like break me or not mentally,
You
I
still want
want to know.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
wanna
So
know.
I'm on the same lines. Whether it's gonna break me physically, mentally, whatever it is, to have like, even if it's a half answer,
Mm.
like even if it's just
But there's something else,
Half-
something bigger.
like again, whether it's like, okay, our scientists can actually put a date
Mm.
back to being like, okay, listen, the Giza pyramids and this monolithic site and this site, and we found this in Antarctica because so much ice has melted off of Antarctica that
Yeah.
we found this, and we can piece it all together, and we found these scripts, and we can
not- I
we can decipher the
Yeah.
scripts and be like, this is what happened to a certain extent. Like, I'm not saying it's 100% true or
But a lot of people might think so. So some people might think that like, oh, you want this to happen because you have a mundane life and you feel like there should be something more, or something like that. It's not because I don't love the people around me. It's not because
no.
I don't love my life the way it is, and I don't want anything to change in reality. But at the same time,
I think it
I
would
don't
be
see
nice to
the
know
point
about
of
more about-
living. More about us, more about why
I just
we're
think
here,
there's a lot of-
more about.
There's so much unknown, and I say this constantly to friends and family when we're drinking and whatever. And
When
And it's
theories
like-
start.
it's like, what is
Flowing.
actually in our oceans? Because we know, I think
What
now,
was the
like, I
statistic?
think
40,
now,
not even 20% of it, not even
it's
5%
not,
of it.
it's like,
still, like,
I think
less
it's like
than
5%,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even less. Like,
Crazy.
I know it's more than 1%. At one point when I kept bringing up this point, it was like I would always bring up the fact that it's like 1%.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
even know 1% of our oceans, but I think it's more like 5%. But dude, you're getting 5% on a test, you fucking fail.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, fail. You know absolutely nothing
Eric,
on the subject we're talking about. So
I
I would just like to know, like, if in our lifetime maybe we learn 95% of the oceans, and
How that
That's-
changes things. What does that change? for us in
exactly.
terms
well, I
of,
wanted
like,
new
I
medicines.
Eric
all
said
that
something
kind of stuff.
interesting while I was in the bathroom, but I could hear you. Like you want a significant event. If I heard you correctly, you
Yeah.
want a significant event to happen in your lifetime. Not necessarily like that you want to be the significant event that happens, but something like interesting to happen, like a UFO come down.
Something that happens to me that will like
It's
It
ultra
doesn't
rare.
have to happen to everybody, and not everyone has to see it. But if I see that UFO come down and I'm the only one around to see it, but at least I know that I saw it.
Sure.
I want
You
it to be
saw it.
life changing for me. I
Yeah.
want.
So you want
I
to be
want an
crazy
event in
Billy
my
Bo
own personal life
back
that
out?
changes the way I
No,
see
but
everything.
back to what he was saying is like you were saying about 5% of the ocean I've been discovered in my lifetime. 95% discovered. How much changes for that? Like
everything,
everything,
Literally,
right? So like
depending
so
on what you
much.
find.
like
I
are we
suppose,
like
but
I'm sure that
25%.
hang on let me finish this for a second. Back to like I'm
Sorry,
sure
did I interrupt you?
Sorry, Dad. Now he's getting a taste of his
So
own
bad.
medicine.
really
Sorry, where's Zach? Where's Zach?
Yeah. Where's
Um,
Zach when you need him?
you're saying like think about people that were born in 1940.
Yeah.
Nuclear physics didn't really exist, and then 2 nuclear bombs are dropped. Like is that the life-changing event
I think so.
of their lifetime? Like so what I was going to
Yeah.
say is like are we not almost already there where the life changes? I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get like that.
It's
sort
going to be
of,
something
like-
to do with technology. I think is going to.
I
be
agree.
So
yeah, I think we're coming
Well,
down that
whether
road.
it's the VI or the Facebook thing, that could be
Yeah.
a life changing event, right? Like
Ready
if-
Player
yeah.
One, where you can play out a scenario or
Well, say your income
World
is
War
based
II.
on say you can make a living just by living in a simulator.
People
And-
make
and-
livings playing video games. What's the difference?
Yes,
but
but, like
it's
a
not even
different.
that
you could go to work in the simulator. Like,
But it's not even
no, but
that
your
extent,
job
though, like-
is the simulators, and people make a lot of money just playing video
Sure.
games. So
It's
how is
true.
that not you
It's
making a living in a simulator?
it's not even
There's a
to a
difference
that
certain
between
extent,
making a living
like,
and playing
ex-
the game itself,
You
but
know
like
what I'm
making
saying,
a living
though?
by making a living.
I'm not
You know what I
saying
mean?
it. You know what I'm saying though? Like,
I
like
do
that
get it.
is your living. You're
Yeah.
playing a thing that
And
doesn't
that is
exist.
an
It's
unprecedented
an
thing
alternate
as well.
reality,
Yeah.
and that's your job
I'm not even
to play
saying
this thing.
to that though. Like just for like you to be able to go to a mall and then walk into the arcade and put in $5 and be
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna
And
choose.
live a whole life.
Play 88
I'm
years.
gonna choose.
You get 88 years.
I played fucking Billy Joe the last time I was here. Let me go into this other category. I want to play a European.
Let me be a woman.
In this,
be a woman.
What's it like to be a woman?
Yeah.
and you can choose this time frame
Seriously,
in this
What
region,
about reality changing?
and you. And again, it may be you have to choose everything before you put in your
Yeah,
money,
you put your
so
settings.
that it's like you can do something that's $5, $10,
Yeah.
Well, you're based on how
$25,
many years you want to live. or something like that,
$100.
Do you want 20 years in the simulator, or do you want
or the
48 years? Do you want
It
25?
could just
do you
be
want
the
100?
About the
significance
life.
of the scenario. You're gonna live through World War II. Well, to choose anybody, it's a minimum $25.
You're gonna get drafted into Vietnam.
But so how?
Yeah.
$25 right off the hop.
Yeah.
If you want to survive it, it's
Yeah.
$125.
1967, you're drafted into
No,
Vietnam.
but so
You're
wouldn't
part of
skill
the Tet
come into
Offensive.
place with like surviving or not? Because like if you're playing the game, you would still want you would still want to think you have the choices of what moves you're making in terms of like firing
See how
and
much time we have
like
left.
combat and stuff like that. So like, what if you're just not good and you die and
Well, that's it. It's your $5 up. That's
Yeah,
it's
no,
the
but
same.
he's
No,
saying
no,
if you
no,
paid
but,
for a
like,
longer
you
experience,
can
then
almost
technically you
like
should
pay
live.
for a guarantee.
Oh, I see.
You know, like you choose somebody.
I guess then you
'Cause
get pointed to a certain division. Maybe
I
you're
guess-
like in
I
the
guess you
airplane.
could-
but also I think maybe once you do go in,
Okay, hang on. So
you
let
get
me,
wiped. So
let
you
me-
don't know that you paid for a
Yeah.
guaranteed 25-year
yeah,
experience.
like white
Once you're in, you're just in. Like
Yeah,
the same way
so-
Rick and Morty was in.
Okay,
Mm.
but hang on. Let me throw these two scenarios at you. So there's two different ways you can go. Almost like create your own story in a sense.
Right.
Like you're still playing through like what happened in World War I or World War
yeah,
II.
the events are the same.
You,
But-
you want to hit the main
your
battle.
choices are your own.
Yeah.
You're doing your own thing. Like so, if you die in day one, you're dead.
You're
It's on
dead.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can
Start
hit
again.
continue, but you start all over.
Pay another $5.
Or
Restart
You
from last
say-
checkpoint.
choose like story mode. So you go, okay, well, I want to be I want to choose somebody that's been drafted, but I also want to choose somebody that's seen the entire thing from start to finish.
Got it.
And now you choose that person, and
you
you
live from a certain person's
You
street.
play-
Their exact
you're-
experiences.
you're
Yeah.
playing out everything. You're pretty
Could
much
be a
it's
deckhand on
almost
a
like
ship in the
movie.
Pacific.
It's almost like a movie.
Yeah.
You're just seeing
Going
it
along
all,
for the
but
ride.
you're in your mind. You're
making
like
these
doing
choices.
those actions
And there's
on your own.
back to what you're saying. There's your guarantee of 25 years.
Yeah. So
'Cause
like
you're picking-
you're paying $125.
So my grandfather was in World War II. He survived.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could just like
Yeah, my dad's
let me
dad
take his
was in
15 years
World War II.
experience of like working in shipyards to like
Yeah.
being in the Navy.
But
and
I
all
feel
that
like
stuff.
if you're knowing that beforehand, then it's kind of taken away from the
Well,
fact
and,
that you
and
can
that's
make
back
the
to,
that's
choices.
where
but it's so,
Chris-
but it's already so complex that once you're in, you forgot that you put in $5 and wanted to guarantee 25.
Yeah,
Oh
$.
yeah,
it-
it's just
it-
your life now.
That's your life.
Yeah.
But that's
And then
even
it get-
scarier because
Exactly.
like, you come out of that and you're back to this life.
There's-
You're like,
but
what
there's
the
no
fuck?
free rides.
But you were
It's scary no matter what.
Yeah,
it
true.
just it just clears your memory that you put in the $5.
that you're even someone else in the first place. That
yeah,
this
so
is who you are.
you get so immersed into it
True,
that you are
doesn't
this
matter if
person.
you're making the
But
choices.
when you come out, you remember everything prior. Like you remember putting in that $5, but
you
also
remember
everything,
those 20 years,
but
of the
also everything that
experience.
happened in the simulation
Wow.
of that.
Too freaky.
Yeah.
Too-
But I'm with you.
Too
But I think that's the only way to do it.
100%. But yeah,
But I don't want to. I don't
I
want to
think-
go into the simulation knowing that I'm going to live 25 years.
No, just
But
see
again,
what happens.
There's-
But I want to
this is
live
why-
25 years in simulation because I just paid $5.
But
I don't want to
this
get
is-
fucking
exactly,
headshotted
so
on
maybe-
day one in Normandy.
so maybe you take everything. maybe
which a
maybe-
lot of guys did.
not worth it. Yeah,
Maybe-
yeah,
You know, like a lot of
did,
guys
yeah.
fucking did.
maybe when you're playing, you take the safe route, and you're just like, it's somebody's like, yo, we got to see if it's clear, and
Yeah,
that's
you
when-
check.
Yeah, and that's when you say you check. They stick their head up and
Boom.
Well, I think,
Boom,
but I
they're-
think when like if you're in World War II and you're in infantry, I think your number comes up no matter what, because you have a sergeant or a lieutenant or a
Yeah.
captain that's like, Waller, take point.
Get up there.
You know, whereas like you can't always be like, yeah, go for
But
it. Go ahead, I got you.
Jimmy.
but
Yeah,
how many
check it out.
times did you put
And then he
$5?
steps around the fucking bush and there's a fucking MG42 there and just lights him up,
Yeah,
right?
but how many times did you put $5 into a game and you literally died in like 2 minutes of playing?
Often,
A lot of-
most games,
and then you put in another $5.
yeah.
So who's to say you don't put in another $5 in it? You just kind of restart. Like you don't continue where you look because you died.
Mm-hmm.
You just pick up from somebody else, and then again you gotta.
So that's
you're
like the
playing for
Battlefield.
survival.
That's like the Battlefield 5 scenario where like when you died in the campaign of that, it was really cool. You would like pick up as someone else who was in that battle.
You're like
Yeah.
moves to
So it'd be
somebody
like
else.
Captain like Smith,
Yeah, you died.
1898
KIA.
to 1917 KIA,
Or
and now
MIA.
you're Sergeant Williams.
Yeah.
And you
That was
keep
a
on
cool
moving.
part of Battlefield.
That was
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
That was a really well done game.
yeah.
New Battlefield's coming out.
2042 or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's the
seems
name of the
futuristic?
game. Yeah, yeah, modern, but
modern, but a little
bit.
bit technology is a little
Yeah.
bit more advanced and stuff like that.
You
It's
mean
cool.
like-
Seems
like-
It's going to be. I
not
think it's
gonna
going to
have
be
a
a
battle
royale.
royale.
21 years from now, I'd say
It's about time that
futuristic.
Battlefield brought it back to like
futuristic,
modern.
yeah, modern games.
Modern.
Man,
games. I'm so over this.
Battlefield's cool though. I like the
I'm
guns of the
so
old.
over old.
I thought they
wars.
fucking nailed the World War One because there's never been a good World War One game.
Which
they
one?
nailed
Like
it, too.
Battlefield?
I thought they
one.
fucking
Battlefield
Battlefield
was-
One. I
was
thought
a
they
Okay.
fucking
really dope game.
nailed it.
So this is my thing. They
With
nailed
the
it,
Ottomans,
but there
with
was
the
not a
Germans,
lot of
everything.
Yeah,
there was not a lot of progression.
And the maps are sick.
yeah.
This is my thing. There wasn't a lot of progression. Like if you look at what was the last Battlefield 4 was the last like modern warfare battlefield.
Well, modern.
There was
game, yeah.
there was a lot of progression. Like you had to level up guns or level up a character, support, sniper,
Okay.
assault, whatever it was, recon.
to be able to have
And you had
access
to
to different
level up
attachments
those
and
guns
stuff.
to get new guns
Yeah.
or to get new attachments. Like there was a lot of progression, but what is the progression in?
You could
Well,
do that there.
Yeah, but it's not
There's only
like
so
you,
many attachments.
and only so many guns you could like
use. Yeah.
use, and you're using guns that are.
It'll be
iron
interesting what they
sights.
see
not
to see
getting
what they
different
do
sights.
with.
That's where I
Got it.
lost interest. Like there wasn't a lot of progression. It's the same thing.
You're like,
They-
give
But
me
I
the
feel
new
like
shit.
that
You don't want the
opens
old
the
shit.
playing field a little bit when it comes to like fighting.
it definitely
too,
does,
right?
but
Yeah.
for me, I like that progression, and I like something to work forward to. Like
Mm.
I'm gonna play.
It's supposed
The
to be about
assault
Call of
class.
Duty and Warzone, I bet. Like because you can.
Yeah,
level up
you
each
can level
gun,
up
right?
guns, and
Yeah.
when you level up the guns, you get more attachments, and you can unlock camos. There's all this other shit. But I also like the advanced warfare, like the tanks and the
Yeah.
aircrafts.
Yeah, there's
like,
something different about having
again,
the
there's
vehicles and
not
having all
a
that
whole
different
lot of
aspect.
progression. And I feel like that
The word
time
tanks and
frame.
aircraft in Battlefield One.
Yeah, super dope.
I just feel like that time frame has been so overplayed by both Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Yeah, the World
that
War
I'm
One,
just
World War
so
Two.
over it, and it happened like year after year. Like
That's why
Even-
modern
even
warfare
Call-
was such a big.
even
thing.
the
That's
new
why it's
Call of
just
Duty,
changing.
Yeah.
even the new Call of Duty Cold War. It's like
I liked it.
I like
it was a great game, but
Yeah.
it's like we've been here. Give us
Well,
I'm not saying
really.
we don't
Yeah.
have to be like so futuristic.
We've been at the history, but like not really Cold War era.
No,
history.
no.
but like we
spy shit.
Yeah, it's
we've
fun.
been
Yeah, it
we've
was.
been
It was
in the
dope game.
future, and I hated the jetpacks and jumping and fucking like
Yeah.
Halo shit. I hate that. Keep it on the
Yeah,
ground,
don't.
but give us some like fucking tanks. Give us an updated game.
I
It's just
really
like Back to
want
Risk, it's just subjective.
Halo multiplayer to come back and be like
I
the
think-
thing.
I think there's
really
a
want
Halo,
multiplayer to come back and be the thing.
Battle Royale coming.
No way.
I've seen
That'd be
some
dope.
Twitter posts.
Fortnite really,
Halo 3
Halo
and
or
shit was some of my
Fortnite
shit,
fucking
man.
Fortnite really
changed
changed
gaming.
everything, right?
Warzone.
Changed every
Fortnite did.
game.
Fortnite,
did,
yeah,
yeah.
to the
There's a
battle
there's a
royales.
battle royale coming for now. Every game has a battle royale.
Has to, or else it's shit.
Why am I
pretty
playing
much,
it?
Yeah.
Fortnite really fucking changed the game.
It changes the format of
What's
competitiveness,
possible
right?
for
And-
online
and-
multiplayer?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's-
And it is a game changer. And I do love the shit out of like Warzone. And even Fortnite, like when I was playing that, it was a big game. But now I just
You
like
went from
Warzone
Fortnite
to
to
Warzone.
Warzone.
And I like Warzone 100 times better than I like Fortnite. Than I ever liked Fortnite. But I did love, for a time,
Yeah.
Fortnite was my shit.
I love
loved it.
Fortnite. The building just got way too ridiculous.
The
Got
the
too-
skill
too
level
prominent.
just got way, that
Yeah,
gap got way too big.
And good
I was
for
watching
the,
Eric
good
play
for the
this
game
game.
because that was like the
and
biggest.
I'm
you're-
not even good.
No, you were good. Like you were like
That was the
doing,
biggest
like, top
thing with
fives, top
Fortnite though.
tens,
Like that was
and, like,
that was
winning.
the skill gap. It wasn't that you could shoot a gun and control recoil.
you're building buildings
It was-
between yourself in an instant. Then you're up and over and inside. And
Yeah,
you're like,
it was
what the
that you
fuck
could
just
build,
happened?
and that's what made the game so different from every other game.
The reason I like Warzone is because like you can have a lot of gun skill and stuff like that, but you also need to
Map
have map awareness,
knowledge,
map knowledge, and just
Movement.
movement and just knowledge
Skill.
of skill, like, but not even gunplay skill, but just skill in terms of like, you know, repositioning if you're
Yeah,
getting fired upon,
taking on a fight, not taking on a
not
fight.
going on head on to the fight, repositioning, getting the better angle, and then firing, and then
Yeah.
getting the drop on somebody.
So a lot
It's
of the
like,
times
there's
you
a lot
take a
of
fight,
factors.
and it's like why'd you do
Why'd
that?
you do
Now
it?
you're getting
Yeah.
third party,
Yeah.
and now you're so far
Move
away
away.
from the zone.
Don't
Even
be
if you
afraid to run
win-
away from the fight.
Even if you take out both
Reposition.
teams, you're so fucked because you're so far away from
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah,
You're
you
dead.
die in the
You're dead.
in the
The mustard
storm,
gas
right? Yeah,
gets you every
exactly.
time.
Yeah, it's yeah. There's a lot of
Yeah.
there is a difference in that. So, but Battlefield 2042 isn't going to have a battle royale. It's just going to.
No,
So I'm
it's
interested
just-
to see
but-
what it's going to be like.
But Battlefield was
Battlefield
so
was
different.
But
from
Battlefield
every-
often had large multiplayer
Yeah,
maps.
40 v 40.
It's like-
right?
Yeah.
It's like 40v40, 36 versus
where
36.
and also
Yeah.
squads mattered. Like you needed a medic. You needed like
yeah, you're getting.
you need to have
So the
certain
individual
outfits.
squads
You're-
within your stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, you're in a squad in a larger battle.
Yeah,
so it
it's
didn't
dope.
even matter.
It's
Yeah.
sweet.
So much fun. All right, shall we hit Chris
Yeah.
predicts?
Enough video game.
Chris predicts. Dun 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 dun.
Wizard shit, yo.
Get your pens and
Wizard shit, yo.
get your pens and papers out. Write down these predictions.
Yo,
Place your bets.
take
You're
a
gonna be
second mortgage
millionaire.
out. Put your life
Your second
savings.
mortgage out.
Quick recap.
We're personal advisors.
Quick recap. Men's 3-meter synchronized springboard. UK was going to be your gold medal winless. Winnerlist. Whoa! Cut. Redo.
No cutting.
Gold
UK
medal-
was going
I
to be
know.
your gold medalist.
Gold medalist.
I thought you said
Winnerlist. I was trying to say, but I meant medalist.
you chose
The winnest.
UK.
I chose the UK.
You did.
Yeah.
Thanks
They
for
didn't even
having
medal.
us, by the way.
So if you bet
Stop saying
$15,000 on that, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Was that your previous prediction? Bet $50,000
I
and you're
told people to take out a second.
all right.
We always tell people to take
Sorry,
out a second
apologies
mortgage.
for that.
He's got a
Um,
75% win rate.
Okay, well,
That's
yeah.
pretty fucking
bad.
good odds.
I might place a bet right now.
Yeah, take
I
out a
would.
second mortgage.
This is Olympics. Who the fuck cares?
yeah, we
I
don't
also did bet Andre DeGrasse. This is an underrated one that I got up right.
Yeah.
Andre DeGrasse to medal in both the 100 meter and 200 meter events.
Right.
That was at 3.5 to 1. And he's just cruised through the semifinal. So he's going to be in the final.
Perfect.
So check out that one to prove that I'm still
Yeah.
wizard shit. But anyways, men's 3-meter synchronized springboard. UK did not win. They didn't even medal.
But we were
They
way
had,
off.
They had the second best odds, and this was like a quick one off the top of my head. And I
Yeah.
hate picking
Shit
favorite
like last
odds.
minute.
China had like
It was like 30
One-
cents.
No, it was 80 cents, but it's still not even 2 to 1. It's like I
So,
don't like doing
I
that.
would recommend going to our YouTube channel and watching just the Chris Predicts. It's like 6 minutes. But we were going through the odds. I'm like, just tell me the odds. And it went from like literally China being like, you could win 33 cents on a dollar bet. And then it was
like
like
150
it
to
was
1
like-
in like two countries.
yeah, like 5 countries down. It was like you on a dollar bet, you're winning $150.
And there was
Like
only like 10
insane.
countries.
Italy,
Well, for the
Italy had like
chances.
the worst.
Italy was
And
nowhere
it was
near
like $150 we could win on a dollar bet.
I would
I
be-
almost told Chris to put it on. He's like, I wouldn't even put 25 cents on that. I'm
It's a
like,
loss.
Yeah, but it
You're
could
just
be a
hedging
win.
your bets at that
It
point.
could be a win.
Well, you're not hedging your
Could
bets
be a
because
win,
you're
Chris.
losing money.
But you bet on both.
Yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed a loss. At
Yeah.
$150
150 to 1
For a-
odds is terrible.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
So
You
anyway,
never
your
know.
medalists were
So-
China, who was favored, USA, and then Germany. Germany had pretty shitty odds. If you go back and watch it, I think
Can't
they were like
remember.
15 or 16 to 1
Yeah.
to win. But also we weren't betting like the medal odds, which I'm sure
No,
would
it
have
was
changed
just
things.
win or lose.
Anyway, so there's 2 predictions to do this week. One Olympic, one soccer. Women's Olympic boxing, 64 kilogram on August 8th. There's
64 to
Think US
69
to win
kg.
64 to 69 kilogram.
Yeah, it's like the
Um,
welter weight.
There's 2 semifinals. Turkey and India's semifinal number 1, Manelli versus Borganane. I'm sorry, fuck up names all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, the girl from Turkey, Surinelli, is going to win that bout.
Okay.
Semifinal number 2 is Jones versus Gu or GU from
Yes. I don't know how
Chinese.
to pronounce that.
I think it's Gu. She's from China. Take Gu, China to win. So your final is going to be Manelli versus
Based
Gu
on
from
what?
China.
Based on what?
Based on my fucking wizard ability.
Also, just intuition.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't follow women's
Okay.
amateur boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just pick random shit, go after it.
All right.
So we also
It's just fun
on
to
a lot
bet
of
on
stuff.
like different shit that like you don't follow.
Do you actually place bets?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a betting
Yeah,
account.
yeah,
Like we do shit. Like not all the stuff gets placed. But we just updated it last week. So I more or less there's more money out than is actually in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not worth discussing every week. Like right now we only have like $3 or $4.
It was like the
But we have
other-
like $17 out on bets.
yeah. It
Okay.
was like 2 weeks ago or 3
Where
weeks ago
All-
where
finally everything came in.
everything was
For, like,
settled up.
months.
We put in what $5 each.
We were
and
10 we started with $10, we ended up with 18.
Yeah, so
Hey,
we were
okay.
up.
So
Positive.
you're up
like,
80%.
Yeah.
So if people had listened to my bets,
You're fucking making
you're
money.
winning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hashtag wizard shit.
Yeah.
Um
I'm gonna start putting that in.
I'm gonna
so your
suggest
final is going to
Jones
be
as opposed
for
to
the gold
Gu.
medal bout is going to be Manelli versus Gu from China, and I would bet the girl from Turkey to win it.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You heard that here.
Win the whole.
When like they're
Win the
gonna
gold
medal.
Okay.
So Turkey's gonna take the gold medal in that.
Yeah.
Is she big? Is she big gal?
I don't know.
I don't know. Never seen her.
Yeah.
Never even heard of her name
So
until
this is
yesterday.
this is the problem I have with when Chris makes UFC
Predicts.
bets, is he just like kind of looks at the names and it's like
Guesses
and
on
looks
the
at the
names.
odds, but like the
Look
last
at the
couple of times
physique.
there's been a couple of times like Francis
You got him?
Yeah.
And you voted against it, got him?
Yeah, he did.
beat
No.
Francis.
He did. And
Francis
this
was
man
huge.
walked out,
Okay,
man.
Eric.
This man walked out. He's got a bigger
yeah, he's way
fist
bigger.
than
Yeah.
this guy's head, and it's like he can't miss with that
But-
thing.
Brock Lesnar lost a bunch of times in the UFC, and he was bigger than any person ever. Also, Francis Ngannou lost to Stipe, and that matchup.
If
is
you
not
looked at
good
the
for
history
Stipe.
of Francis Ngannou
Yeah,
and his
exactly.
childhood
Thank you.
and how
Thank
he
you. Thank you.
became where he was,
Hey, you see?
you know that man was going to win.
Yeah.
It was life or death.
Eventually, but it was life or death in the first 2 title bouts that he lost. Eric, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I don't understand how the fuck I'm getting slandered on this. You don't even know what the fuck. You don't even know his last 2 title bouts he fucking lost. One of them was also to Stipe, and you're like, oh, what a stupid fucking bet. Shut the
Thank
fuck
you.
up.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was saying.
He won.
We
He was
watched-
winning.
He did win. You're
I
right.
knew he was going to win.
We watched this
I knew
fight.
I think you also would know he was going to lose the first 2.
I didn't watch that.
So-
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we did the betting like the week prior. We watched the fights together, and during the fights, I looked at Chris and goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? You chose that guy over that guy."
And CJ's like,
You
he's
are
30 pounds bigger.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're right.
Francis was like the max weight he could be 265.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stipe came in at like 225. It's like,
Good
even
luck.
if this goes to the ground, Francis has a huge advantage. Dead
No,
weight,
but-
baby. Dead weight.
Francis didn't have the big advantage because the last fight was won on the ground. But where the fight that changed everybody, and the reason, and obviously people like Eric look back like, I knew Francis was going to win the whole time. If you listen to anybody that actually follows the sport, even casually, they thought that it was still a tough matchup because everyone
100%.
didn't know that Francis had gotten that much better on the ground. And when he was in that fight, the commentators were even going, holy shit, Francis has
Has
changed
improved.
the game.
Yeah.
And I bet you if you asked Daniel Cormier and Joe Rogan and fucking
Oh, I'm not saying
John Anik at the time,
It's like a
I
different
don't
person
think
fighting.
they were like, it's a lock that France is going to win. But now everyone's like, of course France is going to win
No.
30 pounds ever. Blah, blah,
No,
blah,
no,
blah.
no.
But,
But
if
that
you're
was-
going off of wrestling,
Yeah.
Francis was not good on the ground.
No.
But he improved so much, it shocked the fucking world.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now he's never going to get beaten ever again.
Again, as a
But at the
casual,
time-
casual
Yeah.
watcher of the UFC, it's like this. It's not like he was bigger in the sense that he was like fat. No, this man is jacked.
Yeah.
So that's my point. So what if you were
Jacked.
so like me, because I don't watch
But
often,
here's
and I
but
don't
here's
look
to
at the
answer
people and I
CJ's
don't-
thing quickly though,
Mm.
because CJ gets mad at me. He's like, "Well, you're like you haven't seen these people, whatever." I'm like, "But I also have to make these predictions 4 days in advance."
Yeah, yeah. It's
And
not-
often, like, no matter how close you follow the UFC, you have to be a
Yeah.
super nerd to be like, I know that fucking
He's gonna gain
Dana
He's
is
done
gonna
this.
is gonna come in 20 pounds heavier than after the weight cut.
Yeah.
like there was
I don't know. Like, I'm not
The-
I'm not following the unknown women's division that fucking
yeah.
closely.
So the last UFC that Chris bet on,
and then CJ's like, "Oh, the girl was way bigger." I'm like, "But I made that prediction
yeah,
4 days
so,
in advance,
So the
before the weigh-ins were even done."
yeah,
Yeah.
so the lady that won came in overweight. Like
Oh.
she didn't make weigh in. And
Right.
the fight still happened. And I
And she
told
was
Chris,
way
I'm
bigger.
like, watching the fight, I'm like, holy fuck, this chick is massive compared to the other girl.
Yeah.
I don't know
Why
how
did they
much
still let
I
the
didn't
fight
watch
go on?
I didn't
It's up to the woman that she's fighting.
yeah,
Oh, so
so
she
She
can
can,
say,
she
"Ah,
can
it's
still
fine."
go. Yeah.
yeah, so I think she gets more money
Oh.
for taking for allowing
Taking
the fight, to go on.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other
And the
one
other
loses
chick
money.
loses a shit ton of money. But at the same time, like what Chris was saying, because we're recording this on a weekend, so usually the UFC fights are happening the following,
following
week. So he's
weekend, yeah.
making these
Even
predictions.
if we do it at the latest on a Tuesday, it's 4 days away. At the
yeah,
earliest.
that's
Still,
a
yeah.
lot of time,
Yeah.
and a lot of things can change.
Fights have been canceled before.
Yeah,
We don't have a UFC prediction on here, do we?
no.
No, but I only do the main ones. Like there's UFC
Yeah.
pretty much 3 weekends out of a month.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some tonight.
Sometimes
but
on a Wednesday too. There's
yeah, like they
fights.
do the fight nights on Fridays. There was one last week where Khabib's boy was fighting, who should be like fighting for the title on lightweight, but different fucking conversation altogether. But
Isn't that guy having a hard time like securing fights? Like
yeah, because-
nobody wants to
none of
fight
the
him.
top, none of the top guys are going to fight him.
Yeah.
because they don't want.
He's gonna lose.
He's,
They're gonna
he's
lose.
going to wipe out
Yeah,
the division
yeah.
like Khabib did.
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
No thanks. Give me someone else.
And that's also back to Dana White wants to put the most exciting fights together. And if you have a robot that you know is going to win in
It's
form
not
and
exciting.
fashion.
There's no
So I said,
point.
like, Khabib is the best fighter to ever fight in the UFC. Also, for a casual fan,
was-
it's not
it was-
exciting.
No,
He-
no, no.
he
But it
can
was
wrestle
only
some to the
exciting.
ground. He either chokes them out or punches their faces in.
But it was only
does that for
exciting
3 to
because of
5
the
rounds.
hype that McGregor brought. Because that was like
Exactly.
that was the biggest. That was what made Khabib, at least for me, known.
yeah,
Yeah.
the conflict,
And he was
the
already
the
unity.
champ.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
didn't matter that he was dominating the fucking division
Yeah.
previous to that fight.
right.
It was just that Connor was such a big name and huge hype behind him. That's how I knew about him.
Mhm.
right.
The contender fights for who was going to fight Khabib were more exciting than the actual fight because you knew whoever won that fight was going to lose to Khabib.
Right.
Like Gaethje and Ferguson for the interim title was like an amazing fight. Like that was like April or May of COVID 2020
Right.
because they were the first ones to come back. And I remember buying the pay-per-view, and I think a few of us did. Like we had like a little group chat going
Yeah.
talking about it. And it was an amazing fight between Gaethje and Ferguson.
Yeah.
And then fucking
I think I
Khabib
remember the
wiped
fight.
out
I watched
fucking
it too.
Gaethje.
Yeah.
Like it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, I make these predictions in advance. I'm more of a casual fan, but I am going to be like, shut the fuck up when you're saying you wouldn't have picked. Like you didn't. Like you thought Ngannou was gonna win 100%. No fucking way.
At the
Coming
end of the day, it's a
from-
fight. It's a
So
fight.
what I was going to say to that was like coming from if I didn't watch UFC at all, and I really don't, coming into that fight, watching the walk-ins from that fight
Francis
that
was
night,
the favorite.
Francis would have had I would have bet
Yeah.
Francis, right? If I placed a bet 2 minutes before the fight started, I would have bet Francis.
And so would I. Like,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's my only point is that
yeah.
looking at it with zero, knowledge going into it, and then looking at the fighters that night of the fight, Francis was my bet.
And
Right.
Francis looked like that the first time they fought
Yeah,
and lost in convincing fashion.
There you go.
Whereas this time,
See,
it
I
was
would have
like
still bet
the
Francis
opposite.
at that point. I would.
He was like he stuffed his takedowns. He fucking beat the shit out of him, and then fucking stiffed him up like a fucking board where he like bounced twice like a spring off the fucking mat. Crazy shit.
So what's your soccer?
The Gold Cup is going on right now, which for those who don't know, like the Euro Championship that just happened. This is the North American equivalent of it. The Copa Libertadores that just happened in South America, where
Right.
Messi just won. Same thing. It's like just a North American CONCACAF soccer championship. Canada just lost in the semifinal in 90 plus 9 minutes
Really?
against Mexico.
90 plus 9.
Played really well. So obviously there was a bunch of
0-0 before the last score?
I didn't even check it. My uncle
That's
was
a
watching
lot
and
of
fell
fucking
asleep.
penalties.
It wasn't penalties though. It
Just
was like
stoppages.
regular time plus 9 minutes.
Holy
There was a
fuck.
lot of stoppages, and they won
Damn.
in like the last kick, or else it was going to extra time. So Canada played well, and they
Wow.
had a good tournament, and that was like, and they've won the tournament once before, which is a major tournament.
Mhm.
Anyway, they lost. So the final is Mexico versus the USA. USA historically has a tough time against Mexico. Their record's not that good, but USA is going to win this game. They're the slight underdog. I bet them on the app, just so people are wondering. I bet them to lift the trophy, which is like 225 to 1. To win the game, I don't like betting the win on.
Yeah, it's because
It's
if
tough
it goes
'cause
into overtime,
these games are tough.
Or
I-
extra
It's a
minutes.
toss-up.
Last time I did that, and I was right. Was the Euro final? I said it was going to be a draw. Italy and England was going to go to extra time, and I bet the draw, and it was right, and Italy won. I bet a fuckload of money on Italy to win that tournament from early on.
Yeah.
Anyway, USA is they're gonna beat Mexico. It'd be a close game. If I was betting, I'd probably bet the draw, or it'll end up being like fucking 3-0 for Mexico, and it's a walk. But
It's two very
Mexico had a
different
tough
bets.
semifinal, and so the USA. And I think it'll be a close game. They historically always match up really close.
Mm.
So USA is going to win the tournament. And I think that's it for Chris Predicts. I'm not going to update the MLB because it's just been
It's
a
not
week.
worth. Yeah,
I'll
it's not
update it
worth.
like middle of August.
Yeah.
I'll update it
yeah,
again,
We got
and
a
then
couple
September.
more weeks before we really need to update that.
Yeah. The Jays just added a really good pitcher. I think they're going to take a crack at it, but I still think they're going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's like I'm
Damn.
willing to bet more money on the Jays missing the playoffs than I am on like the division
Them making
winners.
it. Yeah.
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 So
All right.
And there you have it.
there's
Chris
your
predicts.
Chris predicts. Also, I predict that I'm going to kick their asses in Catan and chess at some point. Today.
We'll update.
Okay,
Yeah,
chess,
later on.
whatever, chess.
Well,
whatever.
Catan, we're
You
all
play-
even on Catan.
Yeah.
No, I've won 3
Yeah, yeah.
times.
Yeah. Well,
We're
no,
not even.
2, because the first time we were learning.
Sure, 2.
So-
and then you each have.
Relax.
Well, no,
One
Chris
win.
has 1, and then you
Relax.
have 0.
He just
No,
won.
I've
He
won.
won last night.
Yeah, one last night.
My apologies.
He won the
You
mushroom.
both have
You're
1. I
like,
have
how
2.
did you
The
not
mushroom
finish
game.
this
Won the
game
mushroom game.
earlier?
Fair enough.
You have 11 points. I'm like, I just got 2.
True, you did win
Yeah.
in spectacular fashion.
Anyway, thanks
How
Eric for
dare
having
you.
us, and thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
thank you. And yes, thank you for being another reoccurring guest. And
for the 3rd time,
catch us on Facebook, 2 Season Pod, YouTube, 2 Season Pod.
plus E.
No, it's not plus E. I'm
TC's
not changing
plus
it.
E.
Mail
Jack Daniels.
2seasonapod@gmail.com. Use 2 C's on Jack Daniels.
It was 2 C's plus E, actually, but
Tell me your Twitch.
Oh yeah,
Eric,
oh, you know, I
Twitch?
stream occasionally, casually. I stream Warzone and other games that are fun to play, and it's Twitch at Quiz Bidness. That's QUIZBIDNESS. Quiz Bidness.
Go check him out. Hit that follow button. Do you have your subscribe button yet?
No,
Almost.
Not yet.
So go
It's
hit
getting there.
that. Go hit that follow button so you can get his subscribe button. Then
more of a fun thing, there's
when
no
you
rush.
can subscribe,
It's a
fucking
rush.
subscribe. If you got Twitch or Amazon
We
Prime,
have a lot of fun.
it's free to subscribe to somebody on Twitch. So use it.
They use that Twitch. It's free. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and use it
Helping
on
somebody
a friend
else,
if you can.
and you don't use it otherwise. So
Yeah,
use
fucking use it. It's free money you can give to somebody.
yes, sir.
Hopefully, it's a friend. And guys, we'll catch you next
Thanks
week.
as always. See ya.
We're out.
Try some honey.
Cheers. Block
Cheers.
honey.